Donald Trump with 48.2% of the vote. Harris
Wow.
with a 30,000 plus vote lead.
What's going on,
That's more
everybody?
than a third.
VA.
39%.
Wow.
He leading just barely.
Wow.
Just barely.
In the state of New
Yeah,
Hampshire,
but
Kamala
look
Harris
at
in the
this.
lead, 54.1% of the vote. Donald Trump with 45.3% of the vote. Harris with a 13,000 plus vote lead. That's what's
Man, we have a race. We have a race, people.
Yeah, buddy.
In Ohio, Donald Trump in the lead, 50.3% of the vote. Kamala Harris with 48.9% of the vote. Donald Trump with a 36,000 plus vote lead. That's with an estimated 41% of the estimated vote in from Ohio. And now we can make a projection in a closely watched race for governor. CNN can project that Democrat Josh Stein will be elected governor of
What's
North
up to
Carolina.
everybody
Stein
on all
is
the
current
platforms?
Attorney General. We are projecting
Shout out to everybody.
Yes.
Look, we having a little watch
History of
party.
controversy became a major issue
Shout out
in the
to
race.
YouTube, to Twitch, to Rumble,
uncovered,
to
shall we
TikTok.
call them, inflammatory
Yes.
posts on a porn website from more than a decade ago. Again, CNN
Welcome,
projects
welcome.
Democrats will hold on to the governor's office in North Carolina with Attorney General Josh Stein replacing the term-limited governor Roy Cooper. John?
And Jake, one of the big questions in North Carolina, as you know, is Democrats were somewhat hopeful that maybe the scandal in the governor's race might help them, and the Trump campaign was nervous that with the Republican candidate Robinson in trouble, would Trump be impacted by that? So let's just take a quick look at it. You see North Carolina, this is the presidential race, very close at the moment.
Well, in the comments, let us know
the statewide vote count. So a long way to go in a state we expect to be tight.
Hey,
it is tight from
be
the
bold.
get-go in the early count. I just want to switch over and look at the governor's race. Excuse me, it's down here. Look at the governor's race. So you have the Democrat
But
here
from
at
the map he showed, it
49.4,
looks
the
like
Democratic
the
candidate for
red
president. If you
states
look
are
at the governor's
staying
race,
red.
Josh Stein winning 56% of the vote. So you have a lot of ticket splitting happening in North Carolina right now. People who are voting for Donald Trump who simply could not vote for Mark Robinson for governor. And so at least at the moment, not the benefit that the Harris campaign was hoping for, at least no evidence of a giant benefit that the Harris campaign was hoping for in North Carolina from the scandal around the Republican gubernatorial candidate. So what do we have here in the key Sun Belt battleground? North Carolina, Georgia, and then we go west,
North
Arizona,
Carolina,
and
definitely
Nevada.
battleground.
648 votes ahead. That's why we call them battleground states. We're only at
close that
14% of the count. And so you come out here,
Look
just
how
go
close
west
that
to
North
east,
Carolina.
73% for the vice president, 26% reporting.
man.
You just go back and check. Joe Biden came
In the
close
chat,
here, but
let us
lost.
know,
So
man.
she's
Let us know.
overperforming him at the moment
What do y'all
there. And then you want to come over to
take it home?
the biggest population center is Charlotte in the suburbs. That's
Who is going
Mecklenburg
to
County.
take it home?
The president got 67% when you round up 4 years ago.
They said it might take until Thursday. I don't know.
So in the early count,
I hope we have a good
it's neck and neck.
indication on tonight.
This is one of the great tug of war states
Going into
in the United States
in the
right
morning.
here. And we'll continue to
Oh,
count.
my
Still at
goodness.
14%. Let's pop down to Georgia. We're at 53%.
That's
We were at
what's up.
50%
That's
last
what's up.
time.
What's
So we're
going
moving
on
up, but moving up
TikTok? I
slowly.
see you over there,
And again,
too.
trademark Trump, just running it up in the
What y'all
rural areas.
think?
And so we pick one randomly. You come down here, Bacon County, 95% in. So we're
You
close
too.
to the
What
full
y'all
count.
think?
Look at that, 87%
Let us
of the
know.
vote. Right?
Let
This
us
is
know
how he
what's
does it.
happening.
It's 4,000 votes to
Crimson
600 votes. In a
Bros.
state this big, you say,
Come
oh, that's
join
not such a
us.
big deal. When you
The
do it in county
uncomfortable
after county
truth.
after county,
Check us
that
out, man.
adds
We
up.
got so
just
much
go back
going
and take a
on.
look. 86%.
Man, but we
So
want
Donald
to
Trump
just
is
kind
at
of
least
get
matching
together,
his performance in most
down,
of these rural counties
talk
of
to
4
you
years ago when
guys,
Georgia was incredibly
seeing what's-
close. So if he matches in the rural areas, all he has to do is improve a
seeing
little
what's
smidgen
up.
in the
Turn it down
suburbs
just
or
a
the
little
urban
bit, just
areas,
so you can hear us a
and
little
you'd be
bit.
more competitive in the
But
state.
yeah,
So let's just check the suburbs around Atlanta, because
That's
this is
all.
where if Trump is
Get your
performing in
sweet
the rural
tea,
areas, as it looks like he
your
is,
drink,
turning out
your
his base,
libations,
then the race will be
and
settled
chill
here
out with us.
by
That's
the
all.
margins in the
That's
suburbs.
all.
Only 16%
know
of the
it. You
vote,
know
so let's be careful.
We
60%
it doesn't
Vice
matter
President
who you
Harris.
voted
Again, more
for.
important almost
That's
is
your
did Trump
vote.
move his numbers
But
up. 39%
as long
in
as
the
you
suburbs
voted.
right now.
When I
Gwinnett
talked
County
to some
suburbs,
people today, they
it
said
was
they just didn't
40%.
feel like
So at
they
the
wanted
moment
to
in this
vote.
one suburb,
Why
there's
not?
got some
Okay.
work to do.
Why not?
Look,
Do it.
they said they
Let's
couldn't.
move down
They
here to
couldn't
DeKalb
go with
County.
it
This is the most
either
democratic
candidate.
suburbs just to the east.
Okay, I don't
of
have anything
Atlanta.
to say, but that's your
83%.
choice.
President
Roger
Biden
that.
had
Well,
winning
tell me
state
this.
4
So
years
if
ago.
people do not
Vice
vote or
President
they
running a
choose
little bit
not to
behind that
vote,
right now, but look, that's not even 1,000 votes.
can they still
So we
complain?
have a ways to go before we
They have no
worry
need
about
to
any
complain.
comparison there. Let's drop down
No
to Bacon
need.
County, the Atlanta airport just south.
That's what I'm
of
saying.
Atlanta.
That's you know
Big
you do. They
Democratic
say
stronghold.
negative
This was
Nancy's or
critical
whatever.
to Biden coming back
If
in
I
the
vote
primary
for
as
this
they
one, I
counted
don't
votes in
like this
2020.
about him.
Trump had an
Or I
early
vote
lead.
for
Yeah.
this one.
The
Come
count went
on now.
into the day after and the day after that. Clayton County was one
Look,
of the
Jay
places where Joe
Wild
Biden got a lot
said,
of
"Make
votes. You
America
see
great
85%.
again." It
That's
That's
got
what
to-
I'm talking about.
About three-quarters
Let's
of the
go.
count, 76%
Jay
right
Wow,
there.
shout
So how
out.
does that compare to
That's what's
2020?
up. That's what's up.
About the same, right? You got 85 when you
On
round that up.
TikTok.
Mhm.
Let's
You got
go.
85 when you
Yeah, that
round
was
that up. So
TikTok
here we
there.
go in Georgia
Yeah,
again.
follow her.
Again,
So
too.
far as you go
Shout
through it,
out.
you've got a very competitive
Yeah.
race. So that one's competitive. Let's come
I
out of there.
appreciate
I wanna
y'all
look at
joining
Michigan.
us,
We haven't
man.
spent
You
any
know,
time
we
yet.
did get started a
Only
little bit late
6%
because
of
I
the
know this
voting.
thing been on since about
Be careful about
what
anything. We're
7
trying to look and
p.m.
see what
Eastern.
happens.
So
Again, this is
that's
Kent
what I
County.
mean.
Both campaigns
That's
focus
too
on
early in the
Democrat
game.
It
You know,
is
you
early.
barely.
to be a
Yeah,
reliably
you barely
Republican
got
area. Trump
Well,
at the
California
moment,
still have
again,
3 hours,
running
right?
1,000 votes right
Yeah,
there.
they got a
Trump
little
at the
while.
moment,
Yeah.
but you're running.
Yeah, they got a
against
little
Joe
while.
Biden gets
We
52%.
good.
You go back to
I
2016.
wonder
Get a
if they
snack and
already
chill with us.
48%
Popcorn
in a
with the
state
Crimson
that
Bros. Let's
Michigan's gonna be
go.
very close. It's 154,000.
Wonder Woman.
It's the
Hey,
biggest
what's
lead
going
by
on?
any of the battlegrounds 4 years ago. But if you're going to be competitive for Donald Trump,
We need
you'd
the
like to
lasso
turn
of
this red.
truth
If
for
you can't turn it
America.
red,
Let's go.
you would at least
Yeah,
like
yeah.
to narrow that
Who we
margin
voting for?
for
Let's
Donald Trump. We'll
go.
watch and see how this plays out in
I'm
2024.
curious
Come
in
back to today's map
you
here.
know, like I say in the
It was just on the texting.
chat.
I was gonna
Let
say
us
on the
know
phone,
who
it's
you
texting. It's the same
who you
thing.
selected.
With the key Democrat
Hey, it's
out in
okay. You don't
Michigan
have to do
who said
that
they're a
now.
little nervous.
Just let
If
us
you don't
know.
feel
Not Monroe County,
comfortable,
but Wayne County.
Man,
He said they're a little nervous
if
about
you're
Wayne
not
County. They think turnout
afraid,
Look, it's free
Democrats might be
speech.
down
What are
a
you
little bit
talking
in
about?
Wayne County.
yes,
That
What are
would
you
be a
talking about?
problem.
It's free
The
speech.
African American vote in
Yeah.
Detroit,
Let
student
us know
vote, Wayne
what your
State,
thoughts
places
are.
like that, absolutely critical for the Democratic coalition. So we'll see.
I have a
When we
question.
get Wayne County,
What's that?
always late to report. So it's
Regardless
going to
of
be a while.
who
We'll see if
wins,
that's true.
and
If
this
those
for the
fears are true among
congregation,
Democrats that maybe turnout is down a
will
little
you
bit here.
get
If it
behind
is,
that candidate?
it
Say the
is,
person you
then the vice
voted for,
president has to make
they
it up
don't
here.
win.
Oakland County.
Are you going to get
Again, 20
behind
years ago,
that
a
person?
Republican
Because
suburb,
we just want
58% right
I
now.
want
We're
the
just approaching
America
40%.
to win.
58%.
That's all.
Remember, Joe Biden
That's
said
all. I
of
say
course,
that. I
of
want
course.
America
4
to
years
win,
ago,
the citizens to
56%.
win.
That would help. If
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
above
yeah.
Biden,
Yeah,
maybe you get a
guarantee
little
you
back
also,
to make up
whoever
if
it
you're
is,
losing
you
a
got to
little bit in the
support him
city.
because
We'll see if
it
that
affects
plays
you.
out as we thought. I just want to pop down to bring this issue on
I
the
know
table as
some
well.
people may not want to say so,
Washington
but
County.
yeah, it affects you.
Absolutely critical.
Definitely.
Young
Yeah.
voters
So,
were critical to the Biden coalition in 2020, even more
yeah.
critical when Governor Whitmer won re-election in 2022, and the Michigan Democrats
Washington,
faced
we're going to see
Hey,
all
look,
these
look.
different counties.
Is the home of
Look,
anarchy.
Zoanne said,
It was
who
the home
y'all
of the
voted
University
for?
of Michigan.
Hey,
I'll tell you. I
hey,
know.
you want me to put it in? Hey,
On
let me go get my
Put it in the chat.
Yeah, put it in the chat. Let's go.
It hurt President Biden. The question
Hey.
was after the
Oh,
switch to Vice
yeah.
President
Make
Harris,
America great
did she heal
again.
that wound?
Yeah.
That's who I voted for.
Coalition.
That's who I
So you
did.
see
They say
her
gentlemen
at
don't kiss and tell.
22%, so we have a long way to
But
go. 2%
this is my
to
first
Vice
time in my
President
life,
right now.
in my whole life,
72% for the President
voting
of the United States.
for
If that number
Republican
stays that way, that's a
candidate.
problem. That's a
Mm.
problem. If
Yes.
73%, if you round that
My
up,
first
in
time my
Washington
whole life,
County,
Zoanne, you know.
61% or 60% actually. You can't round that up.
So
quite
why?
yet.
So
that's
why
something
did
to
you?
keep an eye on
What
as we
made
go
you
forward.
sway that
I just
way?
want to
You
come
know,
out just the other day.
this
I was
time
looking
around,
here.
you know, you
Michigan
said
State
well,
is in
your whole
Lansing,
life,
in
you
Ingham
know, you've
County,
been
and again, trying to get
what they
students
call
to
it?
turn out.
Don't say
They
it.
say
At a Trump
what?
Don't
home
say it,
bank.
Kane. I know you finna
Mostly
start.
young
We're not
men,
finna
college
debate this.
students,
Don't
young
say
men.
Democratic
Okay, all right.
For
plantation.
the vice
That's
president,
where he was gonna
right
go,
there, you
people.
come back in time at
No,
65%.
no.
I'm
for
just
the
saying.
president of
I'm
the
just
United States. So
saying,
as we
bro.
go
I'm
through
just saying.
It was
battleground
just for me, and
It's
then
early. It's
talking
early,
and
so I'm
debating
not,
with
we
so many different
this
people.
comparison is not in cement yet, but these are the places you want to watch. At the
If
moment, in a couple of key places,
America
that
was
would
a
be Ingham
business,
County and
who would I
Washington
want to
County,
run
Jake.
it? I had this
She's trailing the
conversation with
president.
a
So
person
if you want to
that
get your
I
math up in
love
Michigan,
talking to
watch
and
those
debating
counties.
with.
Mhm.
And she posed this question: if America was a business, who would you want to run your business?
Another round of
Yeah.
poll closing.
Kamala or Trump?
So with Donald Trump is
Oh,
with 105
appreciate the
electoral
super
votes,
chat,
Hey,
Wonder Woman.
hold on now.
270 are needed to win.
Hey,
appreciate it.
Obviously, Donald
Man,
Super
that's
chat.
just come on now.
Shout
Just
out. Matter of
awesome.
fact, we just keep that up there
In
for
North
right
Carolina,
now.
Yeah.
Anybody
Carolina,
matching.
Donald Trump
That's the
is
first
anybody can
time.
match.
That's the first time. That's awesome.
2.2% of the vote. Kamala Harris with
But yeah,
6.6%
and I would say this, and we
Donald
sharing,
Trump
we
taking the
watching
lead there
this,
in the
but
first time this night.
this is the first time
Donald Trump has a
I voted
69,000
that
plus
I
vote
didn't
lead.
want to say who I
That's with
voted
about a
for
fifth of the vote
because
in. 21%
I talked to
of the
so many
estimated
people
vote
today,
in
so excited.
Battleground, North Carolina.
Some
Battleground,
people say, I know who you
Michigan,
voted
Kamala Harris in
for
the lead with
because
56.9% of the vote. Donald
you a
Trump
black
has
man and you need to
41.2%
vote
of the
this
vote.
way.
Kamala
I
Harris
said, okay, I just
currently
wanted to know if you
59,000
voted. They said,
plus
oh, no,
more
you
votes.
didn't.
That's with 7%
I
of the
saw the
estimated vote. It's
vitriol in their
very early.
face.
In
Why?
Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, the
Well,
all-important
there's so many people have so many different views. As long as we can have just a clean conversation and keep it moving, that's fine. We don't have to go crazy, insults, all of that stuff, because it's just so many disclaimers out there. I don't want to talk about what happened in 81. We all can evolve, we all can change, but let's just see. If Kamala Harris wins, I'm gonna support her. I will be behind her. If Donald Trump wins, I'm gonna support him. I will be behind him.
just minutes from now.
And we
Why?
that's how
Why?
I see
Well,
it.
tell me this. My question would be, why is it that it becomes a huge issue when people say who they're voting for?
In Arizona,
I mean, that's what they want. You know,
Iowa,
that aligns with
Kansas,
their,
Louisiana,
you know,
battleground state of
issues and things of
Michigan,
that nature that they want to take
Minnesota,
care of.
Nebraska,
Why is it that
New
people
Mexico,
go
New
crazy?
York, North Dakota,
And it seems it's
South
one-sided
Dakota,
that people go crazy
Texas,
once you tell them.
battleground Wisconsin,
Because you just,
and Wyoming.
example,
As I mentioned, Michigan.
you don't want to
Wisconsin
even
are the
say
two
anything
battlegrounds
because
on
your
the
previous
line in the
counterparts
hour ahead. Pillars
that was,
the
you know,
Democrats' so-called
voting the same
blue
direction
wall
as you.
that crumbled in
They were,
2016
you know,
was
they
rebuilt
were,
to
they
help still
seen where you were
President Biden
going
3-4 years
and they
ago.
didn't like it.
Out west,
Why would they be mad
Arizona
at you?
is another
Why they
major
just can't
presidential
respect that?
battleground that we're watching. We're
Well,
heading into
you
a
know,
high-stakes
it goes
battle
with a lot of
Harris-Trump
people.
contest.
I mean, you have these two
Polling places about to
candidates.
close in
You know,
3
that's
states
who we
that
have.
could decide the race.
And
Let's go to Abby Phillip in
a lot of people are
in
voting
Washington.
for Kamala Harris because they
Voting
hate.
is about to
I
end
mean,
in
they
3
say they
battlegrounds.
hate
What's the
President
outlook
Trump.
in the Harris campaign?
So, what they talking about?
Yeah, Jake. I mean, I think the banner that you guys have
Oh,
right
they
now
having a
is
little
pretty much
party.
where the
This
Harris
is,
campaign is. It is early.
That's
in the
Howard,
night.
ain't it?
They're not seeing.
I see somebody look like they stepping
Yeah.
in the background over there.
That's Howard University. That's what they're doing.
Okay,
Shout out to
Really
Jay Wow.
focused on the
Our hope
Yeah.
isn't in
Pennsylvania,
politics.
because that really
Shout out.
becomes
That was on
Yeah.
TikTok.
of a strategy
And
to
shout out to
get
HBCU, Howard.
Pennsylvania,
Let's
the
go and do
rest
that
of the
too.
path becomes
Shout
easier.
out. Let's go.
So I've been talking to people.
I will be
tonight.
visiting
They're really waiting to
Howard
see
next year.
how these results, as
What
they
you
are
doing up
coming
there?
in, really shape
Hey,
the
I'm
picture
coming.
for
What's
We're
happening
gonna go.
at Howard?
Not that
You
clear.
want
We're gonna
to
go.
go?
That's
We're
What?
gonna go check out a
I'm
game.
concerned
We're gonna
about it
do
because
something. Yes.
they've got great numbers, but they're not
Go check out a
willing
game.
to
You
go
talking about
out on a limb
football or
on any of this
basketball?
stuff
It
just
I ain't
doesn't
got no
matter.
football team.
Pennsylvania,
Not that I
though,
know of.
Well,
what I am
it'll be
hearing is
basketball.
a lot of optimism. They're seeing good numbers out of
Okay.
Philadelphia. The local officials
They
there
wiped me
are
down
suggesting
in
that Harris could exceed
Howard.
what Biden
Yeah,
Acting
wipe me
cool
down.
down
Let's
there.
go.
Yeah.
Who shout out? Who was that?
She's able
Boosie?
to do that.
Yeah, Boosie Boo.
Let's go. Let's go.
Boosie Boo.
Much
For
more
sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right, Abby Phillip, thanks so much. Let's go to West Palm Beach, Florida now, where we find Caitlin Collins.
It's all
Caitlin,
calm down
what
there
is
at
the
Trump
campaign
headquarters.
going to be looking for in the next round of poll closings?
Yeah, it's quiet there.
Well, Jake, you just mentioned Wisconsin, and that is obviously.
Uh-oh,
a
we
state
got
that
one
they
for
are
you,
going to be
brother.
Watching closely tonight. I've talked with several campaign
What we
officials.
got?
They're not expecting to get a real sense
Did
of
they
those
push the
numbers until much
transgender-
later in the evening. But they
If they
will
push
be
the
watching Wisconsin
transgender
very closely.
agenda
They want to
on
see
our
how
kids,
abortion
then
lands
I
there
ain't
and how
supporting
close
that
abortion
administration.
could potentially be. But Jake, one thing
Keep
that
supporting
former
countries
President Donald Trump will be doing
overseas
that maybe
while
no other
leaving us to
presidential candidate
suffer.
has done is watching the return.
You know what?
Wisconsin.
Wow.
Someone who is
That
also
is, I agree with you.
Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Yeah,
He fought
I
to
agree
put
with
his
you.
name
I
on the
agree
ballot.
with you.
The Supreme Court there
I'm
told him
telling you,
no.
man,
so
that's just so
look-
crazy.
It's already on the
That
ballot. People
agenda.
are getting in the
But
mail,
you know
and
what?
I am
And some
Robert F.
people, I
Kennedy
heard it
Jr. in
yesterday when I was
Mar-a-Lago
talking
with Donald Trump
to
tonight. Watching these returns come in.
a
Obviously, the reason he
CEO
fought to
of
get his name off that ballot is
Wonderland,
there is
you
a
know,
concern that
a
with the
marketing
margin as small as it
firm,
could potentially
but
be there,
she said,
that
"Hey,
it
I'm,
could have an effect.
you
The
know,
margins are
choosing
everything
the
in this
lesser of
race,
two."
we are starting
And
to
some
see
people
these
feel like
numbers
that.
coming in. So Trump will be watching that
Well,
come in
I get
alongside
that because
RJT
you know
there
nobody,
with the
you know,
bill
at least
on the ballot,
they're
Jake.
actually
All right,
voting.
Caitlin Collins in
Yeah,
West
but they
Palm Beach.
You know
voted.
what I'm saying?
Campaign. Thanks so
And
much.
we have to put.
Some
That's
Some
what
people
I'm,
don't want to
Exit
vote
poll
just because they don't
from
like either
Michigan,
candidate.
Yeah.
Wisconsin,
You know,
but
They
he
gonna
just
pick
said
the
something. We
lesser
have
of
to.
two then.
We have to put us first,
stands out
and
as you
us,
look at the data from
the
these
U.S.,
50 states.
Mhm.
the citizens. Yes.
Yeah,
Nothing
definitely,
wrong with
definitely.
that. We can say that proudly.
Yeah, for sure. In the chat, let us know where you at. Where you coming from? You joined us. Want to, you know, be a part of this little watch party. Where you from? In the
Yeah.
chat.
What state?
No,
You
what
could be
state?
overseas. It don't matter.
Overseas, if you're overseas, let us know. We'll give you a little shout out. Where y'all at?
Yeah.
Again,
State,
slightly
city.
above where he is
Yeah.
nationally.
Did you vote?
Wisconsin's a different story. His approval rating.
That's
of
what I
the
wanna
sitting
know.
President Joe Biden
Did you
is
vote?
at 38% in Wisconsin. That is below where he is nationally.
Hey, man.
61%
Yes.
of Wisconsin
We have to put
voters
righteousness.
reflected
Yes.
disapprove
I agree.
of the job Joe Biden's doing.
Definitely.
That's
Definitely.
a hurdle that Kamala Harris is going to have to jump here in the Badger State. Okay?
Ah,
All right,
Florida.
Thanks so much. This
Florida
was-
from the boogie down Bronx. What?
Biden
Originally,
Oh, yeah?
that's what's up.
ends with the Trump
That's
victory
what's
in
up, that's
North
Shout
what's
out
Carolina.
people from the boogie down.
What I'm saying. But there's going to
And
be
shout out to
I
Floyd.
agree with you.
recriminations
I
and
agree with you.
wondering
Look,
these approval ratings
voted
for Joe
early
Biden are
too.
brutal.
I voted early too. That's what we got to
Definitely.
do. I ain't have time for the lines.
Wonder Woman, Ohio. We got Ohio in the house. Okay, okay.
Ah,
Go Vance.
that's what's up.
A big headwind for Kamala
Definitely,
Harris.
definitely.
Despite
Anybody
the fact
else
that she
on
isn't
there?
trying to
Where
separate
y'all
herself,
from? Where
despite
y'all
the fact
at?
that she is
Let us
saying
know.
that she wants to turn the page and that
Let
she's
us
a new
know.
generation and all the things that we've
In the
heard her
chat.
say
Put it in
one
the
of her
chat.
stump
Let us know
speeches.
where y'all from.
That is a number that there is no question the Harris campaign is looking at and saying,
Hit
we
the
hope
like
that
button.
doesn't bleed into
Give us the
the
hearts.
and the actual
Smash it up.
Trump campaign tried to do an effective job in tying her to
Come on, TikTok.
Yeah.
Yes.
TikTok, he give us some hearts, man. Hit that
You were
screen.
in the room.
Hit that
You were always
screen.
there were all kinds of decisions you could have made a difference, and you didn't.
Well, and then of course there was her gaffe.
Well, you know what? You know what?
What would you have done differently over the
I'm
last
so
4 years?
surprised
we
we're
got-
even
we got another one.
Pennsylvania, but okay.
Dominican parents.
Probably not
Okay, okay.
the best answer.
Okay.
Jacob, I can just
That's what's up.
look
That's
back.
what's
I think
up.
a lot of our viewers made just
That's
the big
what
picture. We
is.
look at this
Yeah.
and say, Trump's got 105 electoral votes, and Harris has got
What was you saying?
27. And there's
Well, I'm looking at some of these states. I'm surprised,
and I think the point we need
but
to make
and some of these states have, very few electoral votes.
there are no
But you want any vote that you can get. I mean, come on.
Of course.
You
definitely
want
want
what you
that.
can get. Yes.
Yeah, you definitely
won
want that.
in,
But sometimes
they
you
won
know,
our states that he won in
do you want to
2020,
go there? Do
all
you
the
want to
states
promote
that
there,
Harris
or do you
won,
want
the
to just
states
go
that
to where you can get
Biden
the
won in
most
2020? There's been
and try
no
to hit all
swing
those
state
little
that has been flipped
towns
yet,
in that
and
little
there is
state?
every
Yes, and counties, but
states roll out the Republicans
from what we saw on the map, a lot of the
polls,
red
and a lot
states
of
are staying
big red
red.
states.
Yeah.
I say if the Democrats, if Kamala, if they can flip a red state, it's going to be some trouble.
It's going to happen. I
It's
just don't
going
know
to be
which
some
state
trouble.
it is.
Yes.
I just don't know which state it's going to be. It's going to happen though. It's definitely going to happen.
Yeah.
New York, we still have not.
So
Because I don't know if
I mean, there are plenty of places
Trump is going to flip a blue state. I'd be surprised with that. Is it possible? Yeah.
Surprise.
Yeah.
It's a surprisingly close race in Virginia.
That's
which has
true.
gone
That's true.
blue since 2008 and Obama, the last
Yeah, they
four
got the-
cycles. And if
It's,
you
I
remember,
mean,
Trump
like I
had
said,
a-
it's just
in
so
late
early,
October, had a
man.
rally
Oh
down
yeah,
in
yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
it's
It is.
too early to
He's running
tell.
True, but there's only
I know. I
I
think
understand,
I
but it's
think
49,
Trump already
49.
got.
But John King said
I want to
something along
say
that earlier
Kentucky
when he
and
said,
Indiana.
Is this assuming she
Could
wins
come
Yeah,
back
yeah. They
around.
said, yeah, they
she
did
will
see
win with
You got both of those?
5
Yeah, yeah.
points.
I'm not sure about Indiana,
in
but I did see
2016, or is she gonna win
Kentucky.
the way that Joe
Okay,
Biden won
Kentucky.
10
Okay,
points
gotcha,
in
gotcha.
2020, and I think that there can
Miami
Oh.
Dade. Just right down there in Miami.
He said Miami-Dade.
Yeah.
But you know what's wild though? You speaking on that, but Florida is usually a red state. So
Mhm.
And now we're
in
looking
Miami,
at-
okay, that'll be
we talked about
surprising.
before,
So
but just,
did
Well, you
they
know how they
usually
have
vote?
like certain mayors in that area,
Yes, did they usually
Democratic,
vote?
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
from Michigan
And then
from
you know,
Pennsylvania,
I guess
'cause we're actually
collectively the
finally
whole
seeing
state
numbers.
usually
Yes.
It is early,
Yes.
but they're important.
red. But
So if
Pennsylvania,
they flip them, that's
we
saying something.
cannot stress
Yeah.
enough how critical Pennsylvania
That's
is.
true.
You're
That's
looking
true.
at
That's
what
saying
it is
something.
To
Yeah.
Kamala Harris, Donald Trump,
definitely.
if things go the way that they traditionally go
Mhm.
For a Republican, unlike 2020,
Oh
what's
my
up.
God.
could
He
win
said dark
the
blue.
White House. It is hard to see in most of these
That's
past
what's up.
Kamala Harris winning the White House without Pennsylvania, and you see there's 68%.
Hold on
That's
one
what she
second
has now.
here.
It is still extremely
Give
early,
us a
only
thumbs up,
13%.
y'all. Just
Right,
so
and
you
this
can
is
get
the
out
point
there.
that Chris is making about the larger electoral map. It also applies to the vote that we see in Virginia and the vote that we see in Pennsylvania. If
Hey,
Kamala Harris wins Pennsylvania, and who knows,
let
he's
your
not gonna win
family and
every-
friends know that
one of
we
those
on
states.
live right
Because
now.
it is anticipated
If they
to
don't
be
know
raised.
about us, come
There's
on.
Yeah.
all the votes
Ask some
that come in.
questions,
Join
man.
us. Yes.
What do y'all think about
sit
this?
back.
Many pots.
We got a lot.
Is it going to be a landslide?
Let's go.
It's going to be a
back
close
everybody.
race all the way to the finish.
Votes
Come on.
about to end in
Come on.
3 of the crucial
And I'm
battleground
talking, it's going to be so close. It's going to be
that
fourth,
you are in
either
charge of at
fourth
your
quarter
Command
with
Center.
30
command
seconds to go.
Wisconsin, Arizona. Now, we were
It
talking
may
about
be.
the
It may
60%.
be.
Obviously, it's not going to end up that way in Pennsylvania. You look at that blue wall. You look
Yeah.
at Michigan. Jim Sciutto is in Detroit, and Jim, where you are
Yeah.
now, this is the nuts and
Crucial
bolts, and I think
battlegrounds,
everybody wants to
Georgia,
hear about
North
how
Carolina,
counties
Pennsylvania.
actually happen.
Yep.
So tell us about where you are. This is an
Too early to
absentee
call.
ballot
Yes.
center.
If they can
got a
flip,
lot of them that needs to turn. I wonder, have they already turned in all their early votes?
They were expecting about
Think so?
100,000.
No, I don't think so.
The early votes? I'm talking
But
about
the early votes should. Early votes, yeah. It should have been. They should have been turned in. Yes. Yes, it should have been turned in. But
they were able to begin counting those absentee ballots the seed before election day.
So at
this point,
they've
already counted
I hear you.
2,000 about 100,000 expected absentee
But
ballots.
if the Democrats can somehow flip Georgia, problems for the Republican Party. Problems.
How many do we see? How many electoral votes for
But you know what's
Georgia?
wild? They don't. Georgia doesn't have a lot of electoral votes, but they're always. Democrats are always trying to flip Georgia, and they came close. Shout out to Stacey Abrams. She works her butt off. So I have to give her credit. Democratic Party have to give her credit for that. The job she does.
The scene of protests and unfounded claims of fraud.
Now, according to CNN, what does it say? 27 to 105.
Yes,
that's what we at.
That's in part because of you have that law. You were able
Well, electoral map, but that I mean that does look like a
And there's going to be
but I mean, we still got some big states we haven't taken care of.
Oh, yeah,
you haven't taken care of Florida. You haven't taken care of Texas, California.
California, they have some nice amount of electoral votes. Yeah.
Okay, 16 for
just
Georgia.
16. Thank you. Thank you.
They expect to
Appreciate it.
overall
Appreciate
the state
it.
of Michigan faster than last year, which of course was the day after midday. Secretary of State said she hoped it would be a little bit earlier than that. What we'll see as the count comes in.
Next
Young Law is
polls
at Maricopa
closes.
County.
7 minutes.
Maricopa County, biggest in Phoenix.
No,
fastest
we
growing in
all
the
up.
country, as they
We'll
say.
stay up for everybody.
One of the most important counties.
Yes.
Keep it going. We kind of want to. It's just up to you, man. If you want to switch to a different network or whatever.
Oh yes, you know,
just to see, what they say and how they want to,
and see how they run in their stories, because CNN is going to be definitely different from Fox News and how they're doing their, their coverage of it. I just like to show that it could be a different bias, even with just the votes. You can't change what's coming in, but they'll give their different spins and takes on it,
Yeah.
All of this
Okay. Well, you just let me know. Give me the word, and we'll see what's up.
Polls close here in Arizona. We are anticipating to get the first results out of Arizona. That will be.
It'll be interesting to see, especially for Georgia, Pennsylvania, because they have already polls have already closed for those states,
right?
And North Carolina. All three of those, there's just so many to process
and then
and seeing.
To the tabulation center.
Well,
process
I will say it and I believe it.
Well. So it is a
multi-step former President Trump will be in trouble if Georgia's flipped. And it's only 16 votes. But it be in trouble because that's a state that Republicans are supposed to win. Supposed to win, but they can
because
flip.
it's a southern state. Normally, southern states, are Republican.
That we are
definitely
some of these vote centers. At Mesa
but I don't know.
College,
I don't know.
And
that, what would be crazy if New York.
An hour.
Hey, that's not going to happen, Kane. Go on and say it. We talked about this.
Hey, look,
congregation.
Oh my goodness, that would be crazy.
You saying if New York flipped?
Yeah, flip to red. Oh my goodness. That would be crazy.
That'll be the apocalypse coming. I don't know. I mean, for real.
Thank you very much.
See that happening, bro.
As the counts are coming in, people have questions about how it's happening, what's happening where. Pam, Macomb County in Michigan, what are you seeing there?
Well,
I wonder,
what's up?
With technology nowadays, to be able to count these votes quicker, especially when, that poll is done, nobody else is, once you upload it, it's there. It should, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but let me tell you something, sir. We don't want anything, however they've been doing it, okay? You want it faster and faster. They're going to say it was manipulation. We have no time for scandals, okay? No time. We can wait. We can wait.
And we got time. Ain't no hurry. That Ronald Reagan did it once in 84. Is from New York? Okay.
Oh, okay.
They're on track to have more
But
than
they-
200,000 mail-in
That's what's
ballots,
up.
he says. But given the high
So it
early
has
voting
been
turnout,
done.
he
So,
told me that
Hmm.
the
see.
expectation there was that there would be
Well.
lackluster turnout today.
Mhm.
That is not the case in that key county. Overall in Michigan, let's look at the
But
numbers
yeah, I just
here.
don't
The
get the
Michigan
people,
Secretary of
especially the
State says
people
more
that
than
complain that
3.4
don't vote.
million voters
Yeah.
I
cast
mean,
their
I
ballots early or
understand
by mail.
the
That's nearly 47%
the
of
frustration with
registered
people
voters. And listen
when
to
it comes
this.
to
Another 85,000
Harris
absentee
and
ballot
her
papers
nomination
returned to polling
because
centers
she was never
today.
nominated.
Let's go over to Milwaukee. They've had some
She was
issues
just
over there
selected.
in Milwaukee today. They're
So
going to
I
have to
can get the
retabulate
frustration
about
on that part because
30,000
they's like,
ballots
you
after
know, my
problems with
Democratic
counting
candidate, I
issues
ain't even,
were
you know, no
discovered.
one voted
All
for her.
13
Hey,
tabulating
that's
machines
old
in
news.
Center.
I can't
Zero. The
go over
ballots went
that.
through
No, I'm
again.
just
The
saying.
time
I can see
in
the
which was
frustration though.
estimated there,
I
the
can see the
ballot count
frustration
for
in
the
people like,
absentees
man,
began
I ain't,
around
I mean,
midnight.
why?
Now it's
You
more
know?
likely around 2
So,
or 3 a.m.
you
And
know,
then in
It
Arizona,
was
I spoke
it
to
was less
viewers
than
there
3
in
months,
Maricopa
Kane.
County,
They
the
didn't have
largest
time to
county.
do anything.
blah,
Anybody.
Longer than expected.
No,
blah.
you can
Oh,
say blah.
listen,
You
listen,
can
listen,
say
listen.
blah. It was
Listen.
no way.
1.1 to
Listen,
1.2
Come on.
million
What?
ballots
if
in
you already
total.
got
At
one
about 2
candidate
p.m. Eastern
that's in
tonight will
office,
only account
already
for
got a
early
campaign
votes
going,
through
what do you
last
think she's gonna do?
Tuesday,
Take the
October
money
29th.
and keep
That is
going,
less
same
than the
route,
initial estimate that the first drop would be
right?
comprised of ballots
No, that's
Right?
fine.
at
Yeah,
least
yeah, yeah.
Friday. They
All
thought
right then.
so. It's going more slowly
What's
there.
your argument?
One more thing I
No,
want to
my
note.
argument
I'm told
is
they're
when
going to
people
keep
make
up
these
24-hour
complaints, she
shifts
was
in
not
Maricopa to keep things
elected or
moving. They
nobody voted
understand how
for her.
important
Yeah,
it is to
That's
get those
already
results
happened.
out
That's
of the accurate results out of
what
the
are you gonna
polls.
that's
try to hold
election
them to election?
interference.
Very
Look,
That's
much.
look, look.
election interference.
Take all of that
Kane.
Take
together.
them to
Look
the
Look,
court.
and people, this is how we debate, even though the votes are coming in. But you're not going to blow up the party trying to hold
We're going to be at this a while and maybe brew an extra
an
pot.
election, and that would have blew up the Democratic Party. That's
Well,
what it would have
why?
done.
Well, tell me this.
We
Why
have
did
no
they?
time. Look,
This is Wayne County.
Why
We have
did
no votes.
they?
The reason we can't
Why
say
did
much
they
about Michigan
select
right
her?
now is we have 0 votes. In the
Just
she was the
because she
vice
has
president. Who else is more popular? You know, they only had a couple of
What was the
people who they
reason?
want. Say again?
What was the reason though,
studying
bro?
Reagan Democrats, right? Why were union auto workers
Like,
voting for
like
Ronald
what was the
Reagan
reason
president?
why they
That
picked
debate continues out there
another
right now. It was out
person?
there about a month ago. It's a huge test out there.
It
but it's
wouldn't have
very early
made
in
much
it's
sense unless it
28%.
was
So let's
somebody
go
that was
back to the battleground
dynamic,
so we have more votes.
like when
No, what
Barack
Only have
Obama
I'm getting at, what I'm
spoke.
getting,
Pennsylvania.
What are
The
you
vice
trying to
president
say?
with a big
or
lead
what I'm
doesn't make
getting at
much
I
is,
hope
you
you're not.
no
know,
matter who wins Pennsylvania.
well, I'm
It's
just
not gonna
saying
end
he
in
was
30 race.
unfit
We just
for
know
the
that
job.
as
We
count
know
more votes.
that.
So we'll wait.
That's
Try
neither
No,
here
but they
nor
didn't
there.
want to say that, and
Pennsylvania.
they
This is
never
one of the
have.
surprises. A lot of surprises on the
They
map
they
right
never
now.
have conceded
Unlikely
with
to
that.
end this way.
They never
You see
have.
the
Well,
vice president leading in Kansas. The
They
vice
never
president
have.
leading in
that's
Missouri. Vice
ridiculous. I
president
know,
Brazil, we've already
I'm just
discussed
saying
their
they never
and
said
that'll go
that.
down in
He
history.
was
Gross committee.
unfit.
We'll see. We'll
You
keep an
know,
eye
they
on it.
never said
We're
that.
open to surprises here
Yes,
At all.
we'll
Kane,
keep a
that
look
that
at it.
happened.
A surprise
Okay.
that has a lot of votes counted so far.
Really
ahead.
offering
They're
anything.
almost up to the
25K
halfway mark here,
houses
and Donald
support
Trump is
with
ahead in the state. Joe
being
Biden voted 4 years ago
by
Hey,
some
one,
states already. I
by
get
10
you.
points.
Wonder
So
Woman, I
let's see.
get you.
One of the
Wonder
Yeah.
Woman with her lasso of truth around here coming. That's what I'm talking about.
outstanding votes. The larger the circle,
You bringing up
the more
something that's
votes are
already
out in
going
your area.
on,
The color of
Yeah,
that
no,
circle
that's
tells you
what's
how the
up.
voting is going so
huh?
far. You see these big circles in Richmond and the suburbs, huge
That's
circles,
crazy
and
though.
then smaller circles within them in
That
the
is
Washington
crazy.
D.C. suburbs. So there are a lot
But
of
like I
Democratic
say,
votes still to be
they knew he
counted.
wasn't
Vice
fit.
President can't like that right
They
now.
knew
We
it.
do not like being
Yeah,
tied
What do you think so?
that's
around
true.
Virginia right now.
That's
They
There's
knew
a
that.
lot
true,
of votes
Kane.
still to be
Yes.
counted.
So,
We can
so
tell
if they
from
knew
that
he wasn't
a
fit,
lot
they
of them are
should have said, "All right,
Democratic, so we'll
let me
see.
step
Same
down
test in
in my
North
VP.
Carolina, up to 38%
Would
of the
y'all
vote.
elect her?
Trump with a narrow
Would y'all
lead there.
elect her?
Let's just bring it up and look. Live
Would
out
y'all elect her?
your biggest
Can,
outstanding
okay,
votes are in
that's
the
I see what
Democratic
you're
areas.
saying.
Charlotte, Raleigh-Durham,
Yeah.
Two
Winston-Salem,
things.
Don't they sound?
Asheville, and
No,
Don't they
Wilmington.
sound?
listen,
You know,
listen.
Very
With
legit.
with
race right
with
there
the
right
time
now.
frame that they
Rather
did
Trump
everything,
be rather be ahead, but there's a lot
with
of vote
3
counting
months
ahead of us
before
here.
we're
This
gonna
is one of the tightest
have
in
to
the battleground.
actually
Virginia, a bit of a surprise, Jake. More
choose a
counting.
president,
All right, John King.
you
Voting is
have
about
no
to end in
time to
15
set set up
the second biggest wave of results.
different people in the Democratic Party to run, unless it's somebody that's outstanding.
CNN's going to bring
You know, you don't want to blow up the party. They had to do what they did.
Texas will go to Donald Trump. The state
Uh-oh.
of Texas, as expected, to Donald
All
Trump.
right.
Oh man,
Shout out,
40 right now.
Texas.
That's
Let's
40
go.
right now.
North Dakota.
Let's go.
As expected,
Yeah.
North Dakota with its 3 electoral votes.
3
Two more
elect
for
North
now.
Dakota.
CNN
Okay.
projects that
DNC was threatened by the
South
Black
Dakota
Congressional Caucus.
will go to
and
Donald
shit.
Trump. South Dakota, as expected, with its 3 electoral
I could
votes
believe
to Donald
that. I
Trump.
could definitely believe
And
that.
CNN projects that Wyoming will go to Donald Trump.
Okay.
Ain't nothing but land out there.
I know. You see that so small. 3, 3, and 3. Let's go.
Hey, no shade to it.
Arizona,
That's on here from Wyoming.
Colorado,
But it ain't
Iowa,
nothing but land out there.
Kansas, Louisiana, battleground Michigan, Minnesota,
No
Nebraska,
projection.
New Mexico, New York, and battleground
Yeah,
Wisconsin.
battleground
Let's look at the
Wisconsin, yeah.
electoral
They
map.
got a lot of
Yeah.
Donald Trump has 154
Come on,
electoral votes.
man. This ain't even.
Look. That looks bad. We laughing.
Hey, you know what? We need to cut this off now? I mean,
no, Kane. And then you wake up in the morning and just like Trump won back in the day, and she run a gambit, a blind 10. You don't play spades before. Let's go. Put my spades players at. Let's go.
That is wild, though.
Michigan.
Yeah. They got them numbers like that. Oh my goodness.
Donald Trump with 43.3% of the vote. Kamala Harris with a 55,000 plus vote lead. That's with only an estimated 8% of the vote counted in Michigan. Still very early in Michigan. In battleground North Carolina, Donald Trump.
That's so close right there. Look how close that is.
Kamala Harris with 47.
And think about those people who just didn't decide to vote.
More than 100.
You know what I mean?
Oh, that's on them.
That's with
but I mean,
nothing to
that can
complain
sway
about.
it, you know, left and right. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They chose to not to do it.
Kamala Harris with 46.6% of the vote. Donald Trump has a healthy 228,000 plus vote lead.
Trump is a threat to democracy. You have to use democracy to select the candidate. That is true. For sure. For sure. They didn't even want to do it. They just, hey, you go over there and we're going to pump you up.
With 48.7%,
we can get some
hip
hop acts and get them to dance in front of people.
Oh,
and as long as she don't do anything live, and if she don't take the press, because the press can be,
well, you know, in the end, and that could have shot them in the foot too.
Yeah, they did no press. She did no press.
At the end, she started doing press. At
What
the
press?
end.
What press?
Oh,
She didn't do a press
a couple of
conference.
different places. Yeah, control.
No, but all of that was recorded.
3% of the vote. Donald Trump with a
All that stuff was pre-recorded, man.
No, I don't know that.
60 minutes and all of that.
Yeah, I don't know that.
All of that was pre-recorded, and we just seen snippets of it. And then,
Actually, you know what? They were saying she was reading. Yeah, it wasn't live. So
yeah, none of that was live, man.
Right, roger that.
She may have done I think she done a little
Republican, you might be saying, "Wow, this is a
town hall," but I don't even know how
we should be
true
worried.
that was.
Watch this. Wait, he's saying it.
I love the analogy. Nobody has broken serve yet. As in,
He said, it looks so bleak right now, but if we could turn it up just a little bit.
Oh yeah, Joe Biden carried when he won the White House. What don't we have? We don't have Rhode Island. We don't have Connecticut. We don't have New Jersey. We don't have Illinois just yet. Long-time blue states. So as we move west and as the count advances in some of the New York as well, some of the most reliably blue states, this map will change in the near future. At least that is our expectation. We'll keep an eye on it. That's the path to 270. You get there by filling these states in red and blue. So let's see, again, an unusual map at the moment, just because the vote count is early, or because we're going to have the most surprising election of my lifetime. But in Nebraska,
all those empty counties.
You have the vice president winning.
Do people live there?
They probably still voting over there.
I would love to win Nebraska. Don't get me wrong. Nebraska's second congressional district is right here in the Omaha area. Nebraska and Maine award electoral votes based on congressional district, the two states that do that. So eastern Nebraska is what matters most to the vice president. We'll see if Nebraska stays blue. Again, to its south, the state of Kansas, 29% of the vote in. But you see all this? That's if you're playing Legos, that's Donald Trump.
Wow.
That's right there, those small rural counties,
They got a lot
especially in the heartland here.
Okay.
So Kamala Harris, the vice president, ahead with 52% of the vote. It's all over here.
Yeah.
Kansas
That's
City,
still
Missouri,
too close.
suburbs here, the more blue areas, the college towns, and the more urban areas in
That's
Kansas
close,
is why she's ahead right now. It's only 29% of the vote. We'll watch as that map fills in. Again, Missouri, when I started doing this in 1988, spent a lot of time in Missouri with Michael Dukakis. It's not a battleground state anymore. But at the moment, it's 51%, but it's only 7%. And again, you see votes coming in the suburbs just to the west of St. Louis, suburbs just to the east of Kansas City. That's why the Democrat is leading at the moment as we go through it. So now let's get to the states that we actually think will be the battlegrounds in the end. We'll keep looking. We'll keep looking.
Let me
Open
just see
to
what he's going to
surprises
say.
here.
Real quick, and then we're going to switch to Fox.
Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, still at 16%. This is a 30-point race, just shy of a 30-point race in a state we know is going to be decided by 1 or 2 points. So we'll continue to watch to see.
Wow.
I check in on it just to see if the vote count has gone up. It has not in a while, still 16%. Same with Michigan. We're up to 10% here right now, 53 to 45. Again, if there's an 8-point lead in Michigan, then you have a blowout. You expect this to be very close in the end. We're missing a lot, right? Earlier tonight, Grand Rapids was red for Donald Trump. That's Kent County out here. Right now, you see it's almost a tie right there. This is one of the battlegrounds within the battlegrounds. Formerly reliably red, now a closely fought.
You see that?
Area.
Come on now.
Grand Rapids, we'll keep an eye on that. But still nothing out of Wayne County, Detroit.
Shout out
come up here to
Michigan.
Bingham
Anybody
County.
from Michigan?
This is where Michigan State is. If this ends the night there, Donald Trump's going to feel
Detroit.
very good about his Michigan
Yeah.
chances, but we're at 3%. Students here, state capital, government town, should be blue by the end of the night. If it's not, that would tell you something huge. So let's come to where we have more votes in these battlegrounds. Again, I just want to check on Virginia again. This is our surprise at the moment. We're up to 50% of the vote, and you have Donald Trump with a very narrow lead. I did this a moment ago. I just want to do it again for people at home. Most of the outstanding votes, these circles tell you, the larger the circle, the more outstanding votes. We're still waiting to be
Richmond,
counted.
Norfolk.
And
Let's go.
the color tells you how the vote's coming in so far in that area. So you see a lot of blue up here.
Yeah.
Virginia now has become a blue state because of the Washington, D.C. suburbs in Northern Virginia. This
Wow,
place
the DMV area.
In 25, 35 minutes, depending on traffic drive. So that's out there, plus Richmond and the suburbs
But all
around there. We'll see.
rural
Donald Trump is
areas.
remarkably in play
Yeah,
in this
yeah.
state, and this would be
And
even
you
if
have a
close,
Republican
even if
governor.
It's close, it might tell you something
Oh,
about
yeah,
what's going to
yeah,
happen
definitely.
to its south in North Carolina. They're not twins, but they're very similar, Virginia and North Carolina. North Carolina actually has a higher African-American population. So if you're the vice president, that's part of your base. Here's Donald Trump.
Why is that?
Hey, come on,
Why
bro.
is that?
Hey,
Why
y'all
is
know
that?
Hey.
I don't know. I
Campaign
don't
be
know
nervous.
about that, brother.
He might be right. He might be right, but he said it.
But again, you see, there's still some large
Why is that
pockets
the
of
VP's
Democratic votes.
base?
Also, some pretty good sized pockets of Republican votes in a
You
battleground
heard him
state.
say
It's gonna
it.
take a while
Yeah, he
to
said
It
it.
has
sort
a
out,
number
but
of
you see where
black
the
people
outstanding
there,
votes are.
African
We didn't
American,
get to this
black.
last time in Georgia, so let's go down and
Watch
look
what
at
you say,
battleground
brother.
Georgia
You're gonna be viral.
and bring that up here right
Yeah.
now. We're up to 68% of the vote in Georgia, and you have
You're gonna be
53
viral.
for 46. So if
No,
you're in the
I'm
Trump
just-
campaign,
he
you're
was,
thinking,
you
well,
know, he
I'm
said
more
we
than
have
two-thirds
this
of the vote
number
counted.
of people.
It's hard to feel
Still,
good about
that-
a lead that
I
big,
don't agree
especially
with
in a
that.
state that was, 11,700 votes.
If I lived in
40
North
years ago, but
Carolina,
let's see what's left out. Where are the
I don't agree with
outstanding
that.
votes? And you see right there why
You would just be the
Harris campaign,
anomaly, sir.
nervous
Yeah,
and
whatever.
checking in with all your field
Look at all that
captains, your
Atlanta
precinct and your
blue.
county people, but you see right there,
Woo!
giants
Shout
are
out.
at a bigger
A
circle,
man.
another
Phoenix
big circle
Mall,
over here.
let's
There are
go.
still a lot of areas that we know vote
Oh, my
disproportionately
God. All that
Democratic.
Atlanta
Come
The
on.
blue.
votes are to be counted in Georgia. I just want to come back and make
The
one more observation
underground.
here. You see
The
that
MATA.
242,000 vote lead. It is a little after 9 o'clock on Tuesday night. If you
We
go
got
back
anybody
to
new
2020,
on the
Donald Trump was leading Georgia by
TikTok or
244,000
YouTube or
votes
Twitch,
at 9
man?
o'clock on Tuesday
Where y'all-
night,
where y'all
election
at?
night in
Where y'all
2020.
Come
It
on.
was 244,000 votes then. It's 242,000 votes now. Joe Biden
Join
carried
us.
Georgia. Doesn't mean Kamala Harris
Where
will
you
this time.
from?
It just
Blake?
means
Put where
we
you
count
from.
all the votes.
Did you vote?
And you come back out and take a look again to see if,
If
the
you're
map has
brave
changed
enough,
at all.
who did you vote for?
Texas and
It's
Florida
okay.
has gone back. Ohio has gone back to where
Yeah.
you expect it to go back, and that lead seems
What's
to be
said is
growing.
done.
I want to
you
just
know?
check in
Yes.
again on this battleground here. Still at 18% there. And so I'm going to do something now. This is an exercise. But you see Trump leading in North Carolina and Trump leading in Georgia. I just want to switch the map here and come
What
over
is
to the
this?
race for 270. Okay? This is an if. This is an if. It's not it. We're nowhere near there. We have a lot of votes to count there. But why is this so important? When you take battleground states off the board, when we're able to project and call them, it changes the chess of getting to 270. If Donald Trump were to hold that, he's leading there now. It's close. It's close. There's plenty of votes still for the vice president to catch up. You have to wait and see what happens. But if Donald Trump takes those two, the vice president of the United States needs to win that. That's what makes the math interesting. She needs that 19 votes right there. Because if Donald Trump gets that, it gets him to the finish line. So if that happens, that becomes essential. We're not there yet, Jake, but just like to do the math in our head.
We
as we
know
go through the
Florida's
scenario.
going to go.
All right,
Just
John King and
go.
CNN can now bring
Gotta
you a
play
new
it.
projection.
New
CNN projects that Kamala Harris
Got
will
three.
win the state
Look
of
at 'em.
Delaware.
Look,
Delaware is
don't
expected
sound like a hater,
to go to
sir.
Kamala Harris with its 3 electoral
I ain't
got
gonna
votes.
let you
three.
Small
disrespect,
wonders.
okay?
Take a
You
look
got them
at the
crip
electoral
walking
vote
down
count.
there
Donald
in
Trump has
Howard.
154 electoral votes.
It looks
Kamala
funny.
Harris
You
has
need to stop.
30
Hey,
electoral votes.
because in this
They having a
30s.
party down there.
Electoral votes are
They having a
needed
party down
to
there.
win. Let's bring
And
you a key
Howard.
race alert now. In the Commonwealth
Hey.
of Pennsylvania, Kamala Harris has 60.4%.
It sound like you- it sound like you're hating, King.
No, I'm just saying
Of
they
the
having a
vote,
great
Kamala
time
Harris with a
down there at Howard. You
284,000
know,
plus vote win.
They got
I'm sorry,
three.
lead 284,000 plus vote lead with an only
Yeah,
an
yeah, that's
estimated
two.
19% of the
Pennsylvania.
vote in. Not even
I'm pretty
a fifth
much
of the vote.
pretty
Still
much
a lot of votes to count in
Pittsburgh
Pennsylvania.
and
In battleground Michigan,
Philly.
Kamala Harris
all those,
with 53.1% of the vote. Donald
But
Trump
once some of
has
these states they turn
44.9% of the vote.
they're
Kamala Harris with a 46.
done with the count,
lead.
she's
Only
going to
a
come
tenth
up.
of the
She's going to
vote
shoot
has
up
been counted in
significantly.
Michigan, 10%. Still
Where?
very early there.
What you're
And
talking
some
about?
of the
Carolina,
ones that
Donald Trump
she's going to win, you know, with
51.9% of
15,
the vote. Kamala Harris
she's
with
going to win some of these
46.9% of the
areas
vote.
that's
Donald Trump
close
with a
races.
119,000
Oh, right. You talking about right
plus
here,
vote
like
lead.
this? Yeah, but I mean, it's like 41%.
Yeah, it's a possibility.
That one's
In battleground
69%
Donald Trump
done.
in the lead there, 52.7% of the vote.
I mean, it's almost done right there in Georgia.
46% of the vote.
Yeah.
With a 225,000 plus vote lead.
So
That's with
they'll be done shortly.
69% of the estimated vote in Georgia.
She gotta have
really
a big
counting the
jump.
ballots. In
She
Georgia,
already got
that's
Atlanta. We know
69%
that.
of the estimated vote
Oh,
has
yeah.
been counted.
Yeah.
You know?
In the Commonwealth of Virginia, Donald Trump still has his 49.5% lead. Now
Look
it's
at that.
49.4%. Kamala Harris is 48.6%.
Woo!
Donald Trump is
got
18,000 plus votes ahead of
48%
Kamala
left.
Harris right now, with more than half, 52% of the estimated vote counted in the Commonwealth
That'll
of
help her out
Virginia.
a lot.
In New Hampshire, Kamala Harris.
Yeah, she
in
can
the lead
take
with
that.
53.3%
Gonna
of the
take
vote.
New
Donald
Look
Trump
at you trying to give her those 3s and 4s. He trying to, you a bad
You can do
space
that.
player.
Yeah, go ahead and take that one. You can have that one.
Hey,
in the Granite State of
he
New
trying to get 3 and 4.
In
Okay.
Ohio, Donald Trump still in the lead there. 53.9%
Oh, yeah.
of the vote.
Oh,
Kamala
yeah.
Harris has 45.2% of the vote. Donald
Ohio,
Trump with a 275,000 plus vote lead. That's with more than half, 52% of the estimated vote counted in Ohio. John King.
You say you want to switch up?
Look at the map, Jake, and one of the wonders.
Yeah,
is to get
just
into the 9
see
o'clock
what's
hour.
up.
This will be in the 10 o'clock hour, 11
If we
o'clock
got
hour.
anything
especially
different
past
going on.
midnight hours. But you're beginning to see more states fill in. Most of it is very early voting, but it's still, as you just see as the polls close and we go from east to west, you now see many more states reporting votes. Let's just take a peek. We've already projected this one
CNN,
to be for Donald
Fox,
Trump. I just want to show you North Dakota.
MSNBC.
These states feel they don't get respect because they're not huge electoral
Fox
battlegrounds. I like to
5,
wander through and look at the
ABC.
votes and just show people out here. You see South Dakota
Which
starting
one you
to
wanna
fill in
do?
slowly, very early on 1% of the vote. This is a surprise at the moment.
Fox
Nebraska,
need to be
Vice
last.
President so far
Or
carrying
just second. We just,
statewide. We're only at 27%. And again,
that
most of
needs
this
to
gray
be.
you see from about here
ESPN.
west.
Where's,
PBS.
Republican farm
No,
country.
not PBS.
Is running
Yeah, right
up.
there. Yeah, right there.
This
Right
one,
there.
the example we're
Yes,
talking about.
yes. I just
That's what
saw.
tends to happen.
I can't think of her name, but she
They were
used to
not
be
expecting that.
a
Democrats
great
were
strategist for the
in
Democratic Party.
Pennsylvania. They're encouraged, what I'm told, by the raw data, emphasis on the raw data they're seeing.
There
So
she is.
they don't wanna
Yes.
speak out of
Oh, you know
turn,
her?
Yeah,
they
she used to
feel
be
all right.
with Biden's campaign. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know her.
Oh, yeah, yeah. She's.
Well, the lines are very long, and they want people to stay in line, Lester. I'm told that actually in Pennsylvania specifically, celebrities are FaceTiming in to the people who are in line.
There's people in
encouraging them
line
to
in
stay
Pennsylvania.
The
They
organizers
closed
are out there
2
with
hours
the
ago,
phones
didn't they?
saying, "Hey, so and so is on the line." There are concerts actually happening. They are looking at
Wow.
Pennsylvania very closely.
Pennsylvania,
And as the time that the vice president spent in the state, in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, I think is also indicative of where they see some gaps. Also,
True
in
battleground.
County, in Georgia, the lines, the polling locations were staying open longer because of
See, that's why do
Wait,
you
wait,
wait
wait.
that long?
evacuations that had to happen, encouraging people to know that it is safe.
Oh,
to
you
vote.
know, because a couple of places got called bomb threats in, they shut them down, and then they said they was going to allow them to open them up or stay open longer.
Vote and
Yeah,
say
but
That's
I mean-
interference right there. You
Well,
can't.
we got that. We got that.
Yeah,
but I'm
so
just
that's
saying,
it. A
why
couple
wait
of
till
things
the last
happened.
minute like that, man.
Florida, and we just got the inside scoop from the Harris campaign. So what are you hearing from the Trump campaign about what they're seeing?
So it's far from over, people. It's far from over. It's just beginning.
Yeah,
and
that's
we
true.
here.
That's true, Wonder Woman.
Is very
That's
buoyed
true.
by what they've seen out of Wisconsin, specifically among black voters. They're pointing to our exit poll, which shows Donald Trump more than doubling his support among African Americans in Wisconsin. I cannot emphasize enough how much this has been an emphasis for the Trump campaign to try to improve their margins. So they got blown out with African American voters in 2020. If they were able to move the percentage that they got from 8% to 10, 12, 15, in this case, based on these early exit polls, getting 20% in Wisconsin.
As long as you're in line, you can still vote.
Oh,
yeah.
Hey. Be decided by
I wouldn't want to stand in no line. That's why I like the early vote joint, man.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, yeah.
But some
I
people just
I would-
like voting on that day.
I know.
Talked to several people. They like voting on that day.
Yeah, but to be out there all night long at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, when you don't have to be there, you just choose to.
Be a huge part of this story.
All right,
Yeah,
Garrett,
I don't
thank
know.
you. I want to go over to Peter Alexander at Harris headquarters, Washington.
Well, they had
DC.
long lines, different
And how's the feeling there? What's the
voting
vibe?
places,
Mm-hmm.
polling places in Alabama, but they was moving them through. They did a great job here. Shout out to all the churches that was voting
Locations. Yeah, you got churches, schools, libraries,
schools.
all
They
of
was
that.
getting them in, getting them out.
hotel here in Washington, D.C. watching as well.
There it is. Yeah, I told you they crip walking over there in Howard.
Right now is potentially
Let's let the people be entertained while we wait. Come on.
Specifically as it relates to those 3 wards with the largest densities of Puerto Rican voters right now, that they say in those particular wards that they saw as of 5 o'clock.
Shout out to the Puerto Rican voters. Boricua, shout out.
In terms of turnout as they had 4 years ago, which is to say that they believe that they are exceeding the numbers in the past. They think that's a good indication there. I'll punctuate a thought that Simone Sanders was just sharing.
Megan Thee Stallion playing.
I am hearing again about those college campuses right now, everywhere from Nevada, UNLV, all the way to a series of separate campuses.
Shout out to all the poll workers, the volunteers. Just keep everything moving
about what is really key to the campaign
safely
right now in these
and quickly
late
at the voting
hours, even
location.
after the polls
I'll start so people can hear you. Go ahead, bro.
Just a quick shout out to all the volunteers, the poll workers that made everything safe. You know, a lot of people, you will see the elderly community out there, you know, helping out, doing their thing. So shout out to all of y'all that stayed 13, 14 hours, standing up, eating breakfast there, eating lunch, doing your thing. Thank you for help everybody in their civic duty to vote. Thank you. Shout out.
For those watching at home, the South, of course, reliably read for Donald Trump, and at this early hour, he is far out in front, but we await those key battleground states. And I think
all right, 168-30.
We see what it looks like right now. Everybody take a snapshot of it, but I tell you, later on into the midnight hour, it's going to change.
Trump is on top by about 266,000 votes. I want you to remember that number. Write it down if you can. I know it's kind of a big number, 266,000. The reason why I want to highlight that difference, because when we punch up Ohio
make
here,
it too big to read.
Spread 287.
Who said that? Who said that?
That was Trump.
Make it too big to read. I like that.
The remaining votes.
That should be on a T-shirt.
Like Franklin, which is Columbus,
Let's go.
Cuyahoga, Cleveland. Look at the numbers here in Cuyahoga. Look how many votes are still out. 377,000. She's on top by 71%. Let's see how she did compared to Biden 4 years ago. 66%.
Colorado.
So she's overperforming in Cuyahoga.
No, no, there's Ohio.
That's out. Let's go down to Franklin County. It holds the capital of Ohio, Columbus. 68%. Overperforming there with about 60% of the vote that's in. And then again, 266,000 remaining. So just those 2 counties, we're talking about more than 500,000 votes. And that's way bigger than the spread for the entire state.
Hey, Tom.
Yeah, go for it.
I mean, when you talk about some of her overperforming in those areas, the reason we expect Ohio likely goes red, but let's talk about the Senate race there. Yeah, because we have the control of Senate hanging in the balance right now, and it hangs on this Senate race.
Yeah.
Bernie Moreno, the car dealer, versus Sherrod Brown, the incumbent. What are you seeing?
The car dealer, what's up?
Connect the difference here, only 74,000. So what does that mean? That means the
I want to see if old girl
Trump.
Did she end up winning?
Again,
Oh, I know this candidate you was talking about. What? I
Yeah,
forgot what
she
state
was
that
a representative of New Hampshire.
New Hampshire, yes.
Yeah, the Asian lady that was going against the multimillionaire. She was the the working lady, and then she against the millionaire.
That's out in Cleveland, in Columbus.
Hey, if you guys get a chance, check out the little short we made. It's on all platforms or whatever. About old lady. I was like, man, I had to put this out there. I was like, man, she dug in on it. Check it out, man. It's crazy.
I'm gonna get back over to you guys because there's a projection.
Yeah, Tom, we got a projection in this state of Rhode Island. NBC News projects that Kamala
Yeah, you can
Harris
have
will
Rhode
win
Island.
in Rhode Island.
See, there you go. Throwing these 3s and 4s. Let's go.
You can have it. You can have it.
Breakdown is 31,000 vote difference.
Go ahead.
But we see he's getting electoral votes, and
there. Let's pull up the map. The road to 270.
each vote counts.
4 electoral votes.
That looks bad.
I wonder why Texas is so quick.
Remember, 270.
But all these other states take forever.
We'll take a break here. It's 9:30 in the East. The vote counting.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Georgia,
to make more projections.
North Carolina.
Well, these the ones that, if it's possible for her to flip, it's going to be problems. It could be problems. But most of them, we see that most of them are staying just like they should,
Right now, what's left to be reported out in Randolph County is going to be that same day vote. We're seeing this in a fair number of these counties too. It's a bit similar, I think, to what we're looking at in to what we're seeing so far in North Carolina. Here's another one, very small, but again, this is a large black population, 19.
Why does it matter?
2020. Tonight it's sitting at about 16 and a
Why they
half.
keep saying that?
Just about all the
They
votes
keep
of
saying
the
it, Kane, because of the
Why
demographics.
do they keep saying
sir.
that?
Why do you think, sir?
Why does it matter if it's a large black population?
Because they perceive that it's a large black population. They're going to
black
vote.
people going to vote for Kamala.
Kamala Harris, yes.
Right?
Yes.
Why?
Because they're black.
Identity politics? What is it?
Yes, yes.
This is the
Man,
biggest.
come on, man. We
That's
smarter
gonna-
than that.
72,
We smarter than that.
Well,
You better give us credit.
Well, you can say
MSNBC don't give us credit.
Well, that's what's happening, though. It doesn't, you know.
CNN didn't give us credit either when we was watching that one.
The Democrats don't want any slippage there, so
Like, we're
pay
ignorant.
close attention
We
to that
only
one too, Rachel.
look at
As
skin.
more from Georgia.
All right.
Is that what it
Steve,
is?
we've got a few updates since
I mean,
we have
you're the one who's
That's
saying
dumb.
that. Well, you
No, I'm
saying
just
that,
saying.
but look, if it's
He said it.
he said it, but if it's happening, that he can say that, right? If that's what they're seeing, okay, Atlanta, it's a large population of African Americans or black people, whatever you want to say.
is Donald Trump.
Where are they
NBC News
voting?
can also project
Most of
in
those votes are
Louisiana,
going to go to
winner of the
Kamala
presidential
Harris.
contest
Why?
Is Donald Trump.
That's what
Couple
they're.
other interesting
That's who they're
updates
voting
you.
for.
Delaware.
Okay.
This is
You can say, is that identity politics? You can say whatever you want.
It is.
Wait, that's not. No,
It
that's
is.
Delaware.
the
Okay.
Delaware House seat, an at-large
I was
House
thinking of
seat.
old girl.
This is an open
That
seat
was New
because
Hampshire.
The incumbent
Yeah.
was Lisa Blunt Rochester, who just won a
Black people
U.S.
have
Senate
to
seat in
think
Delaware
twice about
tonight. When
voting
she
Kamala
left that seat and
and
opened it
not
up,
black.
the Democrat running for it is Sarah McBride.
Because
The
the black
Republican
people
running
have to
for it is
think.
John Wayne. NBC News can project that
Hey.
So that's what I'm saying. Like if we don't vote for her, we ain't black.
Nobody said that. Nobody. That wasn't even that wasn't a
He ain't
statement.
have to say it. He
Say
said it's a this county here has a large black population.
Yes.
national news,
And
except
so
Okay.
for a
they
very
can
important
project
piece
that
will become immediately clear to you in one moment.
That
that
Harris-
whole county. Yes,
No.
that whole.
No,
They can project. They can say that. I mean, they can say that. It would.
I know they can
If
say it.
if
man.
it's
There's nothing
proof
stopping
in the
them from saying it.
pudding, then
attorney's race. Again, we
it's proof in the
We
pudding.
ignorant.
following
We're
individual
ignorant.
district attorneys.
You can say
races
it's
in the national
ignorant.
news.
No, I'm saying we
This
are
is the Fani
black
Willis
people.
race. Fani Willis is
Well,
the
you
district
We're
making that
ignorant.
statement.
County
I'm not
who
making that
brought the
statement.
RICO
Well, that's what he's
People can vote
insinuating.
how they feel. If they're voting that way because of how they feel, then so be it.
We're talking about
in Fulton County,
because
Georgia,
of her skin
tonight.
tone
I have one other piece of news to
is
bring
what
you.
we're talking
Well,
about.
but they
Is-
made
If
this
you're
statement.
saying that black
report
people
that the
vote because of
FBI
skin tone,
is
I'm not
tracking
saying
and
that.
investigating.
okay, what are you
bomb
saying?
I'm not
threats
saying that. I'm not saying that about
attributable to
the
Russia
the
in
commentator
Georgia
said they
and
has a
Wisconsin
large
and Michigan
black
and
population.
Arizona.
It should
We do
go
also have reports of new
to
bomb
Kamala
threats
Harris.
at polling
Why?
sites in Pennsylvania. Governor Josh Shapiro.
Now,
says
that would have been a
there
question
have
for
been
him,
multiple bomb
but
threats in Philadelphia, multiple
all those
voting
black people are not going
locations
to vote for her,
targeted. All of
but
these bomb
Mhm.
threats
she's
are
going to get the majority
non-targeted.
of the
These are
vote.
hoax bomb
Yeah,
threats.
yeah.
There
What's
are
is
no
not? I don't
bombs,
think
but
it's
bomb
anything
threats are
wrong with
being
that.
phoned in,
Yeah.
It's
being
not.
phoned in or otherwise communicated in multiple states.
And
Voting
you
hours
think
were
you're saying
extended
they're playing
to
follow the
9
lead, and Biden
in
said that to
Clearfield
Charlamagne.
County in
Yeah,
Pennsylvania,
yep, you're right,
which is
100%.
in the central part of the state because
That
of
was
bomb threat in the
disrespectful back
building
then.
where
Yeah.
police were
You know,
being
That
people
was
laughed
because they
about
just
it.
want you to be
According to
a
NBC
Democrat
News
because you're
reporting,
black, right? Now
it's
we
not
want you to
necessarily,
vote
they are
Democrat because
apparent to
you're
the FBI
you have a
that
black
these new bomb
candidate.
threats that we're just disclosing now, these
What?
Pennsylvania ones are
Well,
attributable
politics
to
is a
Russia.
Come
is
on,
a
man.
game. Look,
There's no
attributed
game.
bomb
We're
threats in Georgia,
ignorant. We
Wisconsin,
have to be
Michigan,
ignorant in a
and
sense
Arizona. The FBI
How-
to
is
fall for that.
reportedly investigating
no,
more
you're gonna
threats
vote for
than
whoever.
necessarily
If they can
others.
Yes.
convince you, if they can
Yes.
convince you, if anybody can convince you to sway whatever side it is,
There
Mhm.
aren't
and you
bombs.
don't
There is
want to look
no
into the issues that
no
mean something to
real
you, then
threat that
maybe
happens
you're
here is they're
ignorant.
calling in the
Maybe you're
bomb
not
threat, whether it's
well
Yeah.
read into the situation,
typically to
into
try to achieve
politics.
chaos, to try
So
to
But
are
you now,
and for them to say
and in some cases
these
to
little
disrupt
slick
voting
little
patterns.
things outside of their
Our
mouth,
kids watching for the
we
first
falling
time
for it.
election results,
Well,
they should know
collectively.
that we
I'm not saying me and
I
you.
see.
I'm
Yeah.
not saying me and you. I'm just saying collectively, you know, the
Joining
black
us now from a
population is
polling
falling for
location
identity
in
politics.
Reno, Nevada, where we're
Because we
expecting
know
polls
that.
to close at the top of this next hour.
Oh, we want to be the first
Steve
this.
Patterson. Steve, what are you seeing there in Reno?
Complete
two things that are all the rage right now,
What is
Rachel,
this?
in Nevada. One is ridiculously
I got a
long lines,
little.
and two is deciphering the
Hold on one
nonpartisan
second.
vote. We can do the
Okay.
reporter thing where we take
Oh.
it to one of those lines. Take a look here. This is the Washoe County complex.
Okay,
It's
now I
basically
went
Oh, they are still voting,
where
bro.
everything is the clerk's
Yeah,
office,
we know.
Oh
They
yeah,
just
they
said that.
still. Yeah.
county recorder, which, by the way,
Where
if
they
you
at?
made it to this point, it means you are now.
Are they in
Reno.
Georgia? Oh,
Reno,
Nevada.
Reno.
Oh yeah,
Reno.
yeah. I mean
Reno.
Nevada. Come
Yeah.
on.
That time limit. Yeah, we bringing the kids in. Let's come see mama vote. Come see daddy vote. Yes. Wave, kid. We see you. You're not old enough to vote though. Okay.
But part of that it is such a big part of the vote now that these pundits aren't necessarily sure how these nonpartisans are going to vote, and they are that way because primarily of a
Congregation, what are your thoughts? We still here. We are still here.
It's I think it's a
snakes past the chamber in there. It goes
MSNBC,
ridiculously
NBC,
long.
because you see everything else is clear.
Eventually
It's
you
just
pop out
him.
here and you see the beginning
See, this is
as
all
they
clear.
move, as they move.
Yeah,
That's all.
yeah, it's something.
But a
I guess it
rule
may
in
not have a good
2020
signal
that said
there.
that anybody essentially that signs up for a driver's license has to be registered as a nonpartisan. You have to essentially assign yourself to a Republican Party or a Democratic Party in this state. A lot of people chose not to do that. That's why there's such a large population of nonpartisan voters. But I've spent about 6 months here, and I've equally seen many people that are proudly nonpartisans that don't want to essentially be a part of one of the parties, want to vote the issues, want to vote.
But they want to vote. Yes, so that's fine. Yes, nothing wrong with that.
About deciphering a place like this, a bellwether within a bellwether, where so many people are trying to read the tea leaves, so difficult to do. But certainly nonpartisans, as returns are coming back, about a third of the vote between Republicans, Democrats, and now this third group, which we don't know which way it's going to go. I've spoken to both campaigns. Everybody seems to think they have a Trojan horse in this population. Republicans think that they are leaning more right. Democrats seem to think that this is a younger, more diverse population, and that will turn into a Democratic vote. We'll see.
Let's see.
Lines are particularly long, not just here, but also southern Nevada counties. 3 hours we're hearing for some lines, which could push this into the night. Rachel.
3 hours, okay.
Marina, Steve, thank you very much. Fascinating. I love seeing people come into the polling place behind you while you're talking with kids in tow, especially if they know it's going to be a long night. Can be hard to arrange the childcare. Why not make it into a field trip for the kids to see how voting works? Steve, we'll be back with you later on as we head toward poll closing in Nevada. Much appreciated. We do have a call to make. NBC News can now project that the presidential race in New York has a winner.
Oh, we should know that. We know that. Come on. See, look.
She got 28.
Yeah, well,
there it is.
We already know what New York.
It won't
always.
Be. Yeah.
You know.
What is it looking like now? 62. She got that one.
Looking at the road to 270 map, Donald Trump with 168 electoral votes. Kamala Harris at 62 electoral votes. Steve Kornacki, you are looking at Pennsylvania.
Yeah, and again, the story in Pennsylvania, as we say, most of the state is going to be Democrats putting up giant numbers in these counties, and then Trump, that's with the mail vote, and then Trump.
I don't think it's different. Other than
this one we flagged
them saying that we need
check in on
identity.
Lackawanna County or Scranton is. This is one of the most complete counties.
CNN and MSNBC said the same exact thing.
Too early. Okay.
About 80% of the vote is in right here, and this is following exactly that pattern. The mail vote was reported out quickly here. Harris had a
that's a county though.
Yeah,
that's not the whole state.
Yeah, that's true.
Hey, don't try to fool nobody. That's county. That's what he's trying to do.
Stop with your fake news. Come on now. Hey, people,
that's what they trying to do.
You
gotta watch him. You gotta watch him, man. I'm telling you.
Absolutely flattened here.
You gotta watch
him. Lost this county by 3 points and change. In 2020, Joe Biden, Scranton native, got it up to almost 10. And the question is, this is winning for Democrats statewide. This or anything less than that gets very shaky for Democrats statewide. So where tonight is this going to land? Right now, if you froze
why don't you look at the whole state? Why is he looking at
with this number out of Lackawanna?
I don't get that.
We need to see though with that remaining 20%.
Lackawanna
if it
County.
continues to
Oh,
come
we got some names coming out here with all these.
You see, they number 40,000 people in each one of them.
Big substantial county in Pennsylvania, and that's what we're looking at there. And
a lot of land sand out there.
Flag. We don't have much. Erie County, we'll keep an eye on it because there's only 2 counties in Pennsylvania that actually swung between 16 and 20. 2 counties that went for Trump in 16 and then flipped to Biden in 2020.
Wow.
Erie County is one of them. We basically have no vote from there, but that's a
Wow.
bellwether county
Okay.
we want to be following as it comes in. And the other one is on the eastern side of the state here. This is Northampton County. Now we got
that
about
looks
a quarter
blue.
of the vote in here. A lot of this you could just see here. This is what it lets the mail-in vote. You see, Joe Biden won this thing narrowly in 2020. This was a flip. And again, this is the question now: as the remaining votes start to get rallied up and come in, can Donald Trump get back to that number and beyond it? Can he flip this county? These are potentially bellwethers in Pennsylvania. By the way, Wisconsin. You know, we started to get some results here out of Wisconsin too, and I just want to show you. We said at the start of the night, Bow Wow. The Bow counties, Brown, Outagamie,
Talking about the rapper?
Blue
Bow Wow,
Collar
let's
counties,
go.
Green Bay,
Shout out.
these are areas where Donald Trump lost some ground in 2020.
Congregation, family, what are you eating right now as you watch this? Is it too late?
These are 4 Republican suburbs.
I have some cake. I'm ready. I got the ice cream. Let's go.
Nearly 40%
I'm going to start the celebration early.
of the Wow counties. This is Waukesha County.
Or you celebrating
Put this in some perspective,
Kamala's
this was a bad
projected
showing for Republicans.
win
Trump
of
won Waukesha in 2020
different states?
by
Is that what you're doing?
21 points. But look,
Look,
in 2016, Trump won
I'm
it by
celebrating
27.
America
Go back to Mitt Romney, it
winning.
was more than
Okay.
2-1 Republican.
Yeah,
So-
well,
This was bad.
so
This is
you're
one of the
saying
reasons
either
why
way,
Donald Trump
America
lost in
wins.
Wisconsin 4
Yeah,
years ago.
we're going to win.
Okay.
Because we're going to work. We're going to work
Okay.
together.
Wisconsin tonight.
I get you. That's
is
cool.
The
That's cool.
absentee vote. We may get absentee vote a little bit later from some of these counties. It's done at the municipal level, but there could be opportunities here for Harris to grow the support. This is not like Pennsylvania, where this is just all Republican gains later on. So we want to keep an eye on here because the Democrats want to get Harris over 40% in Waukesha. They want to keep making gains.
All right,
here.
Waukesha.
And so with 40%
What do you think?
in,
Let's see what your home team.
Need to go. We need it. Might need to
I know you
visit Waukesha.
Yeah.
Is that important?
See all this, you know, at 7 o'clock, boy, it was all over the place. Okay. And then in the 8 o'clock hour, Trump easily took a lead there. And then the margins started to close overnight around 3 a.m. The lines moved and they moved and they moved for several days until finally we reached that margin of 12,000 votes.
All right, what they going back?
Yeah, they keep doing that. They keep doing that.
But the difference would be that was the COVID election.
I want to
and
see
that was a lot of mail-in vote, and that was
the
not
representative
same
race
early
for
vote
New Hampshire.
I would argue.
Oh, girl.
Oh, that would
What
be
was her
nice.
name?
I think the
Let me go
important thing
back
to
to
keep
it.
in mind.
I'll show you. I'll tell you her name.
Okay.
And Pennsylvania
You
is a
looking?
really good
Yeah, I'm
example
gonna look
here, where
now.
you're
I'm
gonna
gonna tell you
get
her
a
name.
heavy
Okay.
blue, some would argue mirage in the beginning, and we'll see whether or not that mirage is real throughout the night, and maybe even into tomorrow.
Bill,
yes.
Broadly speaking,
Okay.
there'll be some exceptions
Lily
to this.
Tang Williams.
Lily Tang. Hey, we
Lily
need to
Tang.
see.
I want to see
Let's
if Lily
go.
Tang got it.
Everywhere.
We gotta look out for Lily Tang in New Hampshire.
Shout out. And y'all check out the short.
Oh man, check out the short on it's on all platforms. So it's on TikTok, it's on Instagram, all those, man. Facebook, and definitely on YouTube. Check it out, man.
Can't put that out there for everybody.
Yeah, man. I just thought it was a good little debate they were having, and she just kind of dug in on the other candidate. So, and they're supposed to be, you know, shooting for a representative slot for New Hampshire, one of those districts up there. So, I was like, man, what is this? Because she dug in. She dug in.
The problem for him is that that's 94 out of 159. But I can move along the northern border of Georgia. And, you know,
Right now, it look like he eating her up.
yeah,
right
it's
now.
dominating. 81.
Oh, those are different counties, right?
Yeah, it's the counties. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, those are different counties.
Next here, look at that. I mean, that's 86. Now, 2020, in the same counties, I'll go in reverse. All right, 84, still impressive, right?
Oh, you're looking back
81,
2020.
What is it now?
82 right now. So this is Fannin County. There's about 14,000 votes in that county alone. 14,000. Okay. Now, if you take that and extrapolate over 159 counties, it can certainly add up. So to answer your question, Britt, 4 years ago, Fannin County was 82, and this year he's at 80. still 25% of the votes still out. So he's got a chance to do a point or two better. But right now, he's not meeting the number that he hit in that rural county 4 years ago.
We're going to make a quick call, and we'll come back to the board and the panel. The Fox News decision desk can now project that Vice President Harris will win the state of New Hampshire.
Well, we
President
knew
Trump
that.
came closer than many expected there.
Kane said, go on and give it 4 more votes.
Yeah, you give them
doing 4 and 3s. Yeah.
Yeah. You take those little small ones. I'll let you get that one.
You got me 3 books, partner. We got a spades tournament going on. Who know about that? Let's go. Come on.
To the former senator for New Hampshire, popular in the state.
Hit the thumbs up, y'all. Hit the thumbs up, man.
We here for
You
you.
just joining us, man. You just joining us or whatever. We just kind of chilling out, man. Just sitting back, sipping and seeing what's happening. Also Brooks beat Hogan. Oh,
let's go, Kane. That's around your the DMV.
Man, that's crazy.
Race for the former
I can't believe that.
Okay. So that sticks.
I can't believe that. He used to be
the
the actual governor.
And
He went for the
Republicans.
He used to be the governor of Maryland.
Maybe a couple of other races still waiting on Michigan and obviously
That's wild.
Pennsylvania about where that goes.
And Montana, which isn't closed yet. Obviously, a very hopeful pickup for Republicans with Tim Sheehy.
Back with the panel.
Do you guys have accounts with million people social app?
Suburbs.
Black Truth social app. I got the Truth Social.
No, I don't.
Yeah, for the for Crimson Brothers Network, we on even that new one. There's a new one that we're on. Fan base. We on fan base. Yeah, but definitely on Twitch. We on Truth Social. We on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Rumble, Spotify, Apple Music, all of that for the actual podcast and everything.
For the old
Check us out. Yeah. Oh, YouTube. Yeah, you definitely YouTube. Because we definitely streaming on YouTube.
Yeah.
And TikTok and all them, man. We on all platforms, man. Just look for Crimson Bros Network. And and check us out, man. We got some good content, man. We talk about a lot of different things, man. And we try to talk about things that's not the, we'll hit on some of the current events, but we still talk about social issues that, you may have not thought about, but it's good for conversation. You know what I mean? And not all the time that we have the same opinion.
Right.
And I like that because I can be different from him and we can still discuss it. That doesn't happen very often. A lot of times you see these guys, they all on the same page and they're pointing you in one direction, but I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
And we're growing, but we're not afraid to talk about the topics, whatever topics,
Yeah, definitely, man. And check us out. It's definitely on YouTube, man. Check us out. You have all the long form content, all the shorts and reels, all the
shorts. Check them out.
All the lives we've done. It's all on there too as well, man. Just check us out, man. We came a long way. We actually started. We started. What was it? March of 2023. We started.
Our first episode was that in my apartment.
Yeah.
In my apartment. You can look at the difference. Yes.
You can see it. You'll see how we was doing it or whatever. But that was our first time. That was an old episode or whatever. We came a long way and learned a lot. And and we really appreciate all the people that's joined us. Definitely.
People, finest sources. I don't
appreciate you, brother.
Another platform. Hey, appreciate it.
Yes.
Guaranteed.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
Family.
Yeah, that's all. And that's why we call it congregation.
Sheriffs, yes. Let's go.
You'll hear me say congregation. What do y'all think? What do y'all, you hear it all the time. And I'll say that, and I'm talking to you guys, man. Just, what do y'all think about the topic? What do y'all think about what I just said or what Mitch just said, So.
Even suggesting to what would you like to talk about? What would you like to see us discuss? And you be a part of it too. Also, because we family.
I'll put the banner at the bottom here. Where is it? If I can find it. If you go to this little, you go to that Gmail, man. Just shoot us some questions, and if you want to join our show, we can do a recording or something like that.
Yes.
Just go ahead and hit that up and questions for Crimson Bros. And like I say, do that. And we'll talk to you, and then we'll try to, talk about a topic that maybe you'd be interested in. And then we can kind of go from there. We'll do a little interview session, or we all just discuss a certain topic that's, on your mind or anything. Or we can come with it, or you can just join us at whatever topic we're talking about that particular recording session. We usually record like at least once a week, and then we actually put out content, short content on a daily basis, but we put out long content at least twice a week, and that's usually at midnight Eastern on Sunday and on Wednesday. Sunday and Wednesday at midnight Eastern. That's when we usually publish our long form, but the short form is normally every day. Every day we put something that we're talking about, questions we want to poll the audience, or should I say the congregation. So check us out, man. I mean, I think it's interesting. I think we have a good take on different topics, and I like to be objective. I like to be the devil's advocate, if you don't already know. So
y'all watching when you say that. That gives him a right to say anything. But I can tell you this, we will go from talking about the politics, that's always talking about politics, to sometimes we'll hit on a relationship. There's so many people hitting on relationships. What is this topic right here? And I think you hit on it earlier. The difference between a man and a woman. Nobody likes to say that. That seems like it's a difficult conversation in 2024, but we will have it. Two, when we will talk about religion, we try to talk about a little bit of everything, because we are truly for conversation and the people, the family, congregation. That's what I'm talking about. Not trying to sway your minds, but want you to think, everybody think for themselves, and you go the way that you're led to go. We did say who we voted for, but we didn't say we want you to vote for that individual.
Nope.
No, you
not at
vote.
all. Not at all.
You vote. And we're not going to try to guilt you into anything. No, sir. No, that's not what it's about.
No, not at all. I always say, me, I always say, like, look, do your research. Go to the websites.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, do that research, and then, make an informed judgment and make your selection. I said that a long time ago. So
come on.
Yeah, always do that. Especially, I know everybody's all kind of, this is like a little watch party, and we all together to kind of see who's going to do it. But also, I mean, if it's next year or whatever year, still vote locally. Don't forget about your local elections.
Yes.
Your local mayor and all of that. Don't forget about that. Because a lot of people just like, I only do it every 4 years. No, man.
Thank you.
If they have an election, guarantee you need to be a part of it, because it will directly affect you. You just don't know. Go ahead.
We compliment each other. I was thinking that in my mind about hitting the local elections mean something, especially where you're located at. Not just this president right here. The local election is where you can have some type of change. You don't like the mayor, you don't like the board that's going on in your particular town. Vote them out of there. Vote them out of there. Come on.
Vote the sheriff out. Vote the school superintendent out. If they're not doing what you need to do, that ain't got nothing to do with Trump or Kamala. They ain't got nothing to do with them. You can vote that out locally if they're not doing what you need to be done. You know what I'm saying? So come on.
Oh, yes. Come on. Y'all got us ready to cook right now. Come on. It's getting hot. Let's go.
I'm just saying, man. Y'all got to think about that. Definitely got to think about that. Local elections, they go a long way. I would suggest you make sure that you are, doing that too as well. So, it may be something next year or whatever, They're saying, hey, they're going to build this whatever building or these, train station, wherever, and they need the consensus from the community. Come on now.
Yes, yes.
You need to let them know.
Come on.
It's going to cost it's going to go up in your taxes just so they can fund this. But if you're not voting, then you're agreeing to whatever's happening. If they're going to do it, if they're not going to do it, you're agreeing to it indirectly because you're not even voting. So yeah, be a part of that.
Roger that. I appreciate that. I appreciate that dialogue. That's soliloquy. Roger that. Yeah. You almost made me want to say preach, preacher. I mean, goodness gracious. Let's go. We about to take up offering. Let's go. Come on.
You say offering. What we do? We go to the cash out, right?
Hold on.
Hey, look. We do have a cash out though. If y'all want to do that, we got cash out. We got the We also got, if you want to do a super chat, through YouTube, you definitely got that if you want to do that, and through TikTok. Y'all guys know how to do it on TikTok. If y'all still watching us and checking us out on TikTok. But yeah, man, if y'all want to support us or whatever, that helps us, kind of get the good content out to you and kind of build our little network or whatever, right? We starting with just Uncomfortable Truth podcast, but we can expand.
Let's go.
We just need y'all support if you're willing to do so. I mean, but no pressure, you can still enjoy it. You can still enjoy it, especially if you get something out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would always suggest if you're getting something out of what you're experiencing, you always want to give back because you don't, that can help somebody else too as well. So
I see they pulled up. Thank you for that. I see that they pulled up Robert Kennedy. I did forget that he's
on that. Yeah.
On that. Wow. And a lot of people, I'll say this, and we just talking. A lot of people don't. They was maybe try to support a third candidate, party candidate, but a lot of people say, "Hey, why don't you go ahead and bow out, convince whoever's going to vote for you to come to our side." Because what is it profiting Mr. Kennedy to get 0.4%?
Yeah, he got
those votes would help Kamala out a whole lot.
Yeah, but and it's probably other people that people wrote in, but they don't want to count that mess. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like we ain't gonna show you that. The people that just go in there and play around on the ballot, because
Yeah.
but that he's supposed to be a part of. If Donald Trump, takes it all away, he's going to be part of the cabinet.
Oh, he said that?
Yeah.
Okay.
He wants him a part of it. Yeah.
Ain't that something? Is that
Robert Kennedy? Yeah,
reaching
Robert
across party lines? Or?
Yeah. He said he supports him, even though he's on the ballot and he doesn't win. He's he said I support Trump.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah. Guaranteed, man. So we can turn it up a little bit.
Okay. Until 2016, when Donald Trump won the state by just less than a point. Let's look at the vote difference now for Michigan. Very similar, maybe not as extended, okay? Some would argue more Democratic in Michigan, all right? But that was the difference in 2016 for Trump, 0.2 percentage points, and you see where Obama was. That was not contested. Look at the vote difference now.
I'll be right back, bro.
Okay, sound good.
Very similar. Blue, but not nearly as extreme. In fact, if you take out the Obama years in 08 and 2012, you find Wisconsin is, I find, guys, this to be the swingiest state you find out there. Right?
Wow.
Back in 2000, when we're looking at Florida, look what happened in Wisconsin. 4 years later, John Kerry, look what happened. You see Donald Trump in 2016. It's just by a nose he was able to win.
It's a swing state. Okay. Swingiest.
2020 again. It was super tight.
I might say that's old pineapple state then. Okay.
4 out of 6 over the past 20 years have been decided by less than a point.
Wow.
And it might well be the case again tonight in the land of cheeseheads. Let's go ahead and clear this right now. Okay.
Come on.
Can we go to Wisconsin?
Yeah, we sure can.
Because
shout out to all the cheeseheads. You know who you are.
I mentioned Dane a moment ago, and I also mentioned Milwaukee. Sean Duffy, one of our colleagues, former congressman for the state of Wisconsin, when he ran for Congress, all this area.
If you're just joining us,
okay, And
Let
when
us
he
know
went to
where you're
Washington,
from.
it all
Did you
flipped.
vote
It all became
today?
red, has stayed that
What
way.
state
It's
did
been
you
a
vote
source
in?
of political strength and power
And
for
if you
Donald
want to
Trump.
put who you
We'll see
voted
whether or
for,
not that remains
do
the
it.
case right now. All right.
No
So, you know,
judgment
we're just about the 30%
zone
mark
right here.
in
There's no
Wisconsin.
judgment
Kamala
zone.
Harris has a
You
slight
know,
lead there
I'm
by
just
about
glad that
3
you voted.
points.
That's
This
all.
is where it
That's
ended, as
all.
I showed you out there on the map, right? 20,682 raw votes 4 years ago. So if I were to come to 2024, what am I looking at? I'm looking at Dane.
How about Sauk and Kenosha?
Yeah, Sauk is right here. Sauk is pretty interesting here because
Oh, Indiana
you
Senate.
start
Okay.
to see a little more population growth, and Trump has a lead here. And again,
McCrae's
this is
down
Kennedy.
right
He's
now.
popping up in Michigan. He's going to pop up in Wisconsin all night long. Trump has a lead here. Let's just go ahead and see. We got half of the vote in here in Wisconsin. This is where it finished. I find that interesting.
What about
Don't
Kenosha?
you? Let's find Kenosha down.
So remember, this is the swingiest state. I mean, I spent some time there on 2 recall elections. With
I
governors.
do believe,
I mean, that's
congregation
extraordinary.
family,
And we don't think
that
about it that way.
America is
It's
gonna
true.
win
Anyway, this is
tonight.
Kenosha, Brett. You asked for
Well,
it.
of course,
You got it.
America's
You got
gonna
80,000
win,
Romans first
but who's
time
gonna-
ever votes. And the
58%.
effect in PA. Okay.
Okay. So he's overperforming now in Kenosha as well.
I wonder which way did those 80,000 votes sway. Which
Yeah.
side? Yeah, that would be very interesting.
Yeah. So
And
the
they should have
wild
mentioned
counties
that.
here, they have been solid Republican forever, you know, but not during the Trump years. They got softer and softer, and they are.
We got now.
Wasaki
I know
here,
this
just
is
west of Milwaukee, is
Fox. We
one of
did
them. Sorry,
MSNBC.
Waukesha, excuse me.
Did we? I thought we did
CNN.
CNN. Did we do? I thought
Washington.
CNN was first.
Then you get into
Yeah,
over in the
CNN was
lake is
first.
Ozaki here. So
Yes.
let's see what we're doing right now. Trump at 53.5. All right, comparison point
You
2020.
got that's
Okay,
Fox
so a
5,
little bit
CNN.
under right now.
ABC?
That's suburban
Let's
county
go.
north.
Let's go. Let's rock with them.
They over there at the club over there.
Hey,
Because as you mentioned,
hey, we're not gonna do that.
those absentee ballots.
Oh, we got
tend to
leather
come
They
jackets
voted for
on. Is it
Trump.
cool
that
up there?
happens in Milwaukee. They get a lot of those absentee
Not really.
ballots.
Oh,
Where
okay.
I am
She
here
just,
tonight
you know,
in
Being
Madison, which
stylish.
is
Yeah,
a
low
university
iron.
town,
She
it
got low
might be the
iron.
one place that Harris might be able to pick up a little bit of good news because the University of Wisconsin is hearing those young voters, those first-time voters,
Maybe
tell
in
me today that
Wisconsin.
they're
That's just
really
a
energized. I spent the morning
capital.
at University of Wisconsin in the classroom of Professor Allison Prash. She teaches a presidential rhetoric class, and the students there told me they became more energized over the last couple of weeks because they just didn't like what they were hearing from the Trump campaign. Also, I should tell you that this particular city has just seen tremendous
have to
growth
look
over
it
the
up.
last few years.
Some
And a
propaganda
lot of
going
those
on.
who moved in here have been highly
No, that's just
educated,
a Senate joint.
blue-leaning voters. So this is
I'm talking
becoming a
about
much
what she's talking
deeper
about.
blue
Oh,
part of the
okay.
state too. So that might cut into some of those margins that that Trump might have in those red counties. So this might be the place where Harris might find a little bit of good news with those youth voters, like around the country. They've been standing in lines today, waiting to vote. So we'll see what it actually produces as the night goes on. But waiting for those absentee ballots to be
Let's
processed.
see. They say the young people sit in line for a little bit, then they leave.
The night, but
What
they
do you
tell
do
us
about
that,
the?
it's
Because I
moving
know
smoothly. They had
in
a small
congregation, y'all can
snuffle
let us
earlier,
know.
but it was just
What
a
do you do
small
about
technical
those?
glitch. They think that's going to move along. So
All those
Milwaukee and of course
votes
Madison will
that
probably
were,
deliver well
you
for
know,
her. And the big question
set
is
aflame
how big,
in those
because as you said,
mailboxes.
20,000
Nothing
votes
can be
is
done about them,
and
Kane.
last
That's the
time
only thing I can
can
think of,
do
man.
better than that.
And
How they
those
gonna-
were, you know, mail-in ballots.
Solid here.
What do we do about those?
Deborah Robertson.
Do we not count them? Do we have them people redo it? They
We don't know.
didn't.
They don't know who it is. I mean,
Well, they don't know. They may not know who it is, but I'm saying, do you give it delay the time? You know,
no.
they check because they can check locally on their local website to see if it's been counted.
57% is.
Did you know that?
At 50%.
No, I didn't. That sounds good investigative work, but
you got to do it for
I don't
yourself,
think-
though. You can do it for yourself.
But look, I don't think
That blew in the middle.
millions and millions of
above 24%.
ballot boxes were
I think Kamala
destroyed.
Harris can
If
have a lot
those
of
few that
upside.
was destroyed, which is horrible and sad,
2016 and
have to decide the
2020
election,
was about
that's a big
80,000
problem right
votes,
there, all in itself.
which was a difference. It was 1%
know?
point.
I mean,
running 2%.
you can say this a problem. You can say this a problem, but
Yeah.
I mean, what does it matter? I mean, if it comes down to, you know, thousands of votes or whatever, they may need to look into it.
Oh yeah, then they would have to.
You know, you have to. Guaranteed. Yeah. The news claimed that they would contact the people that are affected, and that only 3 were damaged. Oh. Yeah, you're probably talking about the what you call the absentee ballots.
Okay.
So I heard absentee ballots, you know, for those you know, in the mailboxes or whatever, and then you had some guy that was. I seen this is so crazy. It was a guy that was walking his dog. He seen some ballots that were stuffed in the storm drain. They wasn't damaged. They were just thrown in the storm drain. I was like,
Makes
what?
no sense.
I was like, what? What is this?
Convict the person who did it. I mean, come on. Look.
So he stuck his hand down there and grabbed a few or whatever and got somebody to take the top off, and then they kind of helped them folks out. I was like, what? But yeah, I can see that happening. And those are like, I would say radicals on either side, you know,
Right?
Because you don't know what's inside those envelopes.
Right. And you said a good thing. Radicals on either side. Both.
Yeah.
I think both parties have people that act in a way that they shouldn't. That's not normal.
Yes.
Come on.
I agree. So, yeah, definitely, man.
Well, welcome back to.
I don't know if I like this one.
They need a new setup. I mean, come on. You saw that? That was not even appealing. We looked at that. It was not appealing to the eye, people.
Nothing. Look how it's cut off at the bottom and everything. Man, what is this? Who?
That looked like I did that. I mean, come on. I mean, I'm just getting my creative juices together.
Oh my goodness.
Democrat stronghold. We're going to get right out to our Maryland bureau.
Oh, is that not referring to the ballot box? Okay.
Also, Brooks' campaign right now, Brad. I know you were waiting to hear the crowd erupt.
I'm political junkie, fam. Hey, you got to put that on a t-shirt. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I'm a political junkie.
It's been out for quite a while, but in this room, the announcement has not been made. However,
oh, this is the Maryland joint right here. This is also Brooks and Hogan for U.S. Senate.
I thought they.
You know what's so interesting about also Brooks right here?
What's that?
I've heard that name so many times because she used to be like Attorney General.
Ooh, okay.
In D.C. and all of that, right? She's been around for a little bit, and now she went up to try to be in Senate. So she's been in the politics and doing all of that.
Moving her.
Hogan used to be the mayor, not mayor. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say governor.
Governor.
Yeah,
governor of Maryland, and now he didn't win last term.
Oh,
it was actually a black guy that beat him. I can't remember his name, but he got beat out, and then he went to Senate, and now it looks like he got beat out again. I don't know who Scott was on that list or whatever, but yeah.
All right, Brad, thank you.
Yeah, I don't know about this one here. They're doing something different over here.
Yeah.
What else you got over here? We need to get the numbers. They're over there looking at parties, having a party over there.
You gotta leave them alone. Shout out.
Well, what do you think? No, PBS ain't got nothing.
What's that? What was all the panel of people that was to our left?
Which one? Right here?
Yeah.
This NBC? Yeah, it's regular NBC. Okay.
Yeah. That's some of the old guard right there. Not her, the guy to the right.
Look, if the way
Do we got volume on that?
Trump's performing tonight versus Harris, this really is an indictment of the Democratic Party for the last
I don't
3
like
years.
him.
Because you want to talk about Nevada, you talk
don't
about
like
voter
him.
registration advantage.
Yeah, he
Republicans,
been around
basically
for a long
the first
time.
3 years of this presidential
I don't even
cycle,
know his name.
just destroyed the Democrats on voter registration. All across the country in the battleground states, Republican registration advantage. The last 3 months, Democrats have done well. 3 years versus 3 months. So far, the 3 years is paying some dividends for Trump.
All right, there's the countdown. We are
10 o'clock
waiting for another
Eastern
batch
time.
of
There it is.
closings,
Okay.
And this will bring us to battleground Nevada, which is our last battleground state we've not heard from. Or the last to close.
Dude, it's not even looking close, but I don't
NBC
know.
News can make a projection
No, it's
on
not.
the state of Utah. NBC projects that Donald Trump will
Trump
win
got
in
Utah.
and take those 7
Okay.
electoral votes. And
We
we go
got
further into
Montana.
Montana
Okay.
for electoral votes.
Got the
Donald
4 over
Trump
there.
is projected
Okay.
Shout out Montana.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the map, the road to 270.
Bruh.
Donald Trump now.
Oh, she don't know. Hey, wait.
Bruh.
What's the count you supposed to get?
Well, let's
270?
up on the map here. It is
Okay.
the United States too early to call, and if you remember,
I wasn't the best at math, but
Make it too big to rig.
But see, I don't want to overspeak. I don't want to.
I know.
You know.
God,
no.
no.
Pennsylvania, too close to call. Got to say that was a Saturday call as
Wow.
well in
My
2020.
goodness.
Michigan, too close to call there. Let's see how much vote we've gotten though at this hour. Just 16%. So there's a lot of votes to be counted
I don't know
there.
what they doing in
We'll
Michigan.
move over to the state just nearby,
16%. Y'all over there
Wisconsin, the
playing
other
around.
industrial Midwest battleground. 35%
Hey, Kane.
in. They are making some progress.
While they talking about this, what's the
Georgia,
area?
too close to call. We are getting to
They
a
have
much
bad
higher
water.
number
It's in the
with
United
counties.
States.
The counties,
Flint,
it's just
Michigan.
Oh,
Who did
Michigan.
Michigan
there,
vote
North
for?
Carolina
Because
as well, starting to count
people
more
in
votes, too
Michigan,
close to
Flint,
call.
Michigan, I don't
And
know if your
finally,
water's
out
still
west,
bad, but
battleground
whoever
state,
wins,
that's
they need to
Arizona.
push
Too close to
for
call. That's
them
another
to
one that
clean the
may take
water
several
up.
days before
I don't care
we
how
get
much
results.
money
You
it
know the
costs.
history
to
behind.
Tom,
I don't
and
know the
I
history
really am
behind
happy we can
why
talk
is
about
it
it
dirty.
enough.
You know what I mean?
I don't know.
Do they have like
Pennsylvania,
like
just
plants
as
or
it did
something
in
like that?
2020.
Like,
Yeah, and earlier I was talking about Eastern PA.
is that what it
guys, not
is,
to
or
talk
you
about
don't know?
Western PA. Go
Oh,
Steelers
no.
fans. Let's start in Pittsburgh and Allegheny County here. 66% of the vote, and let's compare it to 2020. Slightly overperforming. That's good news for Harris.
we seen
That's
this
what she
earlier
needs
because
to
I
do
think
there
that's what
if she wants to win the state of
this is the
Pennsylvania.
dude that was saying
And
black
look at this,
vote.
Butler County. You'll remember that's where that first assassination attempt took place, just miles from Pittsburgh. Look what a different place this is. Trump is on top. 71% of the vote is in. He got 65 in 2020, 65%. He's now at 64. He's essentially performing where he needs to be. I also want to see how the vote is in these Western communities, Western PA communities, because fracking was a big issue
Have a
here.
red
Vice
candle lit
President Harris had to change her
this
position on
list.
that. Washington County, right here on the border, Trump with 60%
Hey,
of
right.
the vote. Let's see how we did compared to
Roger
2020.
that.
It's about the same. Westmoreland
That's
right
what's
next to
up,
here.
Eliza.
It butts up against Allegheny County. 47% of the vote is in. He's at 65. So he's kind of where his marks were in 2020. Remember, he has to do a little bit better. Erie's the one that we're going to be watching. This is the big swing county. We only have 1% in. The reason why we're watching this is because Erie almost always picks the winner of the election here. But we only have 1% in Erie.
To the
County.
river.
We'll be watching that. Let's move east now because I know we have a lot of people from the Philadelphia area on the anchor desk tonight.
That's
See how
their
it's happening
fault,
over
huh?
there.
Without
Let's start in
treat.
Chester County. Okay, so I'm going to give a quick whip around here. 2020, remember. So Harris has to drive up the vote in the suburbs just like Biden did and try to turn out that vote in Philadelphia County. So Chester's one of those ring counties. Let's move over to Delaware County here. She's overperforming there. Only a quarter of the votes in. Let's get to Philadelphia County here. 79%. She's going to want to increase those numbers. Again, we're still waiting on a lot of the vote.
How many
It's still very early. Remember, some of these counties
will
are
this
gonna
give her?
report late. Monco,
The way they
28% in.
really focusing on
69%
Pennsylvania. How many
there.
will it give her?
This is where Governor Shapiro
How many
is. You may remember
electoral
that.
votes?
She
Yeah,
closed
yeah.
out
Yeah, how
her final
will it
ad
give her?
sitting right next to Governor Shapiro.
I know they
making
want her
sure
to
people
get
in
it.
Pennsylvania
I don't
saw
think
that.
we have
And
one
then we'll
state that's
talk
going to
81.
give
Bucks
50
for a while, and I
votes
want you guys to talk a
or
little bit about
whatever.
Bucks.
Well, no.
24%
Yeah,
in, but
she
this
needs
is
No,
somebody.
no.
county, the
She
ring county
need,
around
she
Philadelphia.
need to
one of
go
these
ahead and
smaller
get
counties
California
that
to jump her
Republicans
up
thought they
because
could make some
Well,
inroads
California.
here.
California is going to
We're
definitely do that.
some
Yeah,
of those
You know
that'll
northern
that.
help her
suburb
out.
areas,
Yeah,
counties.
significantly.
They say Southern Bucks might be
And
a
maybe
little bit more Trump
Oregon
country. That may have
and
changed this election.
Washington
We're going
State
to have to wait and
probably
see.
get all of that.
But you can see here the numbers
Yeah.
aren't as high as they were with 24% in, 56% of the vote. Trump's going to have to try to run up the vote a little bit here if he wants to do better. I'm going to look at one more area before I send it to you guys. This is the swing care. Northampton almost always picks the winner in Pennsylvania. This is Easton. This is Bethlehem. That's that whole Lehigh Valley area there. Biden was at 49.
Too close to
Harris
call.
right there. Look, guys, it's tough to draw
Too
any kind of
close to
information on
call.
who's on top or who's lower right now. Still too close to call. Trump's on
Come
top,
on.
but only about 17,000 votes. You remember the spread in 2020 was about 80,000 votes. So a lot of votes still out here.
And you know
One
what's so
thing I do
crazy? You
wanna
know, with
mention, there was an
with
exit
these
poll
all
out of
these
Pennsylvania on Latino
news
voters,
media
and they
sites,
broke
it's
for
always
Trump in a
projected winner.
major way.
Projected winner.
That could possibly
Yeah.
be a deciding
They always
effect
do
here in
that. So
Pennsylvania.
we
'cause you're
gotta
talking about
you gotta
600,000
know
Latinos
that.
that are registered to vote.
This is just
Guys,
what they
back to you.
project.
Can we
This
talk
is
a bit
not
about the
what's
amount
official.
of money that is spent in some
That
of these
won't be
races?
until
Pennsylvania,
January
looking at your
6th.
Pennsylvania, Biden, Harris plus the DNC,
We know about January 6th,
$130.7
right?
million
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
in
314
Pennsylvania.
million, I think, overall, when you add both campaigns together. I
$1
mean,
billion
That won't be
you could
until
throw in the
then.
Senate.
But look,
That's
they're
right.
talking
That's
about the
right.
money that was spent for these campaigns.
state. I remember
Who,
making a big
Kamala
deal
or
like 12 years
Both
ago.
of
We had
them
$1 billion
combined.
presidential campaign. one state.
Isn't that so funny? Because it started out as a
That's
tie, and now
crazy.
tonight we're ending up, and it's a tie right now. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we're going to be living and breathing Pennsylvania.
That's interesting, though, what Tom just mentioned about the exit poll. And again, do your caveats, but for Trump to win the Hispanic vote in Pennsylvania would be
Let me hop
pretty
out of my
huge
seat
because
here.
there's a big
What you
Hispanic
hopping out your
population in
seat for?
Pennsylvania,
Come on
especially
now.
at Lehigh Valley.
That's right. You're also there's a big Puerto Rican population in Pennsylvania too, the most of any battleground.
Puerto
So let's talk about where
Rico.
that is. And I
Let's
want to
go.
start with
Puerto
Latino
Rico.
vote here in Savannah. Love you for the grain of salt caveat. We know that these exit polls could shift a little bit, but here's what's so interesting here. It is Kamala Harris, of course, the vice president, who is winning the Latino vote
Look at
over
this.
former President
wow.
Trump, 53% to 45%.
Okay.
This is nationwide. But the number that you want to look at is this 45%. That is because of the overperformance of former President Trump nationally among the Latino vote. And you can
Okay.
see it here. He's 45% this year. 2020, I mean, this is a double-digit plus overperformance from where he was just 4 years ago. And if you get into some of these key battlegrounds, Tom mentioned Pennsylvania. We were just talking about Nevada, looking at my clock where the polls closed like 7 minutes ago. It is a similar story here. If we can pull up Nevada, you can see Latino voters, about 17% of the electorate there, broke for Kamala Harris, 48% to Donald Trump, 46%. But again, it's about the overperformance. He is doing better with this group than he did 4 years ago.
Wow,
Again, by
that
a
says
double-digit
something.
margin over the course
That
of 4
speaks
years. So as I walk back
volumes.
to the desk, I will tell you, this is something, and Chris and I know will back me up on this, as we've been talking to our sources around the Trump campaign. What did we hear again and again? That they thought they were going to overperform with Black and Latino voters. Latino men, an interesting and important story here tonight, guys.
I want to bring in someone from our insiders desk right now.
That's what they
Jim
said about
Messina,
black
who's
men,
campaign
too.
Manager for President Obama's reelection in 2012. Jim, what are you seeing here right now? And what are each of the sides telling themselves based on this data?
Yeah, it's a great question. So Tom just showed the most important two counties that I'm following in Pennsylvania. The early vote in Allegheny County, Pittsburgh, better for Harris than expected. Then you look at Bucks County. When I was Obama's campaign manager, I was obsessed with Bucks County.
Congregation, how long y'all gonna stay up with us? How long are you gonna stay up with us? Okay. Do you just want to wake up and it's done and over with?
Do better. But the thing around the
I'm
exits
gonna
that we
stick
haven't
with us
talked
tonight.
enough
I
about
still have my
is
cake
really
and
the
ice
senior
cream. I'm
vote.
gonna eat it
Kamala Harris is
tonight.
doing better with
Cake and
white
ice cream.
seniors
Oh,
in
Yes,
exit polls
yes,
than
let's
some of
go.
What
the
do y'all
results
think, though? I
than
mean, does
expected,
it
than a
look
little
like
bit better
a
than even Joe Biden.
landslide?
You'd rather have those much more high propensity voters and a lot of a bigger overall
I'm
number
gonna have
with
to take my
seniors.
wolfhound
Those are
out in a
three
minute.
things that I'm seeing very
Okay.
early.
Come here,
that
Yuki.
make her campaign pretty happy. But in general, Trump is running up numbers in rural better than he did in 2020, which has to concern the Harris campaign.
And we talked a lot about young men who are breaking for Trump. We saw the MAGA hats and some of the long lines at the universities.
Yep.
Is that unexpected to the level of the lines you're seeing?
I think both sides have a little bit of excitement here. I've talked to Harris
Who did you
officials
vote for?
last hour who said, look at the lines in Penn State, look at the lines in Arizona, look at the lines in the Philly college campuses.
Who did you vote for, Wolfhound?
Their ground operation. They have the best
Yeah.
ground
Tell
operation
everybody
person
who
in
is
American
that?
politics in general. The
Who is
chair
that?
who has built $1 billion
Come
field
on, this
campaign
Yuki.
for this
This is
moment.
my baby right
They're
here.
really going for it on the college campuses, and they kind of need it right now.
Jim
Is that a
Messina, good to see you.
wolfhound?
Thank you.
All right, we've
Do
got
you
a
think
winner to
California will
announce.
continue to
Kamala
vote
Harris
blue?
takes Colorado as expected.
No,
Yes,
bitch,
yes.
homeless.
That's like New York.
Yes.
That's like New York. Yes.
That's what New York does. That's what Illinois.
Presidential cycles, and here's how it shakes
Illinois
out.
does. All of them, man.
Counted
They
in
just
Colorado, they vote by
they
mail.
want
And
handouts.
those ballots get
Yes.
counted
They okay
quite
with
quickly,
handouts.
so we
That's
see
why they
that
always want
Kamala
to
Harris will
continue to do
take
so.
Colorado, so we can fill
Yeah.
out the map.
They're
just
gonna
a little
continue
bit
to do it,
more
Wonder Woman.
as we
Yeah.
lay out the road to 270.
She ain't broke 100 yet.
No,
We have
she only
yet
got 10 more, but California's
one
gonna
of the
bump her
battleground
up.
states for
Oh
Kamala
yeah,
Harris
that's
right
gonna
now. Her
jump.
best path remains those three
I
industrial
forgot.
Midwest
Was it?
states.
And she's still waiting on
Pennsylvania, Michigan,
Georgia's votes
Wisconsin, Donald
and
Trump flirting with Georgia and North Carolina,
Virginia and
perhaps
North
Arizona
Carolina
and Nevada. It'll
and
be a while
Pennsylvania.
before
Pennsylvania, but
we get
these
results
you talking
there.
about some
We've got
close.
Garrett Hake, who is at Trump
Yeah,
headquarters
those
in West
are.
Palm. And Garrett,
It's
what's the
still.
better
I
ground,
mean,
yeah.
even though it sounds like it's lopsided, but I
Sven, I've
think
been talking to Trump
all those
campaign
other ones need
officials,
to
and look, we all know the cliche on
get
election
their act
days where you
together
hear
and
campaign
post.
sources say they're
Yeah.
feeling cautiously optimistic. What has happened in the last half hour is my sources have stopped using the word cautious to describe their optimism. They are feeling increasingly confident as more and more votes come in.
I might have to go and get me a hat, cowboy
the new
hat.
theory of the
Okay.
Oh, I
case
thought you
is
talking
being
about
proven correct. And what I mean by
Make
that is
America
the
Great
Trump
Yeah,
Again.
I might
said at
have
the
to go.
beginning of this race to
All
expand
of
the Republican
hey.
Party. They knew they couldn't win with their old coalition.
Yeah, he's the
Had to get
only
more younger voters,
president
more
that
black
has
voters,
merch
more
that
Latino
people like
voters, even
go
by
get.
small amounts to
Come on
join
now.
their
because
coalition.
everybody else never did
seeing
that.
No,
And if
because
it
he
does
It never was.
happen,
And have you seen Harris Walt's hat?
have been called, but with all the battleground,
They gotta
Have you
have
seen one?
states
Like,
now
have you seen
closed,
anybody
the
wearing
voting
one?
is done,
at
except
the
for folks
99-cent store. I don't know.
They feel like there's
Nah, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. Come on. I was being petty, people. I was just playing. Okay.
Let us know in the comments, man. Have y'all seen a hat? What does that hat look like? What color is it? Is it blue? Is it? Was it white? Blue letter? What is it? What's?
All right, thank you, Garrett.
All right,
I got a joke, but I'll sound like a Canaanite. I'm gonna leave it alone.
Campaign in Washington D.C. What's the optimism level there tonight?
Well, I
For
think
those who
certainly
don't
a
know
level
what
of
Canaanite
anxiety, at least
is,
according to
that's
some
what
of the Harris allies with whom I've been speaking to over
that's
the course
what
of the last
Mitch
hour or
calls
so,
anybody
one
that
ally
follows
telling
my
me,
views
you know,
a
just
Canaanite.
North Carolina, Josh Stein, the Democrat winning
I don't
his
get it.
effort to become the state
Streamline.
governor, that we were able to
Conservative. If you're a Canaanite, it's okay. It is okay.
Harris, at least not
We're gonna have the merch come out a little bit later.
split ticket voters. There are some folks who will be
True,
voting
true,
for Josh
true.
Stein
Yeah.
as governor, but
And
then
share
Donald
us,
Trump
people.
as president. Otherwise,
Yeah.
we would have
Talk to your
Push us out, yeah. Push us
friends.
out.
Yeah,
already in
push
that
us
state
out.
right
That's
now. They
all.
say that is an
Yeah.
indicator that gives some anxiety right now going forward.
Because
that
I
North
mean,
Carolina
we may
be
not
the
be
state that they're
something for
able to
you,
win.
but
If
hey,
that happens, and these are all ifs, it's all very
maybe
early
something
here,
for someone
that
else,
does
but they
again
don't
shrink
know.
their path to victory to 270. They
Help
really are relying heavily on those
YouTube
blue wall
push
states
us.
right now. And one of those key states, obviously,
Give
is
us a thumbs
Pennsylvania,
up.
the biggest prize of them all with 19 electoral votes. I spent many of the last several days up there, and I was in the urban centers where the Harris campaign put a lot of its energy, including in
Yeah.
Philadelphia, and
I don't
particularly
know,
in
man.
places like Philadelphia, where they
You
were
got any
sending
other networks
buses
you want
up
to check
there,
out?
knock
That
on
was
doors
NBC.
to help swell the number. They're really
Hey, I
relying
wonder
on big
if
numbers in places like Philadelphia and the collar
Al
counties.
Jazeera up there. They
need to
covering
run up
this
the numbers
too.
among some of
Who
those
that?
suburban
Al
women in
Jazeera.
particular, the
Oh,
suburbs.
There's some
I know what you're talking
So
about.
that's where a lot of them are hanging their
Let me
hat.
see if I can
At
They
least
find
for
should.
Dallas, I'm speaking
They in the
to right
States
now.
now.
We're going to keep a
I'll
close
have to
eye on
look
that
for it.
as this night progresses.
All right, Peter Alexander, thanks very much.
There, BBC. We ain't heard them.
Kamala Harris up to
Oh, yeah.
91. Donald Trump is on 170.
So that's a
still
different look
quite
there.
away. Oh, we have
They said
someone's pulled the
178
plug
right
out
there.
on our board there. Not to worry, we'll plug it back in, put a few more quid in the meter for the
Two
electricity
more
bill
quid.
here.
Let's go.
Business.
Shout out. Shout out. We
No,
need to
so
get
many
more
hours
quid.
to go, but live TV, what can you do? So we will have a check on some projections in
She
just
sounds like
a
she's
moment. But
from
let's go over to Christian, who
Mitch
is a
became
hold on.
No.
and he can give us an update.
Hey, that's the
on
second
this
time I've heard that. Something's
Yeah,
wrong.
patterns. I want to show you something that is
Take
apparent
the
to
black
me
fish,
with quite a bit of the
DSG.
vote in now in some of our
Turn red.
battleground states.
Man,
so this is
I'm
Georgia.
telling you.
Hey,
81%
I don't
It's,
know.
of
it's
vote
ridiculous
counted.
what
What
California
we're
is.
looking at is
I mean,
how much
Yeah,
better
I don't know.
to
Donald Trump's
change
doing actually
that
in
that
the
whole
smaller
and
rural
we've done
counties
videos
around the
on
map
this.
in
They have
Georgia.
a
This is a really
lot.
good
The
example.
homeless
Tweets. You've got
population. We've
92%
done
of the
videos on
vote
that. We've
counted
done
now.
videos on
You can
that
see the
whole
margin here,
looting stuff that
57-42.
they're
If I
doing
spin it
over
back to
there,
2020
and
Joe Biden,
$950
you can see that she's actually doing a couple of points
unless
worse than
that's
he
a
was. And I told
misdemeanor
you at the
now
beginning
and
of
not
the
a
night,
felony.
this is a simple
It's
game
just
of maths.
people just
Addition and
doing whatever they want to do,
subtraction.
and nobody
Can you lose less badly in some
do
of these
anything
counties
over
if you're
there.
a
Just
Democrat
having a
while
great
you run
time.
up the score in the
You
suburban
know,
areas? And she is doing that. She's
oh,
holding
it's crazy. It's
where
crazy.
Joe
yes. Oh,
Biden
yes.
was in 2024. If I show you Fulton County, see she's pretty much more or less in the same place. And
I don't
right
know,
there, I can tell
BBC.
you she's
Y'all
a
ain't
little
getting
bit
the.
ahead with
We don't need to talk to
93%
them
of the vote
because
counted. And it's
they
a
ain't even
similar
got all
story,
the
actually. If you go
information
to
that we
North
got.
Carolina, Nash
They're a
County
little
is
late.
one of 10 across the 7 battleground states that flipped to Joe
Let's see what
Biden
else we got.
in 2020. So it's a good bellwether.
BBC.
But you see, she is behind him there. This was
Anybody
the picture
else?
in 2020. So there's 1,000
Let me
votes
see.
difference
They're
there.
not doing it.
News
And yet,
Nation.
if you were to go back,
I don't never look at
the
this.
last 10 days.
But we
now
might
it's
have to
kind of
go to. I
spiked.
don't know if we
Which
went
way
to.
did they break slightly Harris's
Who that?
way? But
Was it
there's still
NPC
so much vote to be
or P?
counted. You know,
We did PBS.
75,000
We
votes
did
to
do
count
PBS,
for
but
the
they
presidency in
yeah, we
30
did
states,
PBS. I think we did.
out of
Hold on, let me.
140 or 50 million
Did
cast.
we do
Oh man,
PBS?
they sure. Hold on, that was
And
a.
it seems like that's
They
what
was
we're
behind
headed
the.
for this time. Another
Would you want to see
ping-pong
this?
back and forth.
Oh, go back up.
We can
What they
use
got
the
right there?
services
They
of my friend Kamala
Counting.
McShane.
Yeah, we need to see. Hey,
Amazon.
because
Gotta have the cameras on them.
Hey, we need to have armed guards. Hey,
Hey,
important
I
people.
don't need you to be looking at it and be like, oh, that's Trump. Let me throw it to the side.
No, that's not happening now. Come on.
This time,
See,
let's
Canaanite.
not look at Bucks County on the Jersey side.
Because, you know, they got to open them up. Those are probably the mail-in ballots, but they got to open them up.
And let's talk about Chester
and then run them
County.
through the system.
How much of the vote is still out in Chester County?
Who
Can
are
you
these
show
people?
us the expected vote
Chase
to come
Oliver,
in
Fieldstein.
Chester County? If we
It's
could see
200
that,
something.
that would
Man,
tell
yeah,
us
you go
something
sit
good.
down somewhere.
Connell McShane, can you
Still,
show us the
there's
expected
like 300,000 votes remaining out. It's at
Yeah,
the
you go
top
sit
of that
down.
screen.
I've
in
heard the
small
names,
letters.
but I'm
You
like,
barely see it though.
you go
Small
sit down
numbers.
somewhere. You got 200
11%
people. That's your family members and friends. It's on
in
your
Chester
Facebook
County,
page right
and
now.
Harris at
That's who voted for you.
55.5, Trump 43.3.
And Connell, those are the voters Michael Meehan is talking about, right? Michael, this
There you
is
go.
true that that those are those places where you see those big chunks of vote out in those urban areas. Those are the voters that Democrats have spent $2 quadrillion to try to mobilize in the past 6 weeks. They have done everything, right?
Oh, like 4 or 5 touches, knock on your door, dragging, kicking, and screaming to the polls. Yes.
So we're not looking at a vibes election right now. We're looking at grinding it out on the ground. Does it make
They
you feel
really
more
focus on
optimistic as a
Pennsylvania.
Democrat if
Yeah.
if this is an election that ends up being decided by ground game,
Yeah.
the Democrats pretty clearly have the superior ground game operation?
Well,
So would it
do
be
think that
different
they've
if we,
invested- I bet on the Democrats versus Elon Musk. That's for sure. But this is actually no
Hey, I hear
this
you.
is a
Hey,
Democrat
do your
I hear
thing.
you.
Be
Hey, I
safe.
appreciate you hanging
and
out with
Michigan
us,
know how to
man.
get
Man,
it.
you've been
We appreciate it.
participating, been putting
Republicans run
information
up
out
and down the
there,
ballot in
and you know,
Georgia.
man, I appreciate it,
They're
man.
used to voting for
And I hope
Republicans.
I hope I
That
was
would be
saying your
pretty
name
good.
right.
But
Yeah.
it's these 3 states that
But
will
you
hold
take it easy, brother.
All right. For sure. For sure.
Shout out again to the Boogie Down Bronx.
Shapiro had been Kamala
And
Harris's
you know,
running
I
mate.
guess
And
Miami
Florida.
Dade or wherever in
Yeah.
Florida.
Or would
For
would
sure.
it be less close? Would she be winning?
It might be 305.
Yeah.
Michael Meehan gives up no secrets from the West Coast. There's too much vote out in Chester County
Hey,
for Michael
Liza,
Meehan. Michael,
yes.
what else? Anything else you want us to be looking for tonight? What's the Michael Meehan key to victory county?
Well,
What we got on TikTok? What we got on
Philadelphia,
TikTok? Come
right?
on, people.
If the Philadelphia margin is 500,000 votes, it's going to offset anything else. But in this initial read of these
The
counties
Dominican
from
and other
Harrisburg,
players.
to Pittsburgh,
Okay.
We'll check you out. We'll check you out for
ahead
sure,
of the Biden
man.
number, and Biden won the
Guarantee
state.
you. We
If
follow
that
each other,
remains
man.
true
We
for the
support
remaining
one another.
votes,
That's what's up.
then she's going to have more of a
Guaranteed.
cushion than it
Dominican,
looks like that
political
she has now.
junkie. Let's go.
Someone who can answer that question is Scott Tranter from our partners at Decision Desk HQ. And Scott Tranter is out there, and he will answer Michael Meehan's question of what kind of margin could Kamala Harris walk out of Philadelphia County with? What's the word?
Let's see what else we got here.
Ooh.
That's News
My best
Nation.
guess in Philadelphia County
What else
margin
we
right now,
got?
probably 4, maybe 5. We'll see where it ends up.
NBC.
It's a little bit early. Pennsylvania, in the
That's that.
completed counties that we do have, which
We
is
did that.
mostly out west,
ABC, we did
Donald
that.
Trump is hitting his vocals.
NBC.
Somehow
I
ring
guess
around
we
like
did.
they coverage on CNN, man. They've been.
We hit news and
Lancaster,
just see what all
Montgomery.
come up.
Pennsylvania's too close.
Now, I'm observing in the raw vote about a 3-point shift from 2016 to
CBS,
2020. Now,
election
as
night.
Michael Meehan was talking about, there's tons and tons and tons, and as you are reinforcing, and we should continue to reinforce, there's tons and tons of vote out in mostly Democratic places in Pennsylvania. But in the votes that we do have, I'm seeing a consistent 3-point shift in Pennsylvania. Is that reasonable or unreasonable?
Indisputable. That's your boy.
That's exactly reasonable, and you did the math for me. That's what we're seeing as well.
It ain't him.
You look at that, you look at what were you not doing right, and you try and fix it next time. But I agree with you. It just I think this is
it's
such an unusual
the
cycle.
Young
and
Turks
unusual
Network.
election to hold it to any kind of
It probably
standard
ain't no.
is, it's not.
They
even
probably
about
not up
that
to date.
Say that it's just
And they be very biased if they.
Oh, they're gonna be all Kamala.
Yeah, this would check.
You can't really
Well,
hold it to
she's
any
always on
particular
there.
standard.
I'm
But I
surprised
would
check is
hope
not
that the
on there.
Democrats had learned that lesson back when
okay.
Trump
We
was
can
running
remove
up
people
against
Hillary Clinton, because we saw a lot of the same thing. And I love that Anna brought up Elizabeth Warren and didn't she have like literal binders of policies that she was just like flinging around at all of her campaign rallies and things. It was very impressive.
Who you saying had the best one
Yeah,
though?
I don't think a lot of
I
people
did
know what
like
to do with all of that
CNN.
information.
They got
I mean,
whatever.
it was
CNN,
much
you like
Is the
CNN?
boy on the
but
bottom?
again, like
Let's see what he's saying, because he started
the
going in on
Democratic
the
voters, the
Democrats a little
Republican
bit.
voters. I think
This one?
Democratic voters
Yeah,
are the
yeah,
ones
the
who are
one you say you don't like. I
those
don't like him
I
that
don't,
much.
I don't
either.
really like the
You know,
You know, but
NBC
he was
guy.
at least giving,
Wonderful. Florida and Texas have been very aggressive
saying, "Hey,
about
it's some of y'all
banding
fault.
school choice.
They should have did
Where
better."
have Republicans made the greatest gains among Hispanic voters? Florida and Texas. So education, the economy, those issues, bread and butter issues, and that is how they talk to them. I'm not saying Democrats weren't, but for the sort of the cultural issues don't play as well with Hispanic.
See how they
voters
already
as
got
they may
projected
with
91, 20,
college-educated
207.
whites or even African.
And we saw the Trump campaign hammer some of those issues
Over
in
and over.
ads over and over again. Take a break right here. Coming up next, things are
They
heating up.
almost
The
done
votes
with
are
North
rolling in.
Carolina.
We've got the latest on the battleground states, and we're inching closer to that 270 mark. Stay with us. Election
Wow.
night rolls on.
Kane, it could be a possibility. In congregation, could it be a possibility?
I wonder how.
Oh, tonight.
I wonder why Florida was so quickly. You know how Florida always usually be the last one.
Well, you know, but we know. Look,
Florida usually be the last
well,
one.
we know. Yeah, they
Back
do.
in the day,
When it's- yeah, but
they had a
usually
recount
go.
and everything.
Yes, but well, that's usually for the governor race and things of that nature. I mean, it did get a little iffy when it was the president. I think when George Bush was running. But usually Florida is going to be conservative. They're going to go red. You know,
anxiety ran high, hatred rose,
and still shout out DeSantis. He governs Florida. He might not be a presidential candidate or anything, but he governs Florida.
He wanted everyone to be filled,
you know,
not with food and
Yeah,
wine,
that's
but
true.
with
however you
compassion.
may feel of him.
I'm telling you.
And I'm surprised with all of these, you know, they talked about different things. They're not going on different issues, you know, because there's been so many
20% of your weight in a year with diet and exercise.
disclaimers out there
That's
that
the power of
voting
GLP-1s.
for conservative, voting for Trump is taking away women's rights. You know, I've talked to so many people.
Okay,
ladies,
so
having discussions about that.
Yeah, I'm curious about that in congregation. If y'all want to chime in too on the comments, when
Yeah.
you saying something that Trump is taking away, what are the rights that he's
Right.
taking away?
Kane, I can't.
I understand they want to run with this
Win.
Project
Yes.
25 and all this other stuff, but he's not even with that. So what are we saying?
Well, they
What are we
just
saying?
saying women's rights.
What?
The
What
rights of to make choices with their own body.
So he's taking it away. So what is Kamala doing to gain rights
Well,
for women's bodies? What is she doing?
I could only assume.
She ain't.
I could
What
only
did she
assume,
say
yeah.
about women's rights that she was going to do? Nothing.
Well,
Did she say
they're
something?
thinking.
Did I
People
miss it? I
thinking-
may
no,
have
no,
missed
no,
it.
no, no.
I may have
People are
missed it.
thinking.
I may have
You
missed
know,
it.
a vote for Kamala Harris. Maybe they
Would do
can
what?
overturn. Maybe Roe versus Ray can be
What is she?
overturned.
By what? That's
A vote
how
for
is
her,
she
but
gonna
it
do
has
that?
nothing to do with it. Yes, yes.
She ain't got nothing to do with that.
Thank you.
She ain't got nothing to do with it. So
That's
that's
a
what I'm
drop the
saying. Like,
mic
why are
moment right
people
there. Yes.
thinking that she is the better candidate for that issue? And what can she do for it? If they think that was a bigger issue, if they think that the federal government needs to be involved in that, and not state, local government.
And that's the vote. Whoever's their state, vote them out. Vote them out. You know.
Yeah, you just vote them out. And when the issue comes across the ballot that you don't want to vote on because you
Yeah.
only wait for the presidential election, that's how things happen.
Come
Right
on.
up under your nose.
Come on.
They have on there, you know, abortion issues or whatever on the ballot. What do y'all want to do collectively? What do y'all want to do? We want it. We don't want it. Whatever it may be.
Look at that right
Same
there.
thing with marijuana and all that, man. Same thing. Same thing. Oh yeah, you like this guy right here. That's what you like.
No. They've been giving better numbers. They've been
See
fast.
how Harris is doing compared to Biden. 4 years ago. She's down about 3 points, 3 or 4 points, 2 points, actually, we should say. But we're still waiting on the vote there. Let's go over to Madison. This is Dane County. This is where the University of Wisconsin is. It's one of the fastest growing areas of the state here. 75% for Biden in 2020. She's 2 points down, but again, 75% of the vote is still out. Let's talk about the Republicans now. We talk about the WOW counties. These are the counties around Milwaukee. First one, Waukesha here.
Let's clear the smoke.
77% of the vote.
Clear the smoke.
Slightly underperforming by a percentage point or two.
For
Let's go over
sure.
here to the O and Wow. Ozaki, 55. He's at 54. So, you know, a slight change, but almost around the same margins. And then Washington doing much better. 50% of the vote is in, 49.
Hey, for those that do follow us and y'all are listening to us tonight at midnight Eastern time, our video does drop for Lil Durk. I know everybody, we've been talking about the politics and all of that, but this is just to get you out of that realm because that's all you've been hearing for all week long. So, you know, once the selection is made tonight, selection is made tonight. But at midnight, Lil Durk arrests our video and our commentating on that too. That released tonight.
And with him saying that, it just shows you we're everywhere with all these topics.
Yeah,
we're everywhere. And then I would say, you know, going to Young Thug, you know, he's out. You know, the rapper Young Thug.
So if you're looking at Wisconsin right now,
and hopefully he can stay out. He's on 15 years of probation. 15 years of probation. You know, hopefully he can keep himself together, keep himself straight, abide by those rules and regulations.
It's all on him because we can do it. Me and you can do it.
Yes.
We don't have to sit around and get, you know, involved in mischief, so he can do it too. But if he choose to be a part of a different crowd, if he choose to do that, then he really wasn't rehabilitating, and he needs to go be locked up longer.
Praying that you do what you need to do.
No,
and
that's on him though.
Your family and the people around you better. So
yeah, guarantee you getting a second chance, but if you mess it up, that's on you.
Yes.
It's on you. You at home now. He at the house.
Yeah.
You better, you know, distance yourself from all them other people, YSL and everybody.
Oh, he has to.
Going through all those mail-in ballots.
Oh, here we go.
We've been noticing
I'm gonna turn it up a little bit.
Lessons learned category from 4 years ago. And this place is a perfect example of some of those lessons that have been learned. You may remember in 2020, the tabulation of the mail-in ballots in Philadelphia took place in downtown Philadelphia. And it was basically chaos. Now they're in this entirely new building. It is secured by a fence with barbed wire, and they're doing tabulation inside here. We're actually not allowed inside, but it's going on as we speak right now.
Yeah, well, they're playing cards, one.
And leave it alone, Kane. Leave it alone, Kane. You gotta be secure and safe, Kane.
We're getting a briefing here from the city commissioner.
Spoken like a true Canaanite.
Going to tell us how many of those mail-in ballots from Philadelphia have been processed and how many they have yet to process, to give an idea of how much more time it is going to take. All of that, more transparency, this more security, so things go much more smoothly. Savannah?
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Stephanie.
Back with our panel.
To put them in a new building.
Missouri Democratic Senator Claire McCaskill and Mark Lauder, former Director of Strategic Communications for the Trump 2020 campaign. Good to have you both back. How's the blue wall looking right now, Senator?
Well, you know what? I just got to say, with
they're all about blue, huh?
Brave
Let's see what the blue wall, what she says.
in Iowa, where clearly she did not get it right. It looks like the pollsters got it right in this election because I'm looking at these blue walls. If you look at Berks County, Harris is underperforming. You look at Lancaster County, she's overperforming. It's going to be razor close. I don't think there's any question. Now, what we're going to have to figure out is, do we have a country where an election can be close and people can accept the results? That's the question that I'm beginning to worry about, that if these are all really close and they go the way of Donald Trump, I don't think there'll be any problem
Well, Mark, we live in a 50-50 world. I mean, we do. I mean,
We really do.
And it's not going to stop after, Wednesday or beyond.
No, and one of the things I'll tell you I'm looking at right now is Philadelphia itself, because while Kamala Harris has her margin, the numbers aren't there. She's about 2 points behind right now of where Joe Biden was, but there was a 471,000 vote difference to offset the rural areas. Right now, with 50% of the vote in, the last time I looked, she's on pace for maybe 390,000, maybe 400 or so thousand. That's if the current margins hold, and that's a projection. She needs to be above 450.
Yeah.
And if we're down there in that right, because right now it's about 190,000 vote difference with 50% in.
It's early, but I mean, it seems like what we're gleaning from exit polls and other data is that the Trump campaign is overperforming, doing very well with Hispanic voters and young men. That Joe Rogan army appears to be real.
Oh, they gave a shout out to Joe Rogan. Let's go.
Absolutely, I think they're very
Joe
excited
Rogan,
by
you
that.
need to talk to
and they also see that
the
they're
Crimson Bros
overperforming in
Network.
rural
Let's
areas.
go.
I think they're trying to
Uncomfortable
cut
truth.
their losses
That would be good.
in the urban areas and in some of the suburbs. It's not always working, but I think in some of these key battleground states, it's panning out right now.
Claire, what are you hearing from the Democratic side?
Well, first of all, I think there's a lot of people on the Democratic side that are paying a lot of attention to what's happening with Sherrod Brown and John Tester right now.
How about that? Yeah.
Because the fact that it's been called for Trump in Montana and it hasn't been called for the Senate race gives you an indication. Same thing in Ohio. And I think everybody needs to remember what Lester just said is true. It's a 50-50 country. Let's assume for purposes of this conversation that in fact they take the Senate. And let's assume for purposes that Trump wins the presidency. They're not going to have more than 51 votes in the Senate, maybe 52.
So now they're
And
saying
you
it'll
have
be
a
a
couple of
stalemate, Hank.
Republicans that are not all on board with some of the Trump stuff, like Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski.
Ooh.
You could actually have a situation where the Senate is frozen.
Oh.
In either
That
administration.
means things won't get passed.
Depending on how it goes.
That's what it
So
means.
now's a time that I think that regardless of how this turns out, I think the leader of this country needs to realize it's time to quit dividing and try to unite and figure out if we can't find ways to work together.
We have a divided Senate.
That's a big statement that she just made. It is a couple of Republicans that don't get along with Trump.
Vice President Harris. We haven't even talked about the House, possibly because it will be weeks before we know. But Democrats are hoping to take back control of the House. They only need to net out 4 seats, so those races will go. But once again, I mean, you just look at a country, to Lester's point, that is very divided, and this is what the
we want to break in right now because Angela also Brooks, who just won the U.S. Senate seat in Maryland, is about to speak.
It's a
your girl. You were saying that, also Brooks, you heard her name a lot.
Also, that I hear your voice, and I will be your senator too.
Okay. She might have a presidential run in the future. We don't know.
Thank you most especially to the most amazing family this side of heaven. Thank you first of all to my incredible big sister, Kimberly Seymour.
She's Democratic.
Yeah.
My protector and my hero, the best sister in the world. And you know, Kim, we're going to be up pretty late tonight. We're going to be celebrating this one for a moment. I'd also like to thank my parents, James and Patricia also Brooks, my 2 heroes right over there.
Okay.
Whose values I hope you see reflected in me every day.
Shout out,
you
Mama,
see as well
Daddy.
their love, the profound love that they taught me for other people. As well, you see their grit, their determination, and the work ethic that they passed on to me. So Mom and Dad, you may not have seen this coming, but I tell you, I thank you so much for making every day of it possible. Thank you so much. To my grandparents who would have loved to have been here tonight, but whose legacy I carry on, I thank them so much. There are 2 other people that I want to thank. Cora Masters-Berry, I know is somewhere in the room. I want to thank Cora Masters-Berry and George Hazel. Where are you, George Hazel? I want to thank the 2 of them as well for their love. Now, it's remarkable to think that in 2 years, America will celebrate its 250th birthday. And in all those years, there have been more than 2,000 people who have served in the United States Senate. and only 3 have looked like me.
Shout out Wonder Woman. Let's go.
But I don't like that look like
So
that's
I want to
identity
salute
politics already.
And it doesn't
all of
matter. It
those
means
who
something
came
to some
before
people
me,
now.
who made it
That's what we'll
possible
I don't
for
like
me
it.
to stand on
different.
this
That's
stage
just you,
tonight,
sir.
whose
Still be
sacrifices and
inspirational to other
I will
young
continue
people.
Why?
to carry with
It
me.
can be inspirational
Why?
still.
From
It
the
doesn't
bottom of
matter.
my
I don't have to answer
Yes,
that.
it
You
does
already
matter.
know why.
each
You
and
already
It
know
every
does
why.
matter.
gender.
He
Do
said it.
Asian
To
people do
serve
that?
this state, my
Do
home
Hispanic
town,
people
Yes.
do
is
that?
the
Do
honor
white
Yes.
people
of
do
a
that?
lifetime.
I'm
Yes.
inspired
Not
because
white
that
people.
white man
No,
over
no,
there.
Let's
no.
be
I'm
clear, like
inspired.
Maryland.
No.
Marylanders
No.
are absolutely
That's what we have different.
amazing people.
If you're inspired, you can be
Talk.
inspired.
Y'all
You can be
y'all
inspired by anybody. No,
And I
yes.
know
we haven't
how
Leave it
yet.
at
amazing
that.
they are.
No, you
Because
don't
I've
have to.
had the
No, you
great
can't
honor
just
of
say what
traveling
you
Leave it
all
at
believe in.
across
that.
this
No, you don't
state,
have to, though.
Inspired by
meeting
anybody.
Marylanders where they
No, sir.
live, where they love, where they
Because it's
worship,
the
where they
uncomfortable
build
truth. Yes, sir.
businesses, where they
Let's
educate
go.
their children, and where they dream of a better day. And I stand here tonight for all those people who dream of a better day. We stand tonight united as one Maryland. And to each and every Marylander,
Let's
I say
go.
this: I will make your care my concern, your hope my
That's
focus,
supposed to be
and
for
your
the Senate to
dreams
help that little
my
Senate
work in the
race, you know.
days and years
She
to
got it
come.
though.
Yeah.
And to the
Yeah.
people who did
So they
not
pulled
vote
a
in
seat.
this election,
Yeah.
I want you to know that I see you too, and that I will never stop working to prove that public service, that the work we do can and must change the lives of people for the better. And lastly, I stand here tonight for my North Star, for my reason for being, my incredible daughter, Alexandra.
Let's go.
Single mom.
Hey, Kane, watch yourself.
Well, I'm just
Alex
saying
should
she
know
is.
that
She's a
I
single
first
mom.
ran for
Oh,
public
I didn't know that.
office
Okay.
because of her.
She ain't married.
And I ran for the Senate
She ain't got, yeah,
because
she's
of
single
all
mom.
of you, for the young people and the elders of our country, about the future that
Her
you
and,
one day will inherit,
old girl.
and the country that I know
Especially
we
the
all
old
can
girl
be.
that does the she
I
did
know
a
that we
op
can
in
be
her
a country that yells less
DC mayor.
and listens more,
Mira Bowser.
that fears less and trusts more, where we see the humanity in each other before the hateful word. And as divided as we may feel, in America, I still believe
Come
there
on.
is no us against them. There is only us.
Come on. I like that. I believe that.
And
I'm
with the
sorry.
right
I do.
leadership,
I believe it.
we can get back to a place
Yeah,
where
she
we
did she
celebrate
tap
each
into
other
your
more,
feelings for this one?
where we
Then
see
what? No, no.
humanity in
I'm
people
tired of the
before hateful
division.
word
I
or the
want
hateful
America
deed.
to
A
win.
place where
That's
our
it.
economy is fairer and our democracy is stronger. A place where women's health is protected, where hard work is rewarded, and where government exists not to eliminate our freedoms, but to celebrate and advance them. A place where you and your generation and all the generation, our kids' generations, can enter the workforce, knowing that not only will you have a chance to achieve the American dream, but that your children will also be able to achieve their dreams as well. And I've often said, and I'll say it again, the number one issue as I've traveled across the state is economic opportunity. And it is my great desire that each of our families, that all of us will not live on the margins, but it is my desire that you will live beyond your wildest dreams. That is what I will work for.
Let's
And
see.
a
I'm
place
gonna
where
pay
you have
attention to
no
her
doubt
from now
that you
on,
can
just to see.
dream and be whatever
I've seen
you
her for the
want in this
past
country.
however many
And
years.
so
And
to
she
Alex,
Okay, so
to all of our children,
yeah, she's
to all
been
of our
the
parents,
attorney general
I
for a
say
while.
to
She's
you
a
that
lawyer.
this is the America that I
Okay,
will
well,
continue to work
yeah,
to make
I
it
don't
work
know.
for each one of you,
we'll
so
we'll
that you
talk
can
side note on it.
experience the
Yeah,
American
yeah.
We'll
dream.
discuss it
We
later.
together can
Yeah.
reinforce the values that we share as Americans,
She's a
the
prosecuting
democracy that
attorney.
we believe
Okay.
in, that we believe in freedom and
Hopefully
human
crime was
rights.
down.
We believe our leaders
Crime
should
was
have
down
integrity
where?
Yeah,
and
hopefully
peace
crime was
and
down in
freedom.
Maryland.
That is what we will continue to
Man,
fight
is you
for.
crazy?
And as I've said a
Oh,
few
so
months
she done
ago
left
in
that seat, huh?
Chicago,
Oh
it's
my
always
goodness.
darkest before the dawn.
Did
And you
she
heard
come
me
from
say
middle?
that we have
She needs to
endured
go
for
ahead
a
and say
night,
that.
and now joy
You know, just to fit the
cometh in the
mold.
morning.
She a middle class family.
And I want you to know that I am still hopeful
Go ahead and say
Hopeful.
it. Say
that
it.
we will learn later tonight that joy will be led by a woman by my
Who
friend,
cares?
our next president, Kamala Harris.
Ah,
Come on, you got to give that shout out. She
Tomorrow
got to give that
begins
shout
the
out.
hard work
no.
of making every day that comes the
She's a
next
Democrat.
a
Karen.
little
Come on.
better than the one before it. And that's
Stick
a
to,
fight
stick
worth
to your little
fighting.
seat in
And
the
that's a
Senate that you
fight
won.
we are going to win.
It's not a little C, sir.
And so again, I say to
Yeah,
each
don't be petty.
I thank you.
That's my
from the
dog,
bottom
Kay,
of my heart.
tonight.
What a wonderful
saying,
honor. I
stick to
can't
that little
wait
seat
to be your
and
next
deal with that,
senator,
okay?
representing you in the Senate of the United States.
Shout out to
Let me
Maryland.
say one other thing before I leave.
What's
How
that?
lucky have we been to have Senator Ben Cardin representing us as senator from the great state of Maryland, a man whose integrity and brilliance not only benefited Marylanders, but benefited our whole country. And so I say to Senator Ben Cardin, we thank you so much, sir. Myrna, his wife, is here as well. I want to thank the two of them so much for their service. We love you so much, and we thank you. I'd also be remiss if I did not acknowledge
glad she
one
ain't
of
at Howard.
Angela Alsobrooks give her
she is. She
acceptance
can
speech
talk.
there in front of a crowd of
Where'd it go?
supporters, her family,
Talk
and
your
friends
talk.
in Bowie, Maryland, as she
I don't
talks
see her
about wanting
reading
to serve
anything.
the
Bowie,
state and
Maryland,
the
okay.
country to the best of her ability and to really unite the country in a new path forward.
It was a very unifying speech there, traveling the state as she has for months and working very hard for
okay.
that victory from
Okay,
Prince
Maryland.
George's County
Big
Executive,
things about to
US
occur.
Senate representing Maryland. We want to go right now back to NBC and Savannah and Lester.
Tim Walz in the Midwest. And I think what her decision was, one of judgment, where she looked at somebody who had
Illinois?
a resume just like hers, and she looked at someone who was much different.
Well, you know
He wasn't
Illinois,
Ivy
you know
League.
that's shot
He
time.
wasn't all smooth. He was relatable and
We know what
accomplished
goes
and
down. Okay.
somebody who really
Chi-town.
kind of oozed Midwestern relatability.
Look
And I
at
think
that.
that's
Oh,
she thought was
it
an
went away.
add plus,
It was
as
showing him
opposed
the
to
Senate.
just a mirror of who she was. And I don't know if it was the right call or not. I think they're both terrific people. Either way,
I guess we
they're
never
gonna be
did see it,
around.
little Lily Wayne.
Shapiro's not going
No, we
anywhere.
didn't see it. Shout out.
You may
Hopefully
see
she
him on
did
a
well.
ballot in the future.
Yeah.
I'm just going to call it out. You sound
fact,
like
I'll
you
look it up.
see the
Let's
end
see what
here.
Lily Wayne
I
is.
don't. I do think that obviously we're disappointed about North Carolina and Georgia because there was a real feeling that there was such a good ground game.
Oh, did they already call it?
And to be
team
clear,
was
we
doing.
haven't called those.
No, we
Nothing
haven't. But I'm
serious.
looking
Okay.
internally at the numbers,
Sure.
and they're not as hopeful as I would like them to be. I still think we have a path, obviously, in the blue wall states, and I don't think anybody knows how Nevada is going to turn out. And I think that is another one. We could have 4 states that determine the presidency that are all decided by less than a half a point.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
Thanks
going to
for
be
that.
so close. Oh my goodness.
How's that?
Let's go to NBC News correspondent Ellison Barber now in Gwinnett
It's
County,
Lily Tang.
Georgia. Ellison, how are
Lily
things
Tang,
going now?
okay.
Lily Tang.
Hey, Lester, so we're starting to get initial numbers from the early voting in this county. Initially, they were a little delayed in uploading some of those to the public because they said they were having difficulties with their software of getting a clear image. They were going line by line with a Republican watcher, a Democrat watcher, and other election officials getting those votes up. But now they have those reported, and based on the percent of early votes that are out, Harris is leading in the early
I mean, it's still
votes that they have
54%,
tabulated in this county so
but
far, still they haven't counted any of the
so the other
precincts that
lady
were
is like
today.
55. She at
Still
44%.
happening here.
Oh,
So you see these people coming in. They're all people who have come from the different precincts in this
She
county.
said
There are
lady was worth 20 to 30 million dollars, so I bet she had a big
what they're
push
dropping
behind
off
her.
right now, you see
Yeah,
these
of course.
purple bags here.
But
Those
she's
are
still, it's
provisional
still, they haven't
ballots,
decided
in
though. It's
addition
still at
to a lot of
54%
blue bags,
though.
and the blue bags, I'm told,
They
have
haven't decided
official
yet. There's
election
still some more
material
votes
that
to
had
need to
to
come
be
in.
returned. Pamphlets, things that
Lily
sort of
Tang.
gave directions to the election
Shout
workers,
out.
all of that stuff coming in now. It's coming in waves. The first wave of stuff that was brought in from precinct captains on were the memory cards with the vote. That's something that election workers tell me is a way, a thing that's changed over the years. They said they used to get everything, the election materials that had to be returned, provisional ballots, and the memory cards with the votes all at once. And because it took a while to clean up, it would take a little longer for those memory cards to come in. Now they get the memory cards first, then the rest of the materials. The memory cards, they're actually in all these little bags. You see them unzipping there. Those are from 156 different precincts. Each precinct has at least 2 memory cards that have the vote count from today on them. They go in here, they get processed, and they go out to the public. So they're still deep in that process right now. But let's go again to the
you
back.
better
because
not
this is
lose
where
a memory card.
Hey, come on. Can't stop showing all these seeds, right? You being messy, bro.
I'm just saying. It's that easy.
I would like some gloves put on the hands. Okay,
Remember,
fingers.
the thing
Let's
that we were
go.
watching in this county was what would the margins be like, because it leans Democrat. We expected Democrats to carry this county, but ultimately back in 2020, Donald Trump got 40% of the vote in Gwinnett County. And what Republicans were hoping was if they could notch that up by a couple percentage points, they could cut in to Harris's margins. And then if they also did well in Republican strongholds, could potentially carry the state. What we're seeing in turnout is turnout so far has exceeded the turnout numbers in 2020.
Oh, wow,
right
that's
now,
good.
based on what has been entered, Trump is holding at about 40%. So right now, those extra percentage points haven't come.
Well, I
Could
wonder
that
how
change?
long
Yes,
they're gonna
that's
be
Tom
doing this.
Yamison's lane. We'll leave him on that.
They
Over
had
here, though,
86%,
is where they're
but-
going through some of the different election material, and they've also been sorting provisional ballots. You can see them in the back here, Savannah and Lester. They're just busy working. They will be here late at night. They expected the last bit of stuff to come from the precinct to get here.
Shout
at
out to all the
11:30.
workers.
Savannah.
All right,
They're gonna be
Allison,
there
thank
for
you
a
so much.
while.
We're gonna take a short break
Yeah,
right
yeah,
here.
yeah,
Many
but
more
shout
poll
out.
closings coming up at the top of this hour, including California, and it's whopping 54 electoral
getting, what,
votes.
$20
And a
an
look
hour?
at who's ahead in the race to
Some of them getting a
270
little bit
on
more,
election
maybe.
night.
Maybe 30. You think 30?
Oh, I don't know that. What the line at? I might be in one. I might need to go and just make sure everything's good to go. Let's go.
No, they don't trust you. You ain't been there the whole time. You ain't been there the whole time. We don't need to be checking you out. That was NBC, and I think that's pretty
Hey,
much
what's
it.
her name right there? What is
What
bring
that?
that up? Good. That was Trump's girl right there. Go
Right
right
here?
there.
Fox?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't forget her name. You know, she used to always be on.
Going to underperform Joe Biden nationwide on young voters. There too. Let's get rid of the old guy and put in a 60-year-old woman.
You know her?
Donald Trump old. That's how
She used to be with his campaign. You know.
Get young people.
Who
if
is
they
she
think
though?
they can
What's her
afford
name?
I forgot her
a house
name. You know, she
before
was.
they're 52.
She was
under your
always.
policies. You
She's
get young people if
big
they
Trump.
think they want to be president of their own small business, not president of this country one day, and they can survive and thrive doing that. So this whole demography thing that we should vote according to our gender, our race, our age. This is the election where I think that hit a wall.
Let's
Can I
go.
ask a quick question just to Mark and Kelly? If things hold right now where we are, who does she only have to win the blue wall just for the sake of the audience to win this? So if everything happens, she wins Arizona, he wins Nevada, he wins Georgia, North Carolina. If she wins Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, does she win?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So the blue wall remains what we have.
She
what we're
has one
focused on.
big path. Yeah,
Got it.
he's
That's
got
the
two
path.
paths, but you got to get one of
Is
them.
that true, Bill?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, they breaking it down.
Yeah, with the three plus Nebraska too. I think it's too early to start filling.
I
this
just don't
thing
see
in
her
here.
flipping Georgia
I
though.
don't want to start just yet, but
Why
It'll
not?
be wow.
She got majority of it. Atlanta, the bigger, the bigger population.
Yeah.
For her, it would be Nebraska 2.
Definitely.
We got to go a long way. So just
Oh, so it actually is coming up.
It's gonna take me a while to get there. Okay, so she would have to win all the
Okay.
usual states here. It's just too many to fill in, right?
Oh, gotcha.
Boom, 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 boom.
Kane?
Oh my gosh, what am I missing? Holy cow! Okay, Maine,
Nebraska, too.
Hawaii.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
Hawaii.
That's why I didn't want to do it. Because we got to go a ways. But maybe like another half hour, an hour or so, we'll fill in a few more. If you got time, I'll take you to Arizona, unless you got something else to do.
Love to go
let me
there.
go ahead.
That's wild. That's wild, brother.
Here.
People,
There's
that's
some
wild.
Southwest. This is Arizona. First time we're looking at it on the night, and Trump has just taken a 1/10 of a point lead. Kamala Harris had the edge here for really the past hour. This is Maricopa. This is Phoenix. This is where you get 60% of the vote statewide is in Maricopa County. All right. She has an edge at 2.2 percentage points. Raw vote 563,000. I'm going to bring out the slide again, okay, and go back to 2020. And this is Joe Biden in Arizona. So she's up about half a point,
Yeah,
not
just
quite.
a little bit. Just a
All
little
right.
bit.
But Donald Trump's performing a little better right now at this point, but there's still just about half of the vote out and too soon to call there. and Arizona. Let me come back to modern day 2024 and see if this has changed. It has not. This raw vote's 2,200. So we'll watch that. Just want to take a sneak peek at that. You guys mentioned Iowa, the state that shall not be named, or the poll that shall not be named. This is nuts. 14.5 points.
Wow.
Yeah, what, he wasn't supposed to do that?
Guys, there's a ton of votes still out there, too. This thing could go higher. Anyway, back to you
It's a
guys.
little outside the margin of error. Okay.
All right, let's go over to Sandra and get a look, because we've been talking about young voters, and you have some new stuff from our Fox News voter analysis,
Sure.
Sandra.
I'll build off of what Kellyanne just said about the Hispanic voters in just a second. I'll dive into age first for you, Martha. And it is pretty incredible, some of the data that we're seeing in our Fox News voter analysis. This age group 65 and over, okay, it is a dead heat.
Wow.
Split the vote there, but just note Donald Trump led this group by 3 points in 2020. So he is, in fact, slightly underperforming with that group. But here is a huge story that we are seeing develop. Voters under age 30, 52% of the vote going to Harris, 44% to Trump. That's an 8-point margin that she's leading by. Biden led with this group by 25 points. Kellyanne was just talking about this a moment ago. He led by 25 points with this age group back in 2020. She is significantly underperforming with the younger voters right now. I want to jump back in and also talk about the Hispanic vote and what we are seeing there. This also telling a huge story of the night. Kamala Harris getting 56% of the support there. Donald Trump, 40. Okay, so she's leading by 16 points. Biden led with this group by 21. Again, she's
if you're still here with us, give me a thumbs up. Say something. Give us a comment.
This
also
put a little comment down there.
Women, for
Like
example.
that's a bad
Harris
thing.
is leading
Hey,
by
look,
24 points with this group
it's
right
looking
now.
bad.
Biden
You
led
know,
with this group by 34.
it
Hispanic
is looking
women.
bad. That was
Underperforming
on
there.
TikTok.
Comes with
though.
Hispanic men. Look at this story. Harris is up by 6 points with Hispanic men. Biden led with 19 points. So there is really some interesting stories developing with
It
the
may
younger
be a bad
voters
thing. I
and the
don't know,
Hispanic
Pil,
vote out
man.
there.
Look,
Pil
look.
But
G.
Martha, as you know,
It's a little
we
bit
have
of
heard it on the
everywhere.
ground. A lot of those
Yeah.
American
Up and
Hispanic
down.
voters, they don't like what they're seeing with illegal immigration.
Oh,
in this
Pil
country.
G
They've been
said we
speaking about
don't
that.
need
We are
police
seeing that show
immunity.
up in our analysis.
Sandra,
We don't
thank
need
you.
what?
Interesting stuff.
Police
Very
immunity.
Oh,
Hispanic voters.
okay.
That
Okay.
20 plus
Yeah,
gap that we're
'cause
seeing, we've been seeing it for a
that's
long
what
time. We've been
Trump
talking
is
about it for a long time. It has shown up in polls that
supposedly,
she was underperforming Biden by more
has
than 20
immunity,
points.
but I'm
Right,
guaranteed that's a
Hispanic
whole.
voters, Brett, it's a
It's
very
not like a
seismic
blanket
Which
change.
statement. Like you
means
just
if
don't.
it comes
We
down
don't have to
to
worry
it,
about
I
you.
agree that this
No,
does
no, it's
does
a
to
process.
those
Yeah,
three
definitely.
It's a
I agree.
blue
process.
wall states being her chance of victory on very narrow path.
Appreciate you, Piff,
That
for
these numbers
sharing it.
are
Appreciate it.
meaningful about how she will
Yeah.
And
perform
Piff, where
on
you
the
at?
stage.
What state you in?
Big enough
Yeah,
now
what
that we
state
can
you
say
in,
they
Piff
are.
G?
Her chance
Let
to
us
pull
know.
this off be the biggest thing we've ever
Where you
seen.
at?
I mean, amazing come from
Did you
behind
vote
victory. And the,
today, or
on
did you
a
do the
very
early
long
vote
lead.
joint?
Yeah, I mean,
Well, it's a significant, to say the least, point that Kellyanne was making, which is that it all stops, right? And I think that I don't even know if in 2028 we'll still be talking about the Hispanic vote, right? Because with every immigrant group that comes through, eventually you're just an American.
From
And
Jersey,
you care about all
bro.
the issues
Okay,
that
that's
everyone
what's
else
up.
Hey, look, he
cares
said he
about,
haven't
and it's
voted
not
since
so segmented. So
Obama.
I feel like those barriers.
That's
Hey,
what's
look.
up. That's his
Hey,
choice.
And
Piff
I
G,
think that the
if you
Harris
ain't voted
Biden
since
team has
Obama,
no one
and
to
you ain't
blame
voted
but
for no
themselves
one
for these numbers. It's the
currently,
policies that
then
drove these
definitely
people
we
to
know
vote
that you
for
can't
President
complain
Trump.
about
And he
anything,
also,
even
the
locally
Biden-Harris people
in
pushed
Jersey.
them into
If
Trump's
things are
open
going crazy,
arms.
I don't know what's
And
going on in
now
Jersey
they'll have a chance
or
to
whatever,
have a
but if
different
things are
type
going
of
kind of crazy,
president if
then
he were to win. I know we got the
you
blue
can't
wall
say
to
nothing.
see,
You
but
just like,
the
I'll
betting
deal
markets,
with it because
everything
I
is
ain't
sort of
voted
going
since
this way, and you
Obama.
sort of have this
I
feeling
got
that
a question for you,
the
Piff G.
Hispanic vote is no longer
Why
going
didn't
to
you
be so
vote?
segmented.
Did
He
you not
They're
like
just
the?
to vote.
He said, I don't
The
trust this
American
government,
and
Oh,
there's a
okay.
so I
tradition,
stay out
though,
of it.
you know, not
Okay,
to
okay.
overgeneralize about any
Mhm.
group, but
No
you know,
problem.
the
Roger
traditional
that.
faith-based in
Yeah,
many
I get you,
ways
Piff G, but I'm just saying,
Hispanic
you don't
family that
trust it, and you
is
just
not
kind of rolling
responding
with the
to
punches or
what
whatever. So you
Kamala
can't really
Harris
complain.
is
You just
talking
kind
about
of
and
just
focusing on.
Harold, gender
deal
and
with it
race,
as it
we
comes.
talked about the
You
outset
know what I
would
mean? Deal with it as
emerge
it
as big
comes.
themes because
And
these
that's cool.
folks have
I mean,
enjoyed great
some people
advantages
do
with
that.
certain groups of people.
That's fine.
That's
The
cool.
numbers
That's
didn't
cool.
show up tonight.
They show
They've not.
politics may be a dead end.
Well, what it shows is that we're going going to have to, as a party, rethink and reformulate,
I want them
reconstitute
to
how we think
start
about
adding this stuff
going after
up.
voters.
Right?
If these
Yeah,
votes
yeah.
hold
It's
up,
late. You know
and
what I'm
even
saying?
if they don't, the numbers are narrowing. So you have to rethink this and
Pimp G said,
consider some different
I'll
strategies.
vote
Because as we sit here tonight,
when they
Democrats
lower
have
the
to be
rent.
surprised. And we reported over the last several days about how
I
this
know
Hey,
is
that's
shout
changing,
out.
right.
how her numbers were coming home, how people were coming
Jersey,
home.
I'm pretty
This is a
sure it's
very
probably
different.
ridiculous up there.
It
Guarantee. I
yesterday
guarantee.
that she could
I'm
win
pretty
all
sure.
7 battleground
But
states,
yeah.
and said that
I
she
know
could
that's
do
right.
it. Now, maybe if it turned and she could win 6 of 7, but he said 7 of 7.
He
Just
said
the other day.
he did. He said there was a confidence from him that, and Democrats abound that there was, and
All right, we
even
gotta
up
hit-
to early this
Well, all the polling said that it could go either way.
We got to hit a break real quick.
We will. A lot of votes to count still, and we are covering all of it.
We sticking around. We sticking around.
We'll be right back.
Kane, Mitch, Pimp G.
Look,
Somebody
hey, little Pimp G say I'm out. I'm out though. I gotta go watch my bets on FanDuel.
He bet.
Hey, appreciate the podcast, man. Shout us out, man. Guaranteed. We got all the long form content on YouTube. I know you on TikTok right now, but on YouTube we got all the long form. Check us out, man. If you get a chance, man, send it to all your friends. Salute you, bro.
You getting on FanDuel? Is it a bet? Who gonna win?
Yeah, you know it is.
Hey, come on. Who you put your money on?
What's
What's
going
going on?
on? GLP-1 medicines
How
or
many
children under
points?
12. Take if you or your family had MTC,
Oh, yeah, for
MEN2,
sure, for
or
sure.
allergic to. Tell your prescriber if you are breastfeeding.
Appreciate it. Stepping in, man, for the little time frame, man.
Yeah. Come
Looking
on
out.
through. Come on through, people.
What you think, man? I mean, the way it's looking.
Pancreas inflammation
What you
and
think,
Hey,
bro?
I was surprised. I was actually shocked when they just broke it down, which that was really good, that it's still a possibility. She still has a big possibility. You know?
Yeah, and it's mainly those Democratic states that normally vote her direction.
Yeah, but we
can't call it until they actually
right.
submit everything.
Yeah, but those little 3 and 4 points that she was getting, 3, 4,
They adding up.
3, they adding
up.
And then you get
Adding
that
up.
big influx of votes, electoral votes from California, Oh man, and she just needs.
So look at that. Oh, I don't know if you just seen that, but he has the popular vote thus far, and he's winning with the electoral votes.
I think that was one of his gripes when he lost last time, having the more popular votes.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but we don't want. I just want a clear-cut winner, So nobody has anything to say about anything.
Yeah.
That's all. That's all.
Yeah,
So we will see. We will see.
We still here. Jay Wild just joined us. Hey, we still here.
Jow, do you say Jow? Jow,
I
Jay
don't know,
Wild, let's go.
Jay Wild. I guess that's how you pronounce it. I'm not sure. That's on
Jay
TikTok.
Wild is
though. That's on
wild.
TikTok,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Roger that.
Yeah, see, 212, 119. So yeah, she done broke 100 and still gaining.
Vice President Harris
He only gaining by like 3.
Maine, she got Maine.
Yeah, they
ain't but
they
2.
get it. Yeah,
Ain't but 2, but she
can also
got it.
project that Maine Senator Angus King will win his race. He's an independent who
They messed that
caucuses
up because
with
they
the
didn't even say,
Democrats.
okay, Angus King.
So
There you
as
go.
we look now, the Senate is ticking up. We're going to look at some interesting races in Ohio and Montana.
I want to see New Hampshire, your girl.
Yeah.
Lily Tang.
Yeah.
I want to see her.
The mood is
I hope she get it.
good.
I hope Lily Tang get it.
It is very good, Martha.
For New Hampshire.
Earlier this evening, a lot of folks were coming up to me and saying they're not sure if they're going to get a decision tonight. They thought it was going to take a few days, and that has completely flipped. And people are expecting
It's close, man.
there to be an
Arizona.
answer
Jeez.
tonight and it to be favorable for the former president. I just talked to a campaign
Jesus.
official
Okay.
who tells me that over in
Dang, who would have thought, man?
President Trump is right now watching the results come in. The mood there is
Michigan, but that's the battleground. We know.
Yeah.
North Carolina, look how close that is.
Yes.
That's close, bro.
but everyone there appears to be feeling
They're almost done, though.
I
Too
would
soon
say
to call.
this. I was very surprised when they were saying most of the news outlets were saying this was going to be close.
appears
Yeah.
to be making plans to come here to be with former President Trump.
It's looking
Back to you.
close.
Aisha, thank you
Hmm.
very much. We'll keep a close eye on Trump
Oh, we
headquarters.
got
Continue to
a
give
Jay
you some
Wow.
more
Relax,
updates
y'all.
on what's going on.
They're counting the hillbillies first.
Let's go. Let me get my overalls.
We are up next.
Montana, waiting to get a look
Let
at
me
the
get my
voting.
overalls. Let's go.
We have some new guests who have joined us on the panel.
I hear you. I hear you.
Too. So let's
It's
welcome
changing
them in.
though. That's what I'm
As we
saying.
get
Like,
ready for the top of the
oh,
hour, we'll get some new
goodness.
calls
Calls
at
first,
11
and then we'll
o'clock.
get right to you guys. Wow, time is
Oh,
going so
somebody
fast.
about to close now. Here it
Mm.
is. Ding.
Ooh-wee.
It is
Let's
now
go.
11 p.m. in New York, and 4 West Coast states have just finished voting. The Fox News
California.
CNN
There, she already got it. 54.
will win.
God.
We already knew.
Woo!
Come on. That,
54. She got him that
more than
quick.
any other state.
That quick.
come on.
Fox News can also
God.
project that Harris will win Oregon, adding 8 more votes
Oregon, that's
to
8
her
more.
Electoral College
There it
vote.
is.
Come
Harris
on.
will also win Washington, another reliably Democratic North
12.
12. I
Come
told you.
on, Kane.
Oregon.
They coming
Didn't I
in.
just say that? Didn't I say that?
They said Maine too earlier, right?
Race to 270. It's
Ooh,
now
look at it.
216 to 190.
Kane,
You
let's
see
get
how
they
quickly
getting
that happened?
what?
You see how quickly that happened?
Hey,
Bro.
Kane, I gotta fan myself.
Kind of a
It's getting hot.
race.
It's getting hot
Man,
here. Let's go.
That's
They said they're
close.
overperforming
Now it's
turnout
a
expectations in
game.
Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Now it's
Early
a game
vote
now.
expectations
Oh
Come
my
on.
goodness.
What they say is a game.
They go into
Yeah.
state by
The
state.
second half. Let's go.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
they're going
man.
to
It's
see
the
more
third
votes
quarter.
in these states. These are the blue wall states.
That's so
because that is the
crazy
path
though.
that we're looking
All
at.
of a sudden, you see how she got
They say we know
California
there's significant amount of
54,
vote
just
remaining
jump
in
right
Dane
up
and
on you.
Milwaukee
I told
counties,
you,
and we're
yeah.
seeing signs of
God.
strong
Well, we knew she
performance in the
had
Wow
California
counties.
Oh, yeah,
anyway.
we did.
seen-
We did. We
Partial
did.
data.
Yeah, we
We
knew
don't
she
expect
had that.
complete
That wasn't a
results in
surprise
Wisconsin
though.
until tomorrow morning between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m.
Yeah,
shall
they
see.
216, 193, man. That's right
California
there.
Senate race,
Come
as we
on.
talked
That's
about,
right
we
there,
project
bro.
that the current
It's
Democratic
wide open.
congressman,
That's right
Adam
there.
Schiff, will win his race
Okay,
against
Schiff
former
been there.
Major League Baseball player Steve Garvey in that Senate race, and Washington's incumbent
Yeah, they're gonna be
Democratic Senator
Democratic
Mike
straight
McClellan
through.
will win
Look
her
at that,
fifth
Steve.
term.
Democrat
Not
straight
big
through.
surprises on that
That
front
whole
this
coast,
evening either.
whole West
So here's
Coast.
the balance of power in the Senate: 49 for Republicans. The majority
Okay.
is 51. They have flipped 1 seat, 42 for the Democrats as we wait for a number of these big
They're
Senate
still waiting,
races to
though.
be called: Ohio, Montana, Pennsylvania.
But even
all
out of
those
those
really big
49 Republican seats,
And Michigan.
you know, they did mention like at least 3 Republicans that don't get along with Trump that could vote, you know, contrary to the conservative values.
True.
Surprised is a very generous term for how I'm feeling in this particular moment. It is in Democrats' nature to be anxious, and we are certainly at peak anxiousness.
Yeah, she's a
I think the
strong
conversation
Democrat.
that you were
Yeah, oh, just.
having in the last panel about the Latino vote is really interesting. Some of these numbers are a
Man,
little
yeah,
bit
he
jaw-dropping,
had Texas
looking at,
hands
potentially
down right there.
Oh, yeah,
that was
yeah.
only 40. He only get 40 for
Trump in some
Texas.
states, and
God.
that is going to cause
California
a
gets you
real
50.
reckoning within
Ooh.
the
Hey,
party.
there's no joke.
Talk
God.
about message to and integrate, a huge part of our base typically in all of this. I would say though
Ted
that
Cruz got
the campaign
reelected.
and people that I've been speaking to
Hey,
said
you know, he ain't
nothing
going
has been
nowhere.
told.
He ain't going nowhere.
270 have
He
not
bought
been
an old
told.
guard. Hey, he ain't going anywhere.
I should add to the numbers that they messaged to you. Detroit is coming in, and Detroit had a very good day with in-person voting today, and the suburbs
That's
of
what's up.
Atlanta outperforming where Biden was there. One
Let him
point of
keep going.
concern is
Be right
that
back there,
she's not doing as
nephew.
well in the rural
Yeah,
areas.
and then I'm
as
gonna
Biden
take
did,
my little
and that's something
break.
that they're paying
Okay.
We'll
attention
find
to.
out
And
after
I'm
you get
hearing
back.
more and
Yeah.
more
Okay.
people that I'm speaking to, blue wall. And this morning we were talking about, well, if you
Where
pick
you're
up
at, people.
Carolina
If you're
and
with us,
Georgia,
let us
and
know where
they're
you're
not
from, where you're at.
but it is
Did you
feeling
vote?
like more of that laser focus on
How
the
do you
easiest
feel
race.
about this
Ben,
election? Look how close it
well,
is
good
now.
to see you tonight. I'm sitting here thinking about the rethink that Republicans
It's up
went
for
through
grabs.
after Mitt Romney lost.
Mhm.
And they did this huge analysis of what was going wrong with the Republican Party and why they weren't reaching Hispanic voters, why they couldn't reach working class voters, why they weren't bringing
And
in
it
more
appears
women.
that
And it
the
really
Democrats
isn't
and the
funny when you think
Republicans
about that. That
did
was Mitt
good with
Romney's
the
loss.
Hispanic
And
vote.
it appears that the
You know.
person who has changed that calculus dramatically is Donald Trump.
Yeah.
You know, they called it an autopsy at the time, and I think it's turned out to be an autopsy for a party that was dead. And I think that Donald Trump has done something incredible in resurrecting it with a new coalition that, you know, a lot of people never thought Republicans were going to be able to.
Thumbs up, give us hearts. Let's go.
Cut through a
Get
lot
our
of these
message out there,
fundamental
people.
problems that people thought were
The
there in order to
Uncomfortable
reach these
Truth
different sets of
Crimson
electoral
Bros
And
Network.
I think
Share
people,
us.
they have to be
Push
asking
us out
how
there.
much of that is
Friends, family.
and how much of it is
We
something
talk
that
about it all.
moving forward can build
We're
on.
not afraid to do
And,
so.
you know, regardless of whatever ends up happening
That's all.
here tonight,
Just
and
debate.
tomorrow morning,
Sometimes we
those are
agree to
the world
disagree.
events and the things that we take away
But
from
you
it,
have a
the things that we
voice
take away.
when you're talking to us,
Incredible
okay?
political comeback that we've seen since 1968. It's the most incredible
That's what's
remaking
up.
of the Republican coalition that we've seen in a way that was really unexpected by all but a handful of people. And how they build on that, how they choose to prioritize policies going forward, could make a big difference. in
Whoever
whether
wins,
they'll do it in the future, or
we
whether
want to
they
see
go
some
away.
changes. Gas prices go down.
Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful.
Groceries go down.
The markets now have it at 92.5.
Let's see what they're going to do about inflation.
Winning this election to Kamala Harris at 7.0%. You're a market guy. How do you read this?
I'm going to stay on this theme for a moment and call this
I know y'all done seen it from Shark Tank. No, he a businessman.
and ever have if they lose. And let me explain that. I was very troubled just over 100 days ago when they circumvented the democratic process and anointed somebody. The analogy is easy to a Super Bowl. You arrive at the Super Bowl game, and by any measure, this is the Super Bowl of global politics, the presidential race.
Right.
Your quarterback, Biden, is injured. He's taken out of the game. You don't bring a quarterback in that's never, ever, ever won any game anywhere. You run a process.
How you going to run a process?
This is a chance for them to,
That's
I'm not saying they're going
okay.
to lose, but I'm going to those percentages and saying they get to reboot. They get to go back to the center. They get to scratch this whole thing. And the influences of a Schumer or a Pelosi or a movie star or an Obama deciding to anoint somebody, those guys are gone in 4 years. They won't have that kind of influence. This could be
Here we
great
go.
for America because I'm an investor. I have to work with who's ever in the White House in January. But I care about policy. And when I hear policies coming out of a party that are so twisted against the American way of life, like basically taxing capital gains that are unrealized, that's not America. Or price controls, that's not America. 28% tax rate takes us to the bottom quartile of competition. That's bad. We can't do that. That would hurt the country. And all I do is work with entrepreneurs that want to build businesses. There's a reason people come here under barbed wire and drown in rivers to get into America. It's the American dream. It's the only thing the president has to do is to maintain it. Those policies are against the American dream. And I have nothing against Harris. I mean, look, she did a masterful job in getting to where she is. It would be good for them to lose tonight. It would reset and reboot and get that party back to the center.
It would be good, but you should have been saying this way before now because people done
You
voted.
probably have. We just don't know.
I've been seeing him on a couple of different shows. And he always talk about his business.
Yeah.
Bring you right into the party to help us do it. We're going to take a pause right here because we have a big call to make right
We
now.
do indeed.
Uh-oh,
The
come
Fox
on.
News Decision desk can now
Uh-oh.
project
What we got? What do we have?
businessman Bernie Moreno,
Oh.
who started his
Seen it.
entrepreneurial career in the car company and
Okay, he
buying
was an
auto
incumbent.
shops in Ohio, has won an unseated incumbent Democratic
Wow.
senator
Okay.
Yeah, that's crazy.
They added. Okay.
an Ohio institution for a lot of years. This is an important flip for Republicans. The party is edging closer to an outright Senate majority tonight, and there are still a couple of places yet to be heard from.
Right.
in
Now,
these
think
Senate
about
races.
this. Now, if the Democrats would somehow hold on to the John Tester seat, that would be a different math. But as you look at the balance of power in the U.S. Senate, is this Moreno speaking right now? Can we go in there?
Let's listen in for a couple minutes here.
Hey, I'm a pause it, Kane.
Go ahead, bro.
There we go.
Look, today starts a new wave. You know, we talked about wanting a red wave. I think what we have tonight is a red, white, and blue wave in this country. Because what we need in the United States of America is leaders in Washington, D.C. that actually put the interests of American citizens.
Congregation, I need y'all to
above
take
all
care of
else.
Kane, okay? What in my
We're
absence,
being
okay?
treated
I
like
had to put it out there.
citizens in our own country. We're tired of leaders that think we're garbage, and we're tired of being treated like garbage.
This guy.
You know, my opponent talked a lot about helping the working man, and I will agree with him on the
Moreno.
need to help working Americans. But the difference is talk without action is nothing. So what we're going to do, thanks to now having a Republican majority, by the way, how about that, in the United States Senate?
What do y'all think about this?
And
We still
Chuck Schumer,
adding
you're
up in the
watching.
Senate.
Thanks for the help in the primary, but
Republicans
you're
are
fired, buddy.
doing well. I want them to bring up that that actual
This is a new dawn of
display
Republican
of
leadership.
where we at in the Senate
With
too. As well.
President Trump and J.D. Vance in the White House, we are going to advance an agenda that is an American agenda. An agenda that says we are pro-immigration, but not pro-Asian. We're going to make certain that the people who come to this country are invited here like I was, like my family was, on our terms. We're going to make this country an energy-dominant nation so that my kids do not grow up in a country where we ever rely on a foreign nation for energy ever again.
Okay.
And we have that energy right here in
What else
Ohio.
we got?
That means coal, that means natural gas, it means oil, it means nuclear. And in terms of EV mandates, they need to be gone first thing in January.
We ain't been back on them in
The
a while.
importance, if Donald Trump, if this is a hypothetical, but if Donald Trump holds these two, and he won that one both times, 2016 and 2020. He won this in 2016. He lost it by 11,000 votes in 2020. So not at all inconceivable in history. And when you look at the numbers tonight, excuse me, if that happens, Harris cannot lose that. Why can she not lose that? Because 251 plus 19 makes Donald Trump president of the United States. So the rest of them wouldn't matter. I don't mean your votes don't matter in those other states. But in terms of the path to 270, if he holds those leads he has right now in those two states, which are healthy leads, she cannot afford to lose that. Just cannot. And at the moment, as we switch maps, please jump in if you want. I'm just going to switch back to the national map so we can watch the count.
Okay. I want to stick on Pennsylvania and bring in Kate Baldwin, who is at a vote counting center in the best city in the world, Philadelphia. Kate, what are you learning?
It's the only area where you're allowed to be biased. We've just learned, as John was focusing in on the outstanding mail-in ballots. That is something that we have all been waiting for. I have just learned from a source close to the counting process that the next batch, the second batch of mail ballots that will be loaded and posted, scheduled to at 11:55 p.m., that will be tens of thousands of ballots. They're still working through it. So narrowing that number down any further, not possible at this time. We'll continue working with it, but it will be tens of thousands of mail ballots that will be posted at 11:55 just before midnight, adding to what was the first batch, which ended up being 115,000 mail ballots, which is just narrowing the universe of what's outstanding, getting us closer and closer to, as John has been talking about, once you get that 50% of the 50% of the vote in, then you can really start seeing where things are headed. And what we're seeing in Philadelphia, they're not yet at 50%. They're getting closer to it. And these mail-in ballots, when they post at 11:55, will get them quite a bit more there.
All right, Kate,
Jake.
thanks so much. Let's go to the other side of the Commonwealth. Brian Todd's at a vote counting center outside Pittsburgh. Brian, what's the status of the vote there?
Jake, the bottom line is we're heading to the finish line very quickly here in Allegheny County. I'm with David Voy, the election divisions manager of the county. David, it's going to be counted all pretty soon. By midnight, about how much of the vote do you think will be in?
So I believe we're roughly 98% now that have reported. I believe by midnight, we're at 89% reported. I believe by midnight we should be around 98.
And to clarify, just about all the mail-ins have been reported by now.
All the mail-ins that we have will be counted and tabulated this evening. The only thing that it will not be are any military or overseas ballots, which they have an extra week to return their ballots, and they'll be scanned in later.
And an illustration is right behind us of the votes coming in. Explain to our viewers what these are and where they're going to be put.
So these yellow bags are the physical paper ballots that voters have voted. They're put in these bags and sealed and locked. Seal numbers are traced for chain of custody, and they will be locked up and kept here.
Just how smoothly has it gone? Because we've heard that it's gone incredibly smoothly here in Allegheny.
So this crew that works here on election day, they've gotten really good at this since 2020. I mean, we posted our first batch of approximately 186,000 mail-in ballots by 8:02. And, by law in PA, we're not allowed to post any results before 8 o'clock.
Is there anything we can look to be
See
outstanding
what else
after
we got,
midnight
y'all.
tonight?
Just the provisional ballots, which we were sworn in on Friday to start our return.
Let's see.
And they're also going to need that. We'll just check quickly in Allegheny County. We're getting close, by the way. Pittsburgh suburbs, we're getting close to 90% of the vote here. And again, that Harris number here right now is small, but it is slightly under the Biden number. The Trump number, 0.4 of a point better than 4 years ago. If this is basically a push with 2020, the Trump folks, if you offered them that at the start of the night, I think they would have taken it. We'll see what that remaining vote does.
Steve, thank you. We've got a few calls that we have to make in Senate races. NBC News can project that there is a winner in the Senate race in Ohio. This is a Republican pickup. This is incumbent Democratic Senator Sherrod Brown losing his seat to Republican challenger Bernie Moreno in Ohio. NBC News can also project an interesting Senate result in California. Now, this is Adam Schiff, the Democratic candidate in California, is projected to have won this seat. I need to tell you, though, he wins this both in terms of the regular Senate contest, but he also wins the special, which means that the seat that was vacated by the death of Dianne Feinstein, where LaFonza Butler has been in that seat since Dianne Feinstein's death, Adam Schiff will not only take over the full term of that seat, he will also take this seat immediately in the Senate from California. One additional call in New Mexico, the Senate race in New Mexico.
That's a lot of blue.
That incumbent Democratic Senator Martin Heinrich will be returning to the U.S. Senate. At this hour, this is the balance of power in the United States Senate. And this was a big one because this means a +2 net gain for the Republicans. They are now at 49 seats. Democrats are at 39 seats. There are 12 seats uncalled. We've got to go in a moment. We're going to go to Michelle Norris, who is at Harris campaign headquarters at Howard University. Lawrence, I just wanted to get your reaction to that Senate news.
Yeah, that is a big loss for the Democrats. It takes them down in terms of the incumbencies as of this hour to 49 in the Democrats in the Senate. If you were to assume everyone returns, John Tester was in even more trouble than Sherrod Brown. And so most senators believe that Sherrod Brown had a better chance of getting reelected than John Tester. So if John Tester goes the way of Sherrod Brown, that would absolutely guarantee that they lose control of the Senate, because the remaining hope is that Nebraska sends an independent senator to the Senate who would then vote for the Democrats in organizing the Senate, which would get them to 50. But this does now look like the Senate is probably going to be in Republican control.
Yeah, I will also just say it's a loss for the Senate to lose Sherrod Brown, who is
incredible loss. And he was one of those miracle workers politically of the Senate who could go back to a state where no other Democrat could win statewide, and he figured out how to do it and do it repeatedly.
Yeah, long after his state turned very
But they poured massive amounts of money into Ohio against him this time.
Yeah.
Just massive.
Hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yes.
Exactly. We're joined now by MSNBC senior contributing editor Michelle Norris. She's at Harris.
And this Nintendo Switch sold for less than $20.
I got this KitchenAid stand mixer for only $56. I got this barbecue smoker for $26.
And shipping is always free.
Go to DealDash.com.
Is the idea that people here are nauseously optimistic, not just cautiously optimistic, but nauseously optimistic. And one of the people I heard that from was LaFonza Butler. I spoke to her just a while ago, and she was speaking about the upcoming results. She mentioned North Carolina, for instance, called by some, not by us yet, thinks it doesn't look good there. But one of the interesting things she said that's echoed by a few other people that I spoke to is that the real focus now is on that blue wall in the Midwest, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and that second district in Omaha, Nebraska, that sort of blue
I'm
oval
surprised
at
they
the top
haven't
of the
gave
state.
Harris
Pennsylvania, the
the
thought was that Donald
California.
Trump
I don't
may have
know.
had a ceiling, there was a certain number of votes that he got in 2016,
look like they
2020.
behind.
They were hoping
Oh,
that
she
he
done
would
got a
not
couple
exceed
more.
those numbers. They are actually
2 more
outperforming
votes.
Joe
Not
Biden
very
in
many,
some
though.
key
just-
areas, but it's clear now that Donald Trump has picked up key support among Hispanic voters, despite all the things that he said at that rally at Madison Square Garden.
And the
despite
comedian, that's what
the
people was talking
reaction that
about.
we saw among Latino voters in places like Allentown and
Yeah, but that's the
Hazleton.
comedian. They ain't
And so,
Yeah.
you know, people here are watching and they're wondering what's going to happen in Pennsylvania. They're ready for a long, long night. And one of the reasons I've heard also is that they wanted
Alabama,
to inject
y'all
so
got
much
'em.
joy into the
9
beginning
votes.
of
Come on, we
this
should have more than
because
that.
they knew. That's why they
It
brought
took
the
y'all
DJs
forever
and the
to
dancing, the
come
line
across the
dancers, because they
screen.
knew that this was going to
Yeah.
be a long
Roll
night.
Arkansas,
Tide.
And that it was
yeah,
going to be a
Arkansas
real
been
nail
had it.
biter, and it
He
appears
got
that
it.
that is exactly what
Oh,
we're
yeah.
looking at right now.
Michelle Norris at Howard University, where the Harris campaign is posted up and watching these results as avidly as any of us. Michelle, we'll be back to you as the night progresses. Let's go to Simone Sanders Townsend. Simone, I understand you've got some
Look at that
reporting
Arizona,
from sources
crazy.
related to the sources on the campaign
Yeah,
about Pennsylvania.
Simone.
Yes, people who are very familiar with the numbers and in the know, and
Them
people
shoulder pads
within,
on.
frankly,
Yeah, old school. Shout out.
and folks specifically in Philadelphia. Democrats believe that they have tens of thousands of votes that are outstanding from Philadelphia County. These are absentee ballots, and they believe that within the hour,
So you can get 19 from
these three
Pennsylvania.
individuals have told me
Ooh.
that within the 11
They
a.m.
both
to
need
an
it.
11 p.m. hour, that those votes are going to come in again from
Yeah,
specifically these are
19
votes from
electoral
Philadelphia
votes
County,
from
and those
Pennsylvania. If
numbers will
they can get it.
bode well for Vice President Harris and Governor
sure.
Walz. Now, and they are saying it is going to be close, very, very close, but they believe that those tens of thousands of outstanding ballots are going to make a difference. My Pennsylvania people are telling me that the next batch is expected at 11:55.
So, Simone, to be clear, are they enthusiastic about what those votes are going to say? Or are they enthusiastic about their chances overall?
Yes, they are enthusiastic about what those votes are going to say, and
So
they are.
do you think that they'll
as Michelle Norris noted, nauseously
What's up?
optimistic.
go ahead and make
People are
not make a
nauseously
selection, but
optimistic. They're clear-eyed.
have a
and
clear picture
and
by
people
midnight
within the campaign, and then strategists surrounding the
Eastern time?
campaign have
A
all said to me
better,
within the
yeah,
last
I
hour,
think a
we have been clear that
really
it is going
close
to be close.
picture.
Now, folks may not have believed that,
But look how
given the
close
energy and the momentum.
these are.
But the campaign
49.5,
itself and the folks
49.6.
specifically with very
It's
close to the
crazy.
campaign have always been clear that this was going to be
Yeah,
a close
yeah, I
race.
get it. I
They
get
believe
it. But I'm just
Pennsylvania is
saying,
still in
like,
play, and I do also think that it's my understanding of they have a sense of that the reality is that Georgia is not an option for a win this go round, and North Carolina
Florida
is
was an
not
easy
looking
win right
like
there.
it as
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
but need to wait and see. Wake County, rest of Mecklenburg County in North Carolina will make a difference.
There's so many
Wisconsin, I will note, folks in Wisconsin
retirees in
say they think
Florida.
it'll be a
That's fine.
classic
Yeah.
Wisconsin photo finish, but they feel good about where they are. They specifically noted about Dane County because they've seen numbers that say the vice president, is not performing as well in Dane County. They've seen reporting about that as Biden, and they note that the wards that haven't reported in Dane County are very blue areas around Madison. And so the folks in Wisconsin are also feeling good. And they tell me that 3 campuses, students are still voting right now as we speak.
What's
What?
those?
All right.
This late?
Come
Thank
on.
you.
What did they ain't got it together?
I mean, something going on. Let's go
They ain't
now.
got it together.
The results in
It don't take
Michigan.
that
What are you hearing,
long.
Michael?
Yeah, it's very interesting right now that a number of the folks that I've been talking to there in Michigan, Republicans are looking a
Let's see
little
here,
bit.
'cause
How should we
I
say?
just, for some
skeptical
reason, I
of
think this is
holding
not
Michigan
the most
for Trump
updated.
right now. Looking at some of the numbers that have been coming in, I know as we
Like
still
this
have,
one says something totally different. Look at the
attitude on crime.
numbers on this
And it's
one.
not
not just that proposition. You
Well,
see it on some of the
California,
other ones,
we
on
all
rent
know that's
control,
called, and
raising the
that's
minimum wage. It's a really
193,
interesting shift. And
216.
if
The
I may,
other
Trace,
one's
we have
like
a big point for us here
216,
in California.
150
You look at this change, this massive reconstruction of the Republican Party under Donald Trump's leadership and the Latino vote here in California, the largest group now. And this points to the future of the Republican Party, because actually, if you think about the Latino vote, how long have we been told that the Democrats benefit from the diversity of the nation and the future? Look what's happening. The more diverse America becomes, the better Republicans can do if we
Bernie
keep going
Sanders.
with this new Republican Party that
keep
Trump has
re-electing him.
fashioned.
It's a very come on now. He's from the old school.
Because we talked about Proposition 36,
Yeah.
and
He ain't even got to
Harris
do
was
no
asked about
debate
Prop
or
36.
nothing.
She
He
would
just,
not weigh in on this.
he just
She
like,
wouldn't say
man,
whether
go
she
ahead
voted
and select
for it
me. You
or
know,
against it, and that's
you
significant.
know who I
And
am.
this was one of many policies where she refused to provide a clear answer on where she stood. And, you know, this strategy of avoidance, which we've seen repeatedly throughout this campaign from her, it was a gamble. She thought that
But it
because
looked
she
like
was
it paid
Dang, that
off.
dude won.
last minute and because she was
Dang.
running against
No,
Trump,
no.
that voters
Well, they
wouldn't
did put a check
notice or
behind
they
him.
wouldn't
So.
care that she was
Yeah.
giving them a whole bunch of nothing. But I'll just say, I'm from one of these swing states, from Michigan, and even in the swing states, it matters a lot where Kamala
Because he
Harris
was
stands
with,
on something like Proposition
that's the
36.
same guy. I think
Because
he
if
was
she
with
doesn't want California to take crime seriously,
Hillary.
what about the rest of the country?
Yeah, and nobody
know if
takes
you remember
crime more
Hillary.
seriously than
Yeah,
Gianno
her running
Caldwell.
mate.
You have studied this, Gianno, and
Do you
this
remember
is
who
a
it was?
big deal going
Wait,
forward
who's
for
the running
California.
mate?
Hillary.
That's right, and that's why I started
Oh
to call
no,
it
I don't.
public safety. I
It
got to
was a
tell you,
dude,
I'm glad to
Kane
see
guy.
that many voters in the
Oh,
state
okay.
of California have been
Yeah.
pushing back against crime. Unfortunately, Gavin Newsom has been very supportive of the initiative of Prop 47. He thinks that there shouldn't be any changes, but this is a major problem, and I think we see this not just with this particular prop, but we've seen it with a lot of progressive prosecutors funded by George Soros, people like George Gascon.
Okay,
who
I haven't
people are
seen him
fed up with,
before.
and that's why Nathan Hochman, who's running for district attorney of Los
Oh,
Angeles
no,
County, is predicted to potentially win this one really big. I think the Democrats who've fashioned the
You see how
idea
quickly they
that if you
did
be soft
California?
on
And
crime, then there's going to
California
be
is like
criminal
one of
justice
the
reform,
last
when in fact there's
time
been nothing but
zones.
justice for the criminal.
It's going to
But they already knew.
Yeah, come on.
It's like, man.
Against it. He
Yeah.
thinks it's just going to raise
Will
the
you
number
please
But what
give
the
that?
other gentleman was alluding to,
To
you know,
fact that
with the Latino
Harris
vote
wouldn't answer the
changing,
question about what she voted
California
on
could
this, a former prosecutor.
one day
She said, "I'm
maybe
the top
be
cop." You know, her
conservative
bona fides
or
are
be
that
able to
she's
be
law and
flipped.
order.
Oh, you talking
She
about?
was the one
Yeah.
behind Prop 47.
Right. And so she wasn't, she's a frictionless weather vane. She gives you that impression. Blowing whatever direction the wind blows, she's willing to go there. And that was another example. She should have said, I was the top cop.
That's your
I'm
commander-in-chief, huh?
36. I see the error of my way.
Hey,
You know, I
Harris.
see crime going into a certain direction.
Hey,
Whatever.
Harris,
But
your
instead,
commander-in-chief?
she does
Well,
this
we'll have to see.
frictionless
Yeah.
weather
This
vane
is,
routine.
I mean, it's
to be able
interesting.
You can't expect her to
comes
do
it,
that
I
when she
mean-
was the one
Oh
posting
yeah,
things
that
about
means he will
rioters
be.
and looters
Yes.
during the George Floyd era. This is not somebody who's about law and order.
Gianno, Kayla McGee-White, Steve, Jody, thank you all. Martha will be here later in the night when everybody gets tired there in New York, and we'll handle it from there. Back to you guys.
The Crimson Bros
Okay,
won't
Trace,
get
thank you
tired.
very
Okay.
much. We're looking into a lot
Let's
of
go.
different numbers that are coming in, and as you know, this is all baking.
We
with
still
bills at
got
the
the,
wall, trying to go into different places. Wisconsin's on the board right now.
Congregation,
Bill,
we do it for you.
Something from the New York Times. I just want to repeat this. I was trying to locate this on the map, and it's true. Right now, Donald Trump, in the big cities of America, Miami, Chicago, New York, Dallas, and Houston, he is improving on his margins from 2020 by double digits. You think about that, right? Since COVID, you think about immigration. You think about the homeless crisis. You think about how our cities have changed over the past 4 years. Maybe that's having an impact. Now, what I'm looking at here is Wisconsin. I just want to point out two things in Wisconsin, and I want to compare that to what's happening in Pennsylvania, because I think there's a trend that is favorable toward Trump, okay? So here we go, Dane County. I'm going to take you back to 2020. I'll just compare the numbers for Biden and Kamala Harris, okay? So this is Madison, University of Wisconsin, et cetera. Ton of Democratic votes in this county. So she is underperforming Biden's mark by about 1.7 points. And that translates to, it could be tens of thousands of votes. Trump, meanwhile, is up about 1.4 going back to 4 years ago. Let me come up here to La Crosse. All right, you get Democratic votes here in La Crosse, right along the border there with Minnesota.
She's
So this is
down.
Biden 4 years ago. It's not quite 2.5, but it's close to it, where she's underperforming in a county where she should be doing better. And here you go, Trump doing 2.5 points better in that particular county in Wisconsin. So we'll keep an eye on that. Come out a little broader here. Come back to 2024. Hang on one second, guys. And we'll go into Pennsylvania and try and prove a similar theory, all right, in two places. One is Allegheny and Pittsburgh. The other is Philadelphia. So we'll put this map into motion here. Put the slide bar out, okay? She's nearly meeting her number in Allegheny, off a 0.5 point. Trump's doing slightly better, just 0.6 points. The last time I looked at that, she was dead even with the number from Joe Biden from 4 years ago on a percentage-wise. Come over here to Philadelphia, because this is really where, if you're a Democrat and you want to win the state, you got to run your numbers up in Philadelphia. And this kind of matches what I just read from America's big cities. In Philadelphia, she's underperforming Biden's mark from 4 years ago. And Trump is outperforming, overperforming where he was 4 years ago. So, you know, when you think about the number of votes that are available in Philadelphia.
I don't know. What you think, brother?
Well, I'm going to say, with everything that he just said and what he's describing, it's still a close race. Even if she's underperforming, she is gaining on him.
Let's take this off the screen.
It sounds good. It sounds good, but
2024.
I don't care how underperforming she did from Biden
Well, we may be getting
4 years
closer
ago.
because
It's getting
Mecklenburg is
close.
in, and
Yeah.
Wake is pretty much
Plus,
in.
she
This
wasn't
is
part-
Guilford.
I mean,
That's
she's
Greensboro.
part of it.
And a lot of campaigning down there. It's a fast-growing area, too. There's about 22% of the estimated vote is still outstanding. It's an impressive number. I haven't looked at this yet. Let's just go see with Joe Biden. Okay, so pretty close to where Biden was. The raw
What's
number
that?
is lower. But
No, I
on a
was just
percentage
looking at
basis,
the,
she's just about hitting her number. And Trump's
analytics
just a
and
little higher, just a little bit there from 4 years ago.
don't
So
have too many
maybe
people.
that's the reason you can't make
Okay.
a call.
So what do you want to do, man? Talk to me.
It's getting late. It's getting late.
I know.
Georgia.
I have to do it by myself. Everybody go to bed. I'll take care of you.
That has been consistent.
Like Santa
guys, for a
Claus.
while now.
Whatever.
Go to bed, sleep. I'm coming down the chimney bringing you
Trump is
presents.
just
I'm gonna let you know
100%.
who won it.
You can go hunting
Okay?
around trying to figure out why you can't.
Well, we can
call it.
probably
I would have
I'm
to
gonna go
think maybe,
ahead because we're at
DeKalb County
3 hours
still got a little bit
on
of vote out
TikTok.
there.
Okay,
Up here to
okay.
Gwinnett County as well.
Close
A little
it
bit of vote
over
out there.
there. We're at 259.
Shout out JYL for
Democrats
staying
scored
with us,
points.
checking on us, and
Appreciate
coming
it.
back.
Yeah.
Roger that. Okay.
DeKalb
Yeah,
County, so
Texas
too
Tiff,
soon to
Tina
call right now.
Hanston,
Appreciate
Bill,
FG,
listen to this. So
all
Jen
those.
O'Malley Dillon,
Appreciate it,
I
appreciate it.
quoted from it earlier,
We go
where they're
ahead and
kind of
close
painting the
that joint
picture of the
down.
blue wall and how they're doing great things in Pennsylvania and Wisconsin and Michigan. But at the
Go.
end
We
of this
got over
she says, we'll continue to keep you all
1,700
updated as we get more
hearts
information.
over there.
This is what
Okay,
we built
okay,
for.
okay.
So
That's
let's
what's up.
finish up
Yeah.
what we have in front of us tonight, get some sleep, and get ready to close out strong tomorrow. So the Biden, I mean the Harris campaign, sorry, it is the Biden folks that run the Harris campaign now. Essentially saying, you know what, let's pack up and get some sleep. And
And they ain't worried
That
about it.
reminds me of
It's 4
Hillary
years ago,
Clinton in
Martha.
2016,
Exactly
because
right.
she said, you know, John Podesta came out and said, you know, well, we're all going to kind of
All right,
sleep on
that's
this and see how
close.
all of this works out. And everyone else was saying,
it's
we're
gone.
calling these states.
And
So
we may stay with us. We're watching it all as our
Yeah.
special coverage continues, and we could have some big calls coming straight ahead. Whether they're
Could,
up tonight or
woulda,
not.
should.
I know.
You know, they just trying to keep
Let's
you
go.
engaged. I don't think that we got
I'm
anything
gonna
else.
go to
this
Howard.
week.
So I can go get in the party.
Instead of giving a holiday makeover to
Two
some stranger's
11.
house, you revisit your own
So
child.
you see how Trump over here,
Oh, wow.
216 to
Maybe
193,
true love is
Fox.
Nick.
On
Bring
CNN,
rom-com-worthy meet
it's
cutes.
211
Oh, this guy's
to,
named Nick?
I can't even see this one, 211 to what?
It's a tiny bit, but it's not a significant jump.
150
Where the president was
53,
4
so
years
that's
ago.
different.
Trump's at 50, you know, 60% if you round up then. He's at 59. So
Who
a little
else?
bit, maybe a tiny inroads there for her.
Here's another different one.
180,
214,
182,
172.
163. We'll see if there's any more votes to come, but when that
It's
hits
so
95%, they usually aren't. So
It seems
again,
like
if
some of them
anything
are
like
getting
that
it
holds,
faster than others.
What they
Yeah,
want
this
even
one
more
here.
is to take partisanship out of the
civil service.
Oh, I didn't even tell
And
you.
that's something, if the Trump administration tries to move forward on that, it's something they will get a backlash from the American people.
How do you cross
There's gonna be
index
some
though with the
tired people
general
tomorrow
desire to
morning.
have government smaller?
Just
So it's doing
tomorrow.
each state. I don't want
Yeah.
each state. I just want it
It's
collectively.
an issue of priority.
Yeah.
They want it smaller, but they want more resources for the border. They want it smaller, but they want to make sure
See what else
that
we got. Anything
America, the
else?
food is safe and the drugs.
Let's see what this one is.
And of course, the attention will turn to President Biden. And when he
It's
stepped
each
aside,
state.
72% in
Okay,
our
so they got
exit polls saying the
214,
country's headed
172.
in the
Yeah.
wrong direction. That's
Oh,
the
that's where it's
to
at.
all
So
of this.
Yeah,
President
yeah,
Biden
yeah.
and this immense
okay. Well,
dissatisfaction with the direction
here's
that the country's headed.
It
people
could be the Democrats
we never talk
in
about.
the world of Substack.
It's
Hasn't, which is a real
PBS.
world. I'm not
It is a
denigrating
real
it. I read
world.
Substack.
They got
And
look
a
at
lot of
that.
smart people there.
Oh, that's the house. It's the
That
house.
the country's just
Oh, okay.
turning right. That on immigration, on some foreign policy issues.
There it is.
On
230 to
I don't know,
192.
maybe economic policy
Okay,
that
so
the country is
that was an
went
increase
pretty
from
shifted
okay.
to the left
That was
2020,
brief, but yeah, that was
and now
yeah.
maybe shifting back rightward, and maybe Trump is the unwitting beneficiary of sort of an ideological trend in the country. I'll have to think about that.
Jonathan, hold that thought 1 second. I want to just bring to our viewers another race call we can make in the presidential race.
Oh, let's
and that
see.
is in the state of New Mexico, where Vice President Harris
Got
has
'em.
won. Here's
Wow.
now a look at the national map and where things stand, 230
230,
to
192.
192. Jonathan, over to you.
He almost there, but
I mean, there's a
Well-
shift right, and then there's a shift to Trump, and shifting to Trumpism. And you know, I'm looking at
Trumpism.
a lot of things, especially after David talked about looking at counties and you know how Trump is gaining
that's
on what
pretty
he
much
did
it, bro.
in 2020.
Okay.
And
Let me see
to
him
me,
real quick.
I
What are you
am
talking about?
More than likely, it'll
Okay.
probably be the overnight, early morning hours. But again, we're still waiting for the results from, you know, from some of those battleground states, the blue wall states, Michigan,
Okay.
Pennsylvania, Wisconsin as well. But one thing, you know, we
Okay,
talked about
all
this
right,
earlier
well,
that we
well,
saw
it's one
here
of those
in
things that
Washington,
you know
Florida, Miami-Dade
we're gonna have
County,
to
was that
see
strong,
Yes.
organic,
in about the
Latino vote
next
turnout for Trump. We're
5 to
seeing
6
that,
hours.
nationally
They'll have
as well, particularly
a
in
better
those so-called
outlook
blue
of
wall
what's
states.
going
Oh
on.
yes, definitely.
Seen a surge in
Definitely,
illegal
definitely.
migrants
Okay.
since
Well,
2021.
anything else you
clearly,
want to say to the
Trump's
congregation?
message has
Dude,
been really
Congregation,
joined
thank you
down
for
throughout the campaign about the
chatting
border
with
crisis,
us,
about
standing by
immigration,
us. You know,
about
we all
border,
tired. We all
president
voted. Some
Yeah,
didn't vote. That
man.
was just your choice.
national,
That's
Yeah.
fine.
along with it,
Like
there
we
is a
said
feeling not only
earlier,
here
we
in the
just
room,
deal
but
with
nationally as well that,
the
you know, this is an
consequences of
extraordinary
whoever
moment
wins. You know,
domestically.
and ride it
but
on out. But
internationally,
we'll
as we're
see in
looking
the
at all these
next.
wars, the war in Ukraine,
I'll
and
say
also in the Middle
they were
East, the
saying
potential
possibly
for Iran
Thursday could
attacking
go until
Israel. There were
Thursday.
some
I think they'll find
Israel
out by
intelligence
tomorrow.
was seeing that Iran
Yeah,
Even
possibly
tomorrow
I think
evening.
when you wake up
attack Israel,
tomorrow,
maybe even
if you're on the
on
East
election
Coast,
day.
and
So
even when you
these
wake
are
up
all
tomorrow, if you're on the West
critical
Coast,
issues
same,
that are on
you're
voters'
gonna
minds.
have
I've
an
been
idea.
talking to
They have
people
been
here in the room.
came up with an
They've
idea
talked
because the
about
Yeah.
majority of all the votes
concerns
have
about
been
that and the
in there.
feeling
The
that Trump
Georgia, the
not only
Pennsylvania, but
fits
they
the border
still trying to
crisis,
do.
but you know, but
Yeah,
obviously
they'll
keep
have
not
them
only
already
America
put
safe,
placed
but
in there.
also
So
deal
we should
with
be
these
good.
wars
We should be
overseas
good. So
as well, guys.
we'll
All
see.
right,
We'll see.
There's a lot
Hey,
on
look,
the
I
agenda,
appreciate you
domestic and
guys.
foreign affairs. Great point.
Yeah,
Let me
John Huddy,
turn it
thanks so
down
much.
just a
Mercedes,
tad
you've been
bit so we're
speaking
gonna talk
out
over it.
the entire night.
But yeah, I appreciate you guys, you know, chilling with us, vibing with us or whatever. We had quite a few comments, you know, from, you know, Florida and Ohio and different other places too, especially on TikTok and everything. But appreciate it, man. That's what we do for. And I do want to promote this in the next, I guess, 22 minutes or whatever. We got a another episode. One of our episodes is coming out, so it's on there. Just check us out.
Yeah,
check us out, man. Let us know. You know, it's just a different topic. We're not talking about politics on this one. I think we're done with the politics. We already flooded the market with that, so.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be one of those things that, you know, just check it out. You leave your comments and subscribe, give us a thumbs up. Do that too as well, man. I appreciate it. We all appreciate it, man. And just as much as you give to us, and we'll give back to you. That's how it is, and that's the uncomfortable truth. Hey,
Come on,
baby.
Yeah, do something.
For sure. That's what's